What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Casually Chelsea show. I am accompanied by the starting panel of Scott, Oliver Twist, RSM, and the Bridge Nation Station. I am your host, Marshall DVDX, ready to go over a good amount of news that we have for you guys. But before we go ahead and do so, you guys already know what to do. Smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here or just joining us and you just discovered the channel. Subscribe so you can come back for future news shows and breakdowns and opinion pieces on all types of things Chelsea that we're going to be going over, as well as other parts of football as well from time to time. Be sure to check out the links in the description for more content down below from everyone on this panel, including myself. Be sure to leave a comment down below as well to tell us how you feel. Let us know your thoughts on everything we're going to be discussing today. And then last but not least, check out the memberships because that's the best way to support the channel in the and keeping the lights on. Yeah, keeping the blue flag flying high. We'll say that. First Casually Chelsea show of the season. First Casually Chelsea show of the transfer window that has just opened yesterday, I believe, right? Yesterday at midnight it opened, or this morning at midnight, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, we're up and going. The transfer window is up and running, and moves are going to be being made fast and quick and possible, and all these things that mean words are hard. Okay. Anyways, so to start things off, ladies and gents, if you are familiar with the show, we always start off gradually and then we ramp things up into the heavier topics that we're going to be touching on, including Ekitike, Delap, and Jadon Sancho and all that stuff. But before we get started, let's go over some more of the outlier stuff. Ahmed, are you ready for your spotlight? You know, because you were saying how much you're so much more literate than I am as a creator of the English language. So I'm gonna see how many topics you can get through before he fumbles, chat. So,
all right, sure.
We'll go ahead and start off with the first one. Ahmed, you got right here. There you go. That's your first topic.
Just give me one moment. I'm just going to put my phone in charge.
Not even ready. Unprofessional.
No, it's not.
You gotta always be ready. As a host, you can't with you guys, especially in my panel. You can't expect the unexpected. You know what I'm saying?
So come on, let's go. Let's do it, please.
All right. First one is right here for you, Ahmed. This is a special edition, the 2025 edition of the Casually Chelsea show featuring Ahmed reading. So go ahead.
That's official, the latest UEFA rankings.
There you go. So, a little bit of an update. I forget where we were before, but as we all know here at the Chelsea fan base, that Champions League we won 3-4 years ago is carrying a lot of weight for us. So,
brother, this is the last year where that counts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's why we gotta start over, and we gotta make sure we keep the winning ways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying,
so we gotta win it this year. Season. I hear it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think Chelsea went down a bit, obviously, because I think Paris went up after winning the UCL yesterday. So big up to them. But
Also in the semi-final the year before.
There you go. Why is Roma so high up? Is it because they
won
won
they won the Europa Conference League and then they went to the finals
under Mourinho.
Yeah. And this year they went to the quarterfinals as well. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then they went to the finals one year as well.
No, yeah, fair. Europa one, right? The Europa final.
Yeah, they lost to Sevilla in the final.
Okay, so it's not just Champions League. It's also like
how far
you do in European competition.
The Champions League holds far more weight. Yeah, like it's, for example, I know that because I looked this up. Like when you win a game in the Champions League, it counts for 2 points. In the Europa League, it's 1.5, and in the Conference League, it's 1.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I mean, after looking at this, and Barcelona are in there too, by the way. After looking at this,
one isn't bad, low key, because we decimated almost every team in the Conference League. So
yeah, so we're getting 1 point every time we win, and then you also get more points for you get points every time you get to another stage of the competition. Again, that's weighted. So you get more points in the Champions
League. To be fair, that's not bad.
The Conference League, and if
that was probably a decent chunk of change.
Yeah, I mean, if Roma are up there and Barcelona are up there, I don't see why we can't be in the top 10.
That's what I said. That's what I say. Quarterfinals this upcoming season, and I think we're chilling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not being in the UCL that one season, or just in Europe in general, that one season is gonna hurt us. Thanks, Potter. But at least, winning that Conference League, and also if we go far next season, we could potentially still be in that top 10. Could potentially. So there's that in terms of.
I think we'd have to go far in the top, to still be in the top 10. I think once the Champions League comes out of because if you think about it, we've not been in it for 2 years of those 4, and then all we've done outside of that is win the Conference League once, and then it would depend.
We weren't in it 1 year though, Scott. We just weren't in it during the pod season. We were in Europe because of 2.
We've not been in Europe for 1 year, but we've not been in the Champions League for 2 years.
We haven't.
But even that Champions League under Potter, where did we get to?
Quarterfinal.
The reality is the 1 year that we weren't in Champions was probably it's gonna hurt a lot, but it's gonna hurt a lot less because we won the conference. So that's the truth. Mm-hmm. Like we're still gonna take a massive hit once the UCL win goes off the rankings, but the worst part is probably gonna be it's gonna be sad, but still it's not the worst.
No, it's not.
It also depends on what the teams below us do, because with Roma now getting Gasperini as their manager, I would expect. I don't know if they're in Europe. I don't know if they finished in a European spot. If they did, I expect them to.
He's the old Atalanta manager, right? Gasperini.
Yeah, he's left Atalanta. Yeah. He's guaranteed basically at this point to get become the new Roma manager. I imagine they'll go quite far in whatever competition they're in. Barcelona, I'd imagine to go quite far next season. So it depends on what the teams below us do as well.
I gotta give kudos to Roma. Or not necessarily just Roma, but Ranieri. Bro, I'm surprised. I guess they only had a deal to do 1 season or a transition season or something. But he'd even start the season off of Roma, right? He came when the previous manager that took over, Jose, got sacked, and then he took over. And then he basically turned their season around, right? Finished in top. Where did he finish in Serie A?
Europa League.
So what? Yep. That's 4th place for them? No, 5th place.
I'd back them to go quite far in the Europa League with Gasperini next season. So they made the right signings. I'd back them.
Does anyone think they should have kept Ranieri?
David Ornstein Bumba and Delap. He's signed a deal for 6 years. Just wanted to completely
Cool.
Oh, okay. So I'll add it to the Delap section. We'll go over it.
That takes
it just came out right now.
Yeah, that takes it to 2031. Okay, that's when everybody else's contract is pretty much 2031.
I'll add it to the Delap section when we get there, just so thank you.
Yeah, I think that's only a year before Sanchez's contract ends. No.
Fucking A. But yeah, are you guys kind of surprised that they didn't try to convince Ranieri to stay another year?
No, because Ranieri's. Firstly, you need to.
He was meant to be retired anyway.
Ranieri is really old. Firstly. And his last job was actually not even meant to be Roma. It was meant to be Cagliari. You know what I mean? The Racismo club. Mm-hmm. But we won't mention that here. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Listen, Listen, just ask Moise Keane how he feels about Cagliari. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you know, you know. But yeah, man. But like he's a club legend at Roma and also Cagliari, right? He got them from like Serie B to Serie A, and they let him stay another season to help them actually stay up. And then he went to Roma because of
he's had a job in between there. He went to Valencia as well.
Was it? Okay, my apologies. Must have forgotten.
Yeah, he retired after Cagliari. He retired after Cagliari, and then after a few months of retiring, went and managed Valencia, if I'm not mistaken, and then finished at Valencia. Wait, I could have sworn he managed at Valencia. Apparently, he didn't. What the fuck am I thinking of then?
That's what I'm telling you, bro. He didn't. Was fairly certain.
I think he was near Watford a few years ago.
Yeah, he was at Watford a few years ago. I could have fucking sworn he was it.
No, I think you must be talking about a different spell.
No, he was at Valencia but years ago, but I thought he went back there.
All right, this chair is not cooperating with me. It's okay. Anyways, yeah. So Gasperini I actually rate Gasperini as a manager. So I think he did bits with Atalanta, and considering Roma and how they do actually have they have shown to. Not entirely, but back the manager. We've seen with Jose. Jose got some signings through with Roma and all that stuff. I'm sure Gasperini will.
Roma actually like to spend money, you know. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think.
Yeah, I think it could be a good relationship. Okay, so the next topic I wanted to bring up too was prize money in terms of Premier League and Club World Cup. So yeah, Ahmed, your time to shine.
All right, let me just increase that. Chelsea earned 169.5 million in estimated prize money from the Premier League for the 2024-25 campaign via Athletic FC.
Okay, a little faster next time. Anyways,
I don't need to do it fast. I'm just doing it in my own time.
All right, fair enough. You know, we got a show, we got a schedule, so you know, some of these they're gonna come quick and fast. You know what I'm saying?
Anything else you got for me?
What do you mean by that?
No, I got more. No, don't worry. We got 3 hours worth of this.
Somebody clip those 10 seconds out of context, please.
So yeah, like I said in previous streams, do not be convinced that Chelsea are in like debt or necessarily in financial troubles, because Chelsea, because of where they finished in the Premier League, got a significant chunk of change.
Can we separate that though? I think I think we need to separate what I think these guys. I think they get tangled up a vast majority of the time. Is Chelsea in debt? Yes, that is true. But the debt that we are in with is to ourselves essentially because of the way we've done our stuff. Right? The debt that we owe.
The blue code thing.
Yes, that's what I think. A lot of people confuse what's happening there with what's happening with what the actual debt is. Does that make sense, Marshall? I think a lot of the time that's what I think it works. Like, is the club making money? Yes, they're making money. They're not making as much, obviously, for a number of reasons. Front of track sponsors, other sponsorship deals, obviously, and everything like that haven't kind of like that they've been waiting for, etc., this season. But they are making money in other places. They have done some other Banduru stuff, like selling the women's team to themselves, selling the buildings to themselves, right? But they are making money. The debt that we continue to talk about is the debt that they owe to themselves via how they have bought the club. That's all I think a lot of people seem to be.
Is it blue code debt or is it Chelsea debt?
That's debt that they owe. Well,
blue code.
Who's that? Blue code? Blue code's in debt, but Chelsea technically isn't.
No. So that's what people I think need to understand, right? It's not our club that's in debt because they did. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong.
It's the owning entity. It's the owning entity.
The way I'm saying it, it's not like a United situation where they use the club as basically like they use the club
collateral.
As like collateral. Sorry, right? They didn't use us as collateral. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I'm trying to find the other thing to.
The issue with people worrying about the numbers was obviously if we didn't make Champions League, we would be in FFP issues, right? Now that's pretty much all relaxed because now we can get the shirt sponsors that we want, right? We're gonna get the Champions League money. We got the money from finishing higher up the table. Like we'll be fine. This is why you look at, bro. This is why I was telling everybody, man. I needed United to lose at Europa, bro, because look at the type of people that they're signing, man. Bargain bin. I love to see it, bro.
Dollar store signings, bro.
Yeah, bro. I love it.
Shouldn't be. I'll be honest. United should not be struggling this much.
Yeah. No. I'll be honest. I'm not going to cuss United signings yet because they look basically the same as ours right now. So I'm gonna keep quiet until we do something.
I'm just looking at United.
No, I'm still gonna cuss United signing. Fuck that, bro. You can say whatever you want.
Bro, they're in for Delap, so are we, and they signed Cunha, which isn't actually a bad signing. Like, he's a good player and
When
fits
he's
what
gonna
they
die
want.
there, bro. Go ahead.
He might die there, but that's only if they get the rest of their players.
It's not a maybe.
Like,
it's not a maybe. What
So the
baller
way-
in the past 10 years has succeeded at United?
I'm gonna be honest. I really couldn't.
Not wrong.
I don't listen. Whatever they do, it's up to them. I just look at us right now, bro. What can we do to improve our team?
I don't know if
You know what I mean? That's what we need to look at. That's all.
Maybe.
he just got injured all the time.
Yeah, I wanted to also pull up this, guys, because I feel like I think there's still a notion out there that this isn't an important tournament. And correct me if I'm wrong. I heard the pundits saying it, so I don't think they're wrong about it. But apparently, the prize money for the FIFA World Cup, they put $100 billion into it. And then that prize money is going to be broken down in terms of where you're going to finish. But I mean, Ahmed, you want to read out what the prize money
the game's gone, man. The game's gone. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup prize money will be a total of $1 billion, according to ESPN. This includes a 475 million sporting performance pillar and a 525 million participation pillar. The winner of the tournament could earn up to 125 million. Here's a breakdown of the prize money. Sporting performance pillar. Winners, 40 million. Finalists, 30 million. Semi-finalists, 21 million each. Quarter-finalists, 13.125 million each. That's a very strange way, okay?
Yeah,
16.5 million each. Group stage, 2 million per win, 1 million per draw. Participation pillar. The minimum of 3.58 million is guaranteed to team with higher amounts for teams from certain.
Oh, you're gonna read that shit. Yeah, just this is the important part.
I just want to say the 1 billion thing, by the way, is across the whole tournament. That's not
not the winner.
No, that's across the whole tournament, because I think that us and City get like £30 million. We get the most money for just being in it. Us and City.
Mm-hmm. But assuming, listen, if if Chelsea don't make it out of group stages, then
we're making out of group stage, brother. Like, you have to. We're making out of the group stage. Even if we
have to roll if we don't make it out of that group stage.
Even if we're second, brother, like we're beating Tunis and we're beating LAFC.
No, I was about to say, by the way, boys, I watched the game last night. I watched the game last night.
The Club America LAFC one?
Yes. It was bad, bro. It was bad, bro. Like we're beating the socks off everybody in our group, respectfully, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because it's Flamengo. It's I don't even know what team this is.
ES Tunis.
Tunis? Yeah. What country is that from?
Tunisia.
Tunisia?
That's Asia then, right?
Yes. That's Africa. That's
Africa.
It sucks, brother. That's Northern Africa.
It does. Listen.
Yeah, no. Club America is cooked. I'll tell you, we're making it out first of the group. There's like no other ifs, ands, or buts about it.
The furthest we're getting is the quarterfinals.
Why are you saying Club America? LAFC qualified.
Yeah, LAFC won that game, which
Big
is
up
both
Olivier Giroud, bro.
He's not playing.
It's like the thing is, it's not surprising to me because America is very much dead, but it's surprising to me because LAFC, bro, is like not good either. Like they're not like outstanding, bro.
That whole game is surprising and not surprising because Club America normally, Mexican teams in general wipe the floor with basically every American team they face ever, outside of a select few. But yeah, it was surprising that they actually won that game. But I'm also not surprised.
It went to extra time too, bro. It was bad.
They
also tend to win when. So American teams tend to beat Mexican teams when they play in America, and then vice versa. Mexican teams tend to win in Mexico. But yeah, like we're gonna win. We're gonna win against LA.
We're topping the group. We're topping the group. That's simple.
And even if we don't, even if we don't, we'll still get out of the group because we'll beat the other two teams. Peter, I said he won't play. Like Giroud doesn't start for LAFC, which is jokes.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Really?
He's like third choice. Marshall, he's third choice striker.
Brother, he's old.
That's crazy.
It's not even that he's old. He's not been good for them. He's been straight up bad.
See, I don't follow LAFC, but
but yeah, like we'll go out the group stage. We'll beat whoever we face. I think we face Benfica. We'll beat them. We're going to lose to PSG because that's who we'll face in the quarters. We'll lose
in the quarters.
But
yeah, most likely.
Quarters, if we get the quarters, and it is what it is.
Who does PSG face before us?
It's either
we're facing Atletico Madrid and
no, they'll get out of group. It was it's Seattle Sounders, Botafogo, Athletic Madrid, PSG. I don't know who PSG face the next round, but they'll win. Like, because I guarantee they top that group. I don't.
Bro,
know
we need the
face.
bracket though. We need a bracket. That's what we need, Marshall. We need a bracket.
Would it be under? No, it wouldn't be under team scores and fixtures. Where's that?
You can find it on Wikipedia. I've got it. So they face. Where the fuck is it? So they will face the runner-up of Palmeiras, Porto, Al Ahly, and Inter Miami.
Which is most likely Palmeiras.
No, I think they're top there. Palmeiras, yes, Palmeiras or Porto probably top.
I think, bro, if Porto have any self-respect, they will top the group, bro.
Probably, but yeah, they'll face Palmeiras or Porto. They're winning that game.
They're winning that game. Oh my god, that's not bad. I said this, by the way. I want to face PSG in the Club World Cup because I need Maresca and I need the team to know what the levels are right now in Europe, bro. Mm-hmm. And whatever errors they see in that game, fix it before we get in the UCL.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
All right, I'm not doing a whole ass prediction thing.
No, we don't have to. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to know who PSG we're gonna face before us.
This is kind of So, PSG. Where are you, PSG?
They're in Group B.
Group B. So
they face the runner-up of Group A.
Yeah, they'll face the runner-up of Group A, or if they, by some miracle, Atletico do better.
Yeah, they'll face the winner.
Yeah, they'll face the winner of Group A. So they'll face Palmeiras.
I want to play Atletico Madrid, man. I want to see Gallagher lose, man. Come on, bro. I know.
To be fair, like that. Unironically, it's actually better for us if we face Atletico Madrid because that's probably
a game.
You
know what I mean? That might be a nice little fixture list, man. You know what I mean?
Look, Marshall here. I found it, and you're welcome. And I found it, and you're welcome. Put private chat.
I appreciate it.
I'm just him, bro. I'm too nice at this, man. I'm telling you.
Found it so much
there you go.
than I did. All right,
exactly. Just put it there. Boom. And then we select who we think in every group, and then boom, we're there with the predictor.
Cool. You want to do this?
I'll do Porto, Palmeiras, Miami, and
I think Miami finished bottom.
Yeah,
they absolutely reek defensively.
They stink. It's retirement FC, bro. They stink.
Okay, I'm gonna just boom, 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 boom.
Cool.
Does anyone disagree?
I disagree, but it's
I have to say Inter Miami's gonna get ahead of Palmeiras. I'll be honest.
No, they're not.
No, they're not, bro.
I promise you.
They're not, bro. They're not.
Listen, do you know why? Do you know why? The refs are with them. That's why.
It doesn't matter. Palmeiras could be down 2 men. Palmeiras could be down 2 men, and they're beating Inter Miami, bro. Stop it.
Ahmed, you're talking to 2 people. One of which I think RSM, you watch Palmeiras most weeks, and you're talking to someone who watches Inter Miami.
I'm not even saying Palmeiras isn't good or not. I'm just saying we know who's on the team.
Brother, I watch Inter Miami most weeks. They are horrible defensively.
They're bad, bro.
I'm not even disagreeing with that. I'm just saying the fix is in, man. We know the fix is in.
The fix is not in. The fix is not in.
No one change anything. They sting.
None.
Defensively, they
none, bro. It's like, bro, we could have been. It's like saying like, oh, the fix is in for Noah. They're beating Chelsea. I don't care how many fixes Noah does. We would have beat them, bro.
I promise you. I'm gonna listen. He can do it like this.
Stop promising stuff. Stop. You promise a lot of stuff in different transfer windows. Stop promising things in transfer windows.
On RSM's earlobe. Yeah.
Stop talking about my earlobes, you weirdo.
You know, man. Yeah, on RSM's earlobe. Inter Miami will make it. I promise you.
Anyways, forget this fool. Let's continue with the groups.
All right.
Yeah.
He's saying.
B, I think.
Ahmed's saying Inter Miami. Everyone else agrees with.
Bro, B isn't exactly that order. B isn't exactly that order. Just press everything from left to right.
Botafogo and Seattle, like Seattle might be Botafogo. They're not. That's the.
No shot. We really only care about first and second, right?
Yeah. So then
is Palmeiras going to be in first, guys, or is it going to be Porto first?
I think Palmeiras will get first, but I'm happy to concede this.
Yeah, Palmeiras.
To be fair, it doesn't really. To be fair, it doesn't really matter because neither of the teams are beating PSG.
Yeah, they're not beating out PSG.
So like,
okay,
they're not.
So I'm gonna put them in first.
Porto are wretched, bro.
Bayern, Benfica.
Bayern Benfica. Boca Juniors are one of the worst teams in Argentina right now. They stink, bro.
Okay.
They
Do we all agree with this?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with everything.
I put Boca over Benfica, but
no, bro. Boca's bad, bro. Boca is trash. Steve, you don't get it, man. I watched them. They're bad, bro.
Benfica are awful.
Where do they finish?
Benfica are awful, but their awful is levels ahead of whatever Boca Juniors doing right now, bro.
Okay. Oliver.
See, even Peter says, bro, this is one of the worst Boca teams in my life. I agree.
Oh,
I watch Boca. They're
Nah,
bad, bro.
I agree.
All right, scroll
my
down. Scroll
days.
down to Group D, Marshall. Scroll down.
I am catching
Bro, I
up
just
to
looked at
fucking-
both.
Yeah, these
But yeah,
Boca
like I was gonna say,
Juniors,
both
Oakland
units
FC,
stink.
man. What is this nonsense, man? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yep,
Exactly
I
that,
agree.
yeah.
Yep.
Exactly
Keep it
that.
pushing.
Okay.
Inter River. It's Inter River, bro.
Inter River, yeah.
It's Inter
Monterey
River.
might do something, but I don't know.
They're not touching River, respectfully. River have so much talent in that team, bro. They're
I
not
don't know.
touching River.
Monterey have Sergio Ramos and a couple of others. Like they're not bad, but I do think River Plate would.
It's not enough.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
give
enough,
it to
yeah.
River just because I saw them last week. So they were playing some good possession ball. Any objections to this one?
Nope.
Okay. This one. Okay, this is getting interesting.
See, this
This
was
is
a
not
bit more
interesting.
interesting.
This is not interesting in the slightest.
But-
it's Fluminense and it's Dortmund, but it's whichever way you want to put around it. 'Cause
That's why it's
Mamelodi
interesting.
Sundowns-
But that's why it's interesting.
Yeah.
Who do you
Oh,
put
maybe
first?
yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Fluminense. I'll be
Because
honest with you.
Fluminense is not bad, bro. And
Yeah,
are
but
Dortmund gonna
Dortmund-
take this seriously? Is the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have.
Fluminense. I'd say Fluminense.
think
Also,
they
they'll
have
be
a
they're in the
choice.
middle of their season, I think, as well.
I'll do Fluminense
But,
Dortmund. Yeah, I'll do Fluminense
yeah,
Dortmund.
yeah.
I agree on that.
And then I don't
And then
give a shit about
whatever.
the other two.
Yeah, I don't care about the LC teams, bro. That's literally filler.
Chris,
All
why
right.
are you in the comments, man? Stop sucking sheep, man, and get into the stream.
City
Jesus.
UA.
Yeah, I sent you
Yeah,
a link,
City then
Chris.
Juve.
Are we sure about that?
I'm
Yeah.
sure about that.
Have you watched this Juventus team?
Yeah, he hasn't, bro. He hasn't.
No, but I have watched this Man City team.
This is
Yes.
a Manchester City
They
team.
finished
with
third.
But again,
I was
hold on,
hang on,
Marshall.
hang on,
I'll
hang
put
on.
it, Marshall.
This is a-
Once again, I will tell you this: look at the final for the Europa League. Put City first, bro.
All right, fair enough.
Also,
Yeah,
not even just that. Marshall, you're not considering the fact that this is a City team potentially adding Cherky and Reinders into that team prior to facing that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Prior to Pep
it's-
ruining them,
It's Al Hilal, by the way, and then I think Al Hilal beats
it's Al Hilal.
beats
It's Al Hilal.
Salzburg,
It's Al Hilal, bro.
and then Salzburg and then Pachuca,
Salzburg, Pachuca last.
which kind of sucks for
Okay.
Pachuca. But
Let's go
to be
knockouts,
fair,
baby.
Salzburg with how bad Salzburg are, they actually.
trash.
I was about to say, you know what? Actually, Salzburg might finish last. It doesn't matter, but that's
Just
they-
zoom in, brother. It doesn't matter. Zoom in. There's no other side of the bracket. It's all on one side. There you go.
Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, Atleti,
That'd be a good game. man.
Bayern.
Bayern,
It's Bayern.
It's gonna be an upset in one of these, you know.
Inter.
I think this might be the potential upset, bro. Because Inter, if they don't keep Inzaghi, if they have to sell players, they might be maybe I'll be on the low.
That Dortmund team.
Dortmund team can
even-
attack at the very least, bro. They suck, but
Yeah, but they
you
can't
see what they
defend the
did to
shit,
Barca,
bro.
bro.
Yeah, but they can't
That's
defend the shit.
Yeah, but for me, Inter's if it's still full of old men and retirees, bro, they might get ran through.
They're gonna have to sell a few of those players too.
That's my point. I don't
Yeah,
know.
move
This for
on.
me is in the air. I need to see what Inter do in the window. And if
I
Inzaghi
still
leaves,
think
if
it's
Inzaghi leaves, that's also a factor. You got to
I
keep in
don't
mind,
really
bro.
care about this. This is even if they lose players, it doesn't matter. Inter will beat BVB.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I think Inter win this game personally.
Yeah, they'll beat them.
I was gonna give it
guaranteed,
to Inter.
bro. Yeah,
but
they're gonna
yeah.
beat them no matter what. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, City.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do think though, again, that will be a good game. Like Al Hilal
Yeah.
got some good players, and especially
Yeah.
like if they're adding the Osimhen thing. I don't know if that happens by the way with who else they're trying to add. Because I know they're also interested in Teo Hernandez. No, is it Teo Hernandez? They're interested in someone and Bruno. They don't have the like international players to go and get
Style.
Osimhen as well, unless they're getting rid of a mad amount of players. But yeah, that'll be a good game. But City win.
Okay,
That's PSG,
then
bro.
We're looking at
PSG and then it's us.
PSG.
PSG and
then
us.
against Benfica. Okay.
that'll be a good
Yeah,
game,
yes, bro.
man.
I
Benfica.
think
Benfica are not.
Good rivalry, man.
That'll
Good
be
I
rivalry.
don't even
Yeah.
want to think
Yeah.
about Benfica. Oh,
That'll be a good rivalry, man. Game.
That's gonna be a
This
good
game.
game.
This is
game.
a
Oh,
fire
that's gonna
game.
be a
Fire game.
Oh, and you know what? See, I want to pick River Plate, but Brazilian teams always win against Argentinian teams. Always
Yeah.
win, especially recently.
I'm gonna go
It's
sentimental
gonna be a good game,
FC
though.
and say Fluminense for Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I'd say Fluminense as well.
I'll say Fluminense too. But don't be surprised if this is the upset.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
I'd say that's the one that could go either
River
way.
don't have a
Honestly,
bad team.
Yep. I'll put
Steve?
Fluminense though.
You agree, Fluminense or River?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the racists. Let's go Fluminense. Let's go.
Bro, they're both racist.
Yeah, they're
River
both.
Plate.
Yeah,
Sorry, man,
yeah.
River Plate more. River Plate the OG.
No,
you know,
hang on,
one of
Albert. You know, no, it's not. You know that River Plate. That's Enzo Fernandez's old team, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that has to be racist for sure. So
so that's gonna be the racism derby, brother.
Yeah. Listen, but we need to go for who's more racist than it. I'm just trying to go.
I need hold on. Wait, where is this being played? Where is this being played? Atlanta,
Georgia.
Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, man.
Bro.
Sorry.
Country as well. That's crazy. Yeah.
No, we can't have that. By the way, sorry, we can't have that. The world might implode if you have Fluminense versus River Plate in
the Brazilians and Argentinians. I'll tell you, Brazilians, Argentinians, Atlanta police. This is a recipe for disaster, bro. This is a recipe for disaster, bro.
I will be there.
Oh
my god.
It's legit a recipe for disaster, bro.
I need an excuse to go back to Atlanta anyways.
Steve, what do you think?
Fluminense, River.
Yeah,
bro.
That's what say, Peter, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
I'll go River. I'll go River slightly.
I think we got 2 River, 2 Fluminense. I went Fluminense. Oliver, Chris, what do you guys think? Well,
Chris,
you guys are kind of deciding it.
I like Chris go on this. He just joined.
Chris, what do you think?
Chris is
between Fluminense and River Plate? River Plate's Enzo's old club. Fluminense has Thiago Silva.
I don't know.
Does that mean Thiago Silva's racist, by the way, now? Because he's at race.
I go for the top one, man. I got Thiago's team. Why not?
Okay, there you go. All right,
Real Madrid, Juve. There's an actual conversation, you know. I just need to.
No, there's not. I wasn't even expected to do this, so there's no conversation.
Right now, move on.
It has to be Real Madrid, right? Okay, let's work our way back up now. Real Madrid, Fluminense.
Real Madrid.
That's gonna be cool. This is gonna be a good game too, by the way.
It is, but it's Madrid, bro.
July is crazy, you know.
Yeah, we getting packed up. We getting packed up, bro. But listen, hold up. Listen, but I'm not. You know why I'm not mad about it? I'm not mad because this will be one of the. It for me, it's almost like a free hit for them to learn. This is the wake up call that they would have gotten in the UCL, and I'm glad that they're getting it before we're actually in the UCL. This should be their wake up call that they realize these are the levels we need to be operating at. So I'm happy and when our weaknesses do inevitably get exposed in this game, the sporting directors, they still have some time. The owners have some time. They will be at this game. They will be at this game.
When we could go another striker by here.
When we inevitably hold like 4 or 5 in that game,
exactly,
and they haven't signed a centre back.
See, Scott gets it, bro. Scott sees a vision. I'm telling you, Scott sees a vision.
What's when we get a striker by here though? It's like a whole month away.
This might be.
No, it's only 2 weeks.
I'm telling you, this might be one of the most beneficial losses that
July.
We could take,
we
bro.
haven't done 2 weeks. This is in July.
No, we're past group stages. Group stages starts in 2 weeks.
No, I'm on about though, like this stage though. PSG
I don't think we're gonna be allowed to add players we
signed.
No,
you can't. No. Apparently there is another registration period after the group stage. I only found this out. Well, I think there is because I saw someone.
There is because somebody wants us to register Esteban after he loses.
Yeah, I saw that. RSM. That's what I was about to say. I saw it.
We saw the same thing. Yeah.
Can we register Esteban? Also, Marshall, that's exactly the same how it works for the Champions League and the Europa League. It's like after the group stage, you have another registration period.
Wow, that's actually insane. That's insane.
But the thing is, even if we get another strike, like you're gonna have to have signed a striker that is either going to be on his holiday. Actually, it's most likely going to be on his holiday. You're going to have to fly him out to America to then train with the team. He's not going to play that game. If he is, he's going to come off the bench for 30 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
So we might lose 5-1 as opposed to 5-0.
We're not going to lose 5-1, man. We're going to start.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not. The thing is, like,
we're probably holding like 3.
We don't get tired. We don't get tired of 60 minutes, man. We don't get tired.
I'm gonna be with you. We don't get hit with 5 just because of the fact that respectfully, like Vitinha is not getting that much space in the midfield because Caicedo's there. Like for me, it's just that simple, bro.
Yeah, we got Caicedo.
Yeah, we may have Caicedo. Listen, we may have Caicedo, but guess who got an midfield?
We're losing, but I don't know what score we're losing. And, I don't know.
I'm still not worried about that because again, we have Cucurella, we have Reese. You know what I'm saying? We have Caicedo. For me, that's enough to we're now holding 5. What I will say though is this for me is exactly what I wanted because it's gonna be one of the most beneficial losses that we will take and this team will take because it'll show them what levels they need to get at. It'll show Maresca the weaknesses that this squad will have against top opposition in Europe. that actually want to play against us, that will not sit in the low block, right? And then it also shows the sporting directors our weaknesses that will be exposed in the UCL, and we still have a bit of the transfer window left after this ends.
I'm gonna be honest.
So I'm completely happy with this, bro.
I'm actually gonna
and if we beat PSG, again, that's also positive. It's not happening, but if it did, there you go.
I think listen, big up. Listen, I am. Listen, you know, guys, I'm a guy that's very high on PSG, but I still think they're very beatable, bro. And listen, I think we'll beat them. I'll be real.
Wow.
You're saying, hold up. You guys are saying this, by the way. You guys are saying this. I saw what Aston Villa did. If you put enough physicality and techie players, you can give them a game. You can give them a game, which is what I'm saying. I do not think we're gonna get absolutely decimated and destroyed like 5-0. I think we're still gonna end up losing because they're on better form and they're off riding the high off winning the UCL. But that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a beneficial loss. Like a 5-0 is not a beneficial loss. That's demoralizing. We will lose, but there's a lot to learn from the loss.
Yeah. The reason why I don't think we've got a hope of winning is just, again, defensively. Like, I've seen better. We saw a better defense. Say what you will about individual players and whatnot, and the age of some of them. We saw a better defense. We saw the best defense in the Champions League. Hold 5. Just hold 5 in the Champions League final.
I'll be honest though.
Arsenal. Hang on. Arsenal, who have a better defense than us, went blow for blow with them and held 4 across 2 legs. I think it was. Like, that's what we're probably losing still. Like, it's probably
to be fair,
like
but you say that for me personally, again, like they still held a ton of goals against Aston Villa, bro. I'm telling you, like, what Ahmed says is correct. The team is beatable. Do I think we have the personnel to beat it at this moment in time? No, which is why I think we'll lose, but it'll expose key weaknesses that we still will have time to fix, not only on the pitch with the current players that Maresca has, but in the transfer window, which is why I'm saying this is going to be a good game for us. It's going to be a good game.
I will say this as a little bit of a side tangent. I think we are going to get this far. This is about 30 mil we would get just for getting this far. So again, some good chunk change right there.
That pays with Delap, man.
So we'll have got 60. So we'll have got 60 million by that point. Do you know who that pays for?
Don't 60. We're not doing this. Okay, so Scott, you think PSG win it? RSM thinks PSG win it. Ahmed thinks Chelsea win it.
Wait, Ahmed, do you actually genuinely think we'll actually beat them?
I think we'll beat them, I'll be honest.
I think
if we beat them,
Chelsea will give them a game. But
I'm gonna be real with you, brother. If we beat them, I need us to beat Madrid and win the whole thing. I don't care. If we get past PSG, I will now be asking them to win the whole thing.
Why not? Eh?
I don't care.
Steve,
I'm gonna be dead serious. Because PSG, by the way, are actually going to be trying. Because this could be a quintuple for them if they win this.
Yeah. It's their first time ever being in it too.
I was gonna say, they are gonna go into the start of next season if they win this with 2 trophies already. 3 basically, because they're gonna win the league, or they should win the league.
Yeah, the league is done. The league is done. But bro, I'm telling you, if we do beat PSG, it will change my outlook on what we do in the UCL and what I think of the team. 100%. It's that simple. If we can beat PSG when they actually care,
it should be for everyone. I don't want to hear this like, oh, but it's Club World Cup. No one took it seriously. No, they're taking it seriously.
No, every club. Yeah, no, stop.
You're winning. You can win. You can win as much as you can win more money than what you would win in the UCL. So this is like, money's on the table.
And all the big teams in it. Like you got PSG, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, like
Barcelona's not in it.
Man City.
Barcelona's not in there, bud.
Oh, they're not. Wait. Wait.
They haven't done shit in UCL in the last 4 years.
Atletico Madrid are in it, not Barcelona.
Barca haven't.
Yeah, fair enough. I just thought about 2 biggest clubs in Spain.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I can't. If we somehow through a miracle get past PSG,
I'll think about it.
If we somehow through a miracle get past PSG, I will be outside MetLife, bro. You will catch me outside MetLife, bro.
Also, Peter, we all know why Marshall's not going to be in Atlanta. Okay.
No, don't do this. Do not do this.
I just assumed, man. I just assumed. That's my bad.
Listen, man. We already knew, bro.
I'm not gonna tell anything.
I just didn't realize like this could actually be a game worth going for. I was thinking about going to I'm trying to figure out who's gonna go for Atlanta for the group stages, because at least I'm guaranteed to see Chelsea.
Oh, I'm going to the Esperance Tunis game.
Oh, cool! I'll see you there, dude.
Yeah, it's like a 6-hour drive from me. That's nothing. So.
That's not bad. Yeah, we'll be in touch, bro.
Isn't it the Flamengo game that's in Atlanta?
No, Flamengo and Tunis are in Philly. The LAFC game is going to be in Atlanta. Steve, your prediction for this one? PSG, I'm assuming?
Things in a few dodgy places, eh?
I'll go Chelsea with the shocker.
Wow. Okay.
An upset. There are gonna be upsets in this.
Pete, we'll talk.
Okay, hold on. I will say this. Hold up. I will say this, Scott. If we do manage to get past PSG, will you think?
Oh yeah, I'd
will
like
you
to
look
win
at
the whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Scott. That's all I need to hear. I knew Scott
okay.
was gonna be on the
100%
same
for that.
wavelength as me. Bro, I'm telling you,
Brother,
I said
bro,
this before.
Bro,
if
if
we
we just beat the team that won the Champions League, bro. If
bro, I'm
Cole
gassed.
has a
I can't
master-
lie. I'm running
No,
Caicedo Prop. I don't
you
care. I'm running
understand.
Caicedo Prop.
No, RSM, I don't think you understand. If some of these players, like if Chalobah has a masterclass against that front line of PSG, you will never hear the end of me.
Oh, really?
You'll never hear the end of me popping Chalobah. I'll tell you that now. If he has
I'm
a
telling you, bro.
masterclass against
What's
that,
up when
running it.
Chalobah doesn't
running
play,
it.
man? It's like Badichile.
What happens if Sanchez has a masterclass, Scott? What are you gonna do, huh?
I'll kill myself.
Oh my days.
No, to
Yeah,
be
I'm
fair,
actually
fair play.
no, he's not wrong, bro. Yeah. Well, I'm jumping. I'm
Jesus.
jumping. I'm actually jumping. I'm jumping, bro.
For joy, I get it.
Chris.
You're jumping for joy. I get it.
Chris,
Oh,
your
yeah.
prediction. Chelsea. or
I
PSG?
think PSG beat us. They're edge shit.
All right, CP.
We'll give them the game.
Yeah, we'll give him a game.
Yeah, we'll go again. CP.
They're,
We might give them a harder game than Real Madrid. I can't
They're-
cap.
they're gonna beat us for sure. Midfield, this is where our midfield, the thing that we've been hyping up for so long, is gonna be
Consistent.
put to the ultimate test.
Yes.
With Lavia, Caicedo, or Enzo, or Andre Santos, whatever way we're gonna do it. This is where we go midfield for midfield, but and I think our wing backs can be equal to theirs as well in terms of Reece James and Cucurella. But dude, first thing, I gotta get Ahmed props for one thing. Not Barcola, but Desiree fucking Doué. God
Yeah.
fucking damn, bro.
My
Yeah,
eye
he cooked
test is
yesterday.
see my eye test is undefeated because when we were talking we were talking at the beginning of the season.
Right, I'm
I'm just trying to hype Barcola, and I said, bro, I don't want Barcola at Chelsea, but Doué I'll take any day.
Bro,
My eye test remains undefeated.
That control, see, this is what I want Sancho to do with his life. You know what I'm saying?
He's not even gonna be here, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, we'll
That's
discuss
true.
Sancho. But
That's true.
okay, Inter Man City predictions.
Ooh, that's gonna
They're
matter.
gonna crumble again.
Is Inzaghi
This
gonna
one,
be there? That's the
this one
question.
does matter for me with what RSM said earlier. It depends on if Zaghi leaves, and it depends on if City get those
Thank you.
signings before this conference league, before the club. If they get Reinders and get Cherky, especially those two, and even if they get Gibbs White as well, and if Inzaghi leaves, I back City to win that. But if you had to ask me right now, I think Inter win. Like if we're going based on the squads
Wow.
after today, how things look today, I'm saying Inter win that.
I still think City winning no matter what. If they only get like one or two signings by then.
So
See,
one
Peter
for
gets
Inter,
it, bro.
one for
I'm
City.
telling you.
What are we thinking, Ahmed?
It's that defeat though.
I've
Like,
said
they
this
lost.
already. Inter's gonna lose, man. They're mentally broken, so they'll lose.
That's what I thought Dortmund could
City,
have
one
set them
Inter.
potentially, but I'll say
RSM?
City.
I don't think
I'll say
Dortmund
City.
can push
I'll say
Dortmund.
City.
Dortmund just, yeah, I just think
I'll say
Dortmund
City,
just
bro.
isn't good enough.
3
Yeah.
City, 1 Inter. Steve.
Yep.
Probably Man City.
Yeah.
4 City, 1 Inter. I think that. I mean, Oliver, I'll go with you. Your prediction: City.
City.
Inter. Okay, yeah, it's City unanimous. Okay. All right. Atletico Madrid, Bayern. This might not be a bad match either.
Atletico Madrid.
I'm edging to that way as well.
Don't even
Biased.
have Alex Bine in that team, bro. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, man, they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Atletico Madrid too.
Mm.
Okay.
Bayern. I
RSM.
think.
You thinking Bayern? Okay.
I'm thinking Bayern, bro. I can't lie.
2 Bayern, 2 Atleti. Chris.
Atletico Madrid.
3 Atletico, 2 Bayern. CP.
Ooh, I'm going 3-2 Bayern.
4 Atleti. Oh no, 4 Bayern. Wait.
No, 3-3. You said 3-2
Wait, I lost
Atleti, and then
count.
because like
Okay, so now
PP
it's
said the
3-3.
scoreline.
Okay,
Yeah,
now it's
the
3-3.
scoreline fucked you up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Oliver. Bayern or Atleti?
Bayern.
Oh, damn.
Well, okay, and then I mean, I think it's gonna be Bayern as well. So it's 5-3.
Why?
Kane.
Close.
I just think I don't know. I think
Aliso.
I can't underestimate Simeone, but I
Which
think
team has more match winners?
Bayern.
Bayern.
I think
I think
Yeah,
Musiala's a
Bayern.
match
Probably
winner.
Bayern, but
I think
I just think
Kane,
Atletico
Olise,
is
and
gonna-
Musiala.
If
I
they
think
get that
Davies
player.
is a match winner as well. Bro, I'm telling you, they got
Davies
too many
not
match
available,
winners.
bro.
Yeah, Davies not available. Is
Oh,
it?
he's not
But, like,
available.
There aren't many match winners in that Athletic Madrid athletic team. Like there's Alvarez.
The strong defense, but
I
think Bayern will break them down.
We don't do good against teams that can defend. Let's be real.
They're gonna defend hard.
I see your point. I do think though.
If this is an upset, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But
I still would give Bayern the edge.
Simeone's got a good shout, but yeah, no, I gotta give it to Bayern. I gotta follow my gut on this.
Gallagher winner.
Hope you're right.
Ooh, Bayern City, in New Jersey. Let's go. Oh, the rest of this tournament's in Jersey. So yeah, Bayern Man City. I'm gonna give this one to Bayern as well.
If we're somehow in this position, then yeah, we'd beat them. Yeah.
Bayern as well.
Yeah,
Bayern.
Fine.
Across the board.
I say Man City, but
yeah, I think it's Bayern, bro.
I'm thinking about it like it's close, but
all right, PSG, Real Madrid, PSG. Come on,
PSG.
It's gotta be PSG.
We are going to give. I can almost tell you. I truly believe we will give PSG a harder game than Madrid.
Xavi Alonso won't be ready for PSG.
It's not necessarily even that. Like
at this stage,
we still like a lot of these teams. Like we're having to kind of judge based on what's constructed at the moment. That's why like a lot of these, like I said, with Man City.
This is true.
If Man City made the signings that I expect them to make and they should make, then it looks a lot differently for them. But right now, Madrid lost Modric, don't really have a natural replacement on the bench. Maybe it just means Goulet gets more time. Outside of Trent, they don't have anyone else. They've still got that issue in the front line. We don't know what Alonso is going to play in terms of tactically. Yeah,
is Hoyson registered for this?
Yeah, he'll probably.
Yeah. Even if he is, I don't trust him. Okay. Like you're throwing him straight in.
The Lions.
Like, in that front.
Sure,
apparently, the plan is for them to play 4-3-3. By the way, that's the new.
That makes sense because that's the what's it called? That's the Real Madrid way. But
PSG versus Bayern final.
PSG.
Bayern.
PSG.
By the way, I'm
PSG,
assuming
bro.
everyone thinks PSG is going to be Real Madrid, right? Good assumption.
I don't know if PSG gets a final on this one. I just don't feel it.
Wow.
I think Chris is the only one.
No, Chris.
I don't see him winning the Club World Cup. I just don't.
So you think Bayern's going to win this one?
Well, I don't know if I see Bayern winning it either.
Well, those are the only choices, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Out of these people, like
versus Bayern.
Out of these, I don't think this is the final though.
Get out of the cookie.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't think the final is this one, but
I mean, I
based on
just
the
pick
majority
Bayern.
vote.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I think PSG do it again.
Yeah.
Luis
So you guys think PSG go win the Club World Cup?
Tactical, man.
Yes.
As of right now, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Like I said, there's no. I don't like.
I know what you're saying.
A lot
Kind
could
of
change,
favorites.
though. I will say that.
Yeah, a lot could change. Yeah.
I mean, the tournament starts in
2 weeks.
I think
2
Man City
weeks?
make a couple of signings anyway.
Not this Saturday. Next Saturday, Steve.
13 days.
Yeah.
So a lot.
Ahmed, PSG to win it all, or Bayern?
I think we do a lot of recency buys with PSG. I'm gonna stand by that.
God.
I think it's gonna be
Recency
Bayern. All right, RSM.
I still think it's PSG.
Still think it's PSG. Steve, you still think it's PSG as
I
well?
hope these players are ready for the heat, man. That's all I'm saying, man.
Sky, you think
Yeah, but you
it's
can
PSG?
say that.
So
The
what?
thing is, you can say that back
Wait. So if the teams aren't ready for the heat, are the African teams gonna win it?
See, listen, you said that, not me. I didn't even say that, bro. See, I didn't even say that.
No,
Bro.
I was taking what you were going with, and
I didn't even do it. That was actually not even my point.
The heat's not going to be that bad. It's not like
No, the heat will.
like
But
Because
the thing is,
the majority of these teams, right? If we're being honest, right, a lot of these players, listen, doesn't matter where they're from, wherever they're from. They usually play in like mild to cold weather on average, bro. It's not always. It's not hot, you know.
So
bro.
again, okay. So if we're running with that, are the African teams gonna do well in this tournament?
are the evening games going to be better than the early games?
I think the evening games will probably be a lot better. Yes, like you know those ones.
Bro,
like,
by the way, in Atlanta, bro, the
Atlanta's gonna be
heat in
tough.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
heat
but
in Atlanta is
Atlanta has a
nasty.
closed stadium.
Orlando.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
So
true.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's the Mercedes-Benz, right? It's the Benz
Yeah,
stadium.
yeah, but yeah, this is where like
Orlando will be tough.
It's not the heat that you got to worry about; it's the humidity. A lot of these players,
humidity in
like
Jersey
especially on the
especially,
European teams, they're gonna struggle with humidity.
The
But
South
most
Americans are chilling the humidity, but yeah.
the most like European teams are
With an
like,
AC.
gonna have the same issue. Like they're all going to have the same issue. They're all on the same playing field in that sense. So what you're looking at is whether any of these like South American or the Mexican teams or that's pretty much it actually. It's whether like the South American teams or the Mexican teams can take advantage of that, because they're the only ones that they're gonna be in the middle of their season, number one. So they're actually playing football on a regular, and then they're used to the climate. They're not going to be, and also like, by the way, these guys are lucky that they're not playing any games at altitude either, like in like Colorado or something. They'd be fucked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's about like, you know, they're not going to be acclimatized to this as well. It's a normal thing. That's all I don't understand where, you know, are the Africans going to play better, going to do anything? Like, it's not going to do anything, bro. It's crazy.
I don't think it's going to be as big of a factor as people make it seem, though. It will be a factor, but I don't think it's going to be that bad.
If an African team goes on to win it because of the heat,
a lot of like you know, a lot of the African teams even struggle with the heat in Africa.
Qatar World Cup was a lot worse, and a lot of these players went to that tournament.
The thing was, they actually did something to the stadiums for them. That's the difference, bro.
What they do?
They put in like air conditioning into the
and like they had this cooling system for all the stadiums.
Yes, exactly. But like, if you actually watch AFCON. If you watch AFCON, by the way, the reason why, if you watch AFCON, bro, even if in January, bro,
we don't claim you. We don't claim you. No.
Listen,
fuck off, eh?
Whoa, who's he talking to? Oh, sorry. I was about to say no, but even in AFCON, for example, they play in January, obviously, because that's when it's the coolest and it helps out the vast majority of the teams. Yeah, it's still really hot there, bro. Like the players are like sweating bricks. So that's the point. It's always hard in general.
We'll see. But. So you think Bayern, RSM thinks PSG, Steve thinks PSG, Scott, you think PSG?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be PSG as well. Oliver?
Paris.
Okay. Chris?
Culture.
I thought you already knew. Bayern, like, fuck it.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. And CP, I'm assuming you're saying Paris.
Yeah.
Chris is glazing Bayern, Chris. Is there someone...
I'm not glazing Bayern. I didn't put Bayern in the final.
Is there a Welshman there? Is there a Welshman there? I'm not aware of.
There is not, cool. But I didn't put them in the final too.
All right, that's it. Well, unexpected little FIFA Club World Cup prediction that we just did there. So hey,
I'm really excited. I'm excited for that.
No, it's gonna be a fun tournament.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of these like these other teams, like the South American teams or things like that.
I'm excited to see some of the new players too. I've been waiting like 2 years for some of these players to make their debut. And
You're gonna buy Auckland City.
What made FIFA whatever do this? Whoever
money.
Money.
The Super Cup, the UEFA, whatever the fuck that thing that was 3 years ago.
Beautiful thing called money, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I should have just looked at it as simple as that. Yeah.
What was it? What was that thing called again?
Chris, you know that, man. That's what. Look what happened to our truth, Chris, man. Money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're killing comedy over there.
They're killing everything, man. The sport's gone, man.
Carlito might be gone too, man.
Your time to shine's
gone. It's
coming
confirmed.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Your time to shine's coming up. Also, I will say, ladies and gents, over 100 of you guys watching, be sure to smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Only 48 likes. Let's see if we can get to 70 likes, ladies and gents. We would really, really appreciate it, as it helps the channel grow. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on to the next segment, which is... Here you go, Ahmed.
DAMAC Chelsea residencies.
Yeah, look what happened, dude.
Chelsea residencies by DAMAC completely sold out in 90 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
I told you guys.
If you just want to go down slightly, if you just want to go down a little bit slightly, it actually tells you how much has been sold. AED 2.03 billion sold in just 1.5 hours.
How much Chelsea get? How much did we get for our transfer?
I don't think Chelsea really gets shit out of it. It's just more so DAMAC probably. Dude, it's insane. Like, first of all, I think like the very first entry tier is like £400,000 for just like a residency there, and it comes with a bunch of perks too. So it's like you own a little bit of property, a residency in there. It's considering how the housing market is in the US, I'll speak for just the US. That's pretty nice, especially the location. I mean, I know the Arab Emirates gets Dubai gets really, really freaking hot, but regardless, like, hey man, property's property. But yeah, they sold out in 90 minutes. It's insane. Like, that's I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this. That's quite astonishing to see it. So
who's getting arrested, man? Can they control their background, please?
I assume that's Marshall.
No, it's not me.
Oh,
I live in Bumblefuck.
Yeah, you never know, Marshall, man. They can always arrest you.
I guess so. He's a freaking mountain bike coming through with a loud ass siren. I'd be really impressed.
They're arresting CP for suggesting Sanchez might have a masterclass against PSG.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it is me. I'm in downtown, so yeah.
Hold that, man. Hold
wow. Caught. You got caught. All right, but yeah, just a quick one there on DAMAC. Let's go into the next one, which is right here. Here you go, Ahmed.
Caicedo Prop. Where's the guy for Caicedo?
Where's our
Caicedo Prop? I heard Caicedo Prop. I heard Caicedo Prop. I'm like, bro, I heard Caicedo Prop. I heard Caicedo Prop.
He ran right back into the screen. It's crazy. All right, this is level 2, Ahmed. Level 2. All right, the tweet's starting to get longer now. Okay, here we go.
All right, man. Chelsea will advance in talks to extend Moises Caicedo's contract in the next months. Planned since March is to open negotiations over new deal for the midfielder, and it will happen in the upcoming months as Chelsea see Caicedo as world-class midfielder.
All right, you almost looked
world
up
class.
There's a part 2.
Wait, why is Ahmed reading this?
Chelsea have started to work internally on new contract proposal for Moises Caicedo. Talks to start soon. Fabrizio Romano.
There you go. He even reads it.
I love it.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
I love it.
See, one eye, man. I'm reading it one eye, man. What can I say, man?
Yeah. With one eye. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, Caicedo getting his just desserts, very much deserved, I believe. He's been a fantastic player. Are we now establishing a trend here where if you do well in your season, at the end of the season, you get rewarded with a contract renewal, or not a contract renewal, but a restructuring?
Your wages go up. Your wages go up pretty much. Your wages go up and you get +1.
But that's how it always has been. Like, well, that's how all well-run football clubs. I know whether you think we're well-run is debatable, but in terms of contracts, this is how a well-run football club works. And this is where, like, the whole, like, my worries about the wages or like wage structure or players asking for something they don't deserve doesn't worry me, because even if they do, this club has shown that if you perform well, they'll pay you what you earn. Like, they've renewed a contract for Palmer, they're now renewing Caicedo's contract. Say what you want about him as a player, but Jackson performed to a level that was good enough last season, and they gave him a contract extension off the back of that. Now, that one hasn't worked out because of how bad he was this last season, but at the time, it made sense.
Right idea. Or principle, or whatever you want to.
Yeah, so like it makes sense. It depends on what their wage goes up at the end of the day, and you're just like tying them in for more years. So yeah, and yeah, I don't see this being a bad thing as well for Caicedo in particular.
No, not at all. I think this is very much deserved for Caicedo. It keeps the player happy. It keeps him wanting to stay at Chelsea. I think it pushes him also to continue on, because let's be honest too, with Caicedo, if you know his story, you know he comes from poverty. You know, his family.
He got out the mud, man.
Yeah, exactly. This guy came out of the struggle. So it is something that's gonna fuel you as a player to do well and incentivize you to do well. And by the way, 100K for an apartment. They're luxury apartments.
Really crazy. It's not really crazy.
They're luxury apartments. They're humongous. We're not talking like New York City apartments. We're like, and you own it. You own it. You're not renting it. You own it.
Yeah.
So you can resell it for more.
I'll be honest, that's cheap.
400K is quite cheap. Like my
nice apartment.
The house that I've got a mortgage for, it's like 500 or something K, bro.
But it's not even just 400K for the apartment. 400K, you get the apartment, you get meet and greets that are like events that are scheduled. You get your own pool, a pitch you can play on. Like it's like a rooftop soccer pitch, football pitch. You get your own gym that looks like Cobham Gym. Like, there's a lot of perks that go towards it. And on top of it, you're living in Dubai. Like,
yeah.
So clearly,
you know what I mean?
Are you trying to get into the real estate business, Marshall? That's what it sounds like to me, man, according to the chat.
Gotta follow the money. You know what I'm saying, Ahmed?
This guy.
Gotta follow the money.
This guy, bro. This guy.
That's what they're saying in the chat. No, that's not me saying it.
I was gonna say the prices clearly ain't that bad if they're sold in 90 minutes or less. Like, all of it.
No, 100% potential transfer targets are gonna see, and that's the whole point of, like, I know we'll get to this talk later, right? But obviously, when we get these young strikers, and we're pretty much like, listen, you perform, you stay here. You not only stay here, you get the pay raise.
March was on the brown envelopes, man. Big up to him, man.
Yeah, I might as well be. I might.
You know what I mean? How much did you get, Marshall? What's your percentage?
What's your cut? Which apartment did you get?
Yo, what's the cut? What's the cut, Marshall? Talk to us.
What's the cut, man? What's the cut, man?
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Off stream. All right, let's go. Let's go on to the next segment, which is the following, and we are getting pretty close to the nitty gritty of stuff, guys. So stay tuned. Go ahead, Ahmed.
Maresca Praise.
All right, let's talk about it.
He sounded so unhappy to say that.
Enzo Maresca stressed to the excited Chelsea players in front of him that after a campaign where they had been written off for being too young and inexperienced, they had proven a point. They had nothing to do with the age of footballers, but with having the right mentality, quality, and toughness. Simon Jordan Sport. Noni Madueke says he doesn't understand criticism of Enzo Maresca as the team have come of age this season. The gaffer is top. Wow, that's a poor English there. The gaffer is top. He won last year at Leicester, and he won this year in his first year at Chelsea and qualified for the Champions League. I don't understand why there would be criticism of him. Nizar Kinsella. Enzo Maresca has changed our lives from DAMAC. Thank you.
It was just a random guy. But anyways, we look at some of the stats here. We're looking
Don't remind me of the 22-23 attack, bro.
Sorry.
Why would you remind me of what they did, bro?
That's the goal conceded. That's not goals scored. That's goals conceded, bro. It's even worse.
No. I'm saying no. That's what I'm saying. We only conceded 47 goals in the 22-23 campaign, but we scored like 30 something, bro.
Yeah, 39. I think we got 39.
Was it really that less? Like,
yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I thought it was
goal of the month was a goal of the month was a Jorginho penalty, bro.
We didn't have a goal of the month for Timos, by the way.
That showed we really need a Cole Palmer.
Do you remember when goal of the month was? Do you remember when goal of the month was a Gallagher deflection?
Yeah. I thought there was a goal of the month that we had to go to the U21s or something.
No, the goal of the month was from the ladies team, pretty much. But yeah. Listen, listen, it's interesting to see Thiago Silva was there when we were the weakest. Interesting, man. Just find out.
Don't you fucking dare.
Can you kick him? Can you kick him? Can you kick him? Can you kick him, please?
Why?
No.
I'm not allowed to have my own opinion. Let me have my own opinion. That's not fair. No.
Yellow for a foul on Silva. Foul on Silva.
We don't
your boy the Brick was there as well. You know.
He was there too. Yeah, that's fair enough. He can do that too. I'm not gonna get offended by that. But why are you guys getting offended when I mentioned Thiago Silva? You know what I mean?
There was many issues and problems. Thiago Silva was not one of the major ones, bro.
I mentioned the guy that was the face of that, you know? That's all. He was the heart of defense.
Let's see if he can be heart of their defense in the club.
Anyway, listen, like I said, I want to listen, shout out Maresca, bro. He hit every objective. He didn't even just qualify for UCL because a lot of us were like, no, he needs to get top 4. He got top 4.
He also improved like Reece James' injury record. He improved Colwell. He improved Cucurella. He improved Caicedo, Enzo. He didn't really improve obviously Cole Palmer, but he improved Madueke for sure as well. Jackson obviously didn't improve, but yeah, he improved a lot of players this season as well. Was down to him.
Yeah. What does kill me a bit though is the fact that I think Maresca, I want to see what he does this next upcoming season though, because I hope he takes the flexibility that we saw towards the end of the season in terms of his tactics into next season. Because if he doesn't, if he's still very like rigid like he was at the beginning of the season or like the January where he wanted to stick to exactly one way of playing, then I think that's going to kill us.
That costs him.
I think you can be rigid though if you have more suitable profiles. We didn't have that this season. Like, it depends on the recruitment.
Because like there was certain amount of times. For example, there was certain amount of times like there are teams who are not good on the ball and like Forest. So give them a bit of the ball. They have no idea what to do with it, and we have better counters.
And the thing, Oliver, I agree to a point, but I also think like if we're still trying the same tactics next season with these supposedly better players, like. I know we're going to end up talking about him, but like Delap, for example, whether he's a huge improvement on Jackson from his team in terms of profile, it's an upgrade. If we're still having the same issues in terms of we're just crossing the ball to fucking no one every time because the crosses are shit, or we're just crossing and he's fighting against 2 centre backs that are taller than him or stronger than him, then it obviously wasn't an issue of quality. It's an issue of these tactics, and they're not going to work. So I think next year, as good as he's done, it's massive for him because it looks like these owners and these sport directors are going to spend more money and get better players, I think. So there'll be no excuses. Like we can't be having games where we're creating nothing, or we can't be breaking down low blocks, or our strikers getting one chance a game, or whatever. Or our wingers aren't beating guys 1v1 on the dribble. Yeah, or like our wingers aren't beating guys 1v1 on the dribble or whatnot because they're 2v1 every time. Like if we're still getting the same issues next season with different players, then it's gonna be a long day for him. You want me?
I want to say, listen, and the Maresca good season 1. Let's see season 2, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Steve, what were you saying in terms of Maresca? But I think you just left. So
Oops.
It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think what you guys are saying.
We need to keep on. Do we need to keep on blaming Maresca? Okay, he did his.
No, we can move on. We can move on. We can move on. We can move on. You happy? We can move on.
No, I'm just asking an honest question because, like, it's not even me being like a dickhead or anything. Like, imagine
you know what's crazy? Like, my comment was good job hitting the objectives. I'm still worried going into next season, and you call that glaze. Fair enough, bro.
No, I said this after this. I said after you spoke. Way after you spoke. Don't worry, I said after you spoke. So let me make clear.
I was gonna say, Steve, in terms of we're talking about Maresca, you were gonna mention something about his stuff.
I was just gonna say, like, I think he rebounded well, like in that since the January. Aside from some of your shaky away results, I think y'all overall had definitely a good season. Can't really say nothing bad about Maresca because I thought y'all would finish 5th and not win the Conference League, and you did both. So I mean, that is pretty good, and considering you don't have like a great number 9 or anything, that's impressive. So looks like fair play to him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. And in terms of that too, I think another good point to bring up is because I know people have been talking about who's had a better season, Arsenal, Chelsea, and I will put my hands up and say, like, oh, I don't need to put my hands up. I'm just going to say it was Chelsea. Chelsea had a better season. Not only because we won a trophy, but in terms of expectations, a lot of people weren't expecting us to make UCL. They weren't expecting us to even be in top 4, whereas Arsenal was expected to challenge for the league. And when Man City had the drop off that they
challenge
did,
for something.
Yeah.
They were expected to challenge for something.
Yeah, and considering how Man City fell off the way they did, and not to mention the draw, right? Like they were winning that game when it was City Arsenal. When it was at the Etihad, the first leg, I think it was.
Yeah, and then
that was like a big result for them.
Equalizer.
Yeah. It was a last minute equalizer, but that was a big result for them that Arsenal should have won. After seeing that, you would think that okay, Arsenal have the best chance to win the league, and then you have Arne Slot in his first season go and do what he did, like. It's a very, very disappointing season for Arsenal. So in terms of expectations, Chelsea exceeded the expectations. Arsenal didn't perform below their expectations. So I think in that sense too, Chelsea had a better season as well.
Yeah, we had a bad season. We had a better season than Arsenal, but I don't think we exceeded our expectations. I think if
we met our expectations. We met our goals.
We met ours.
A lot of pundits and a lot of the big heads, the talking heads, were expecting us not to even be.
But that's pundit talk. I separate pundit talk from us as fans. Like, you know what I mean? If me
internally,
where did you put Chelsea? By the way, where did you put Chelsea?
I think in Marshall's stream, I think I put them top 4 because it was after we signed players. Before we signed Neto, I said 6th.
Because a lot of people say 5th or something as well.
I said 6th.
I put 5th. I put
6th here, but then we signed players, right? And then I put us in top 4, right? So for me, that's why I said him getting top 4 and then the career broke up. He's met the expectations that we probably wanted from him this season, which is I think
I expected top 4 the whole way through.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I feel like
the manager
he's met the expectations for us. Again, we need to understand, when it comes to Chelsea pundits, it's always going to be an uphill battle.
They hate us, bro.
It's an uphill battle forever, bro. So there's no point in me objectively listening to a Rio Ferdinand, a Jamie Carragher, or Gary Neville, because I know what these idiots are like.
Couldn't you say the same thing about opposition fans, though, and some of your even own fans?
Yeah, a lot of rivals.
That's why.
A lot of our own fans didn't expect shit out of this.
But I separate.
They had to delete drafts when we won Forest.
I always separate those guys. I separate the ones that I know who are idiots and the ones that's why I'm talking about us.
But a large portion of the fan base were negative about this signing. They were negative about this.
about at least
But
50-50.
no, they were negative on Maresca, but they were still saying the same people that saying we need to get top 4. They were the same people that were still telling that.
Yeah, but that's expectation versus.
Yeah, we
No,
need to
but-
versus what they expected to happen.
Some of them don't.
I think a lot of them expected us to fail.
But we can't say you can't say I'm going to be negative on the season, but but then say I'm expecting top 4. So I don't really get that. I don't really understand that, bro.
I don't really get what you just said, anyways.
No,
How can you say?
no. What they are saying,
I feel like you contradicted yourself there.
No. They keep on saying they expect top 4, right? They were even saying this season we're expecting top 4, but they were negative on the manager. That was different, bro. Okay, there's a difference between that. You can expect something, right, and still not look at the manager kindly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
But that's the part that I feel contradicts itself, because how on one hand can you not look at the manager kindly and then expect that manager, you don't rate, to get you top 4? When you have Liverpool, Man
That's
City,
where the negativity comes from.
But that's the confusing part. So based on that logic, I guess a lot of Chelsea fans are retarded, which I don't agree with.
The problem is,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, that's the point we're trying to make.
Yes. Correct.
On Twitter. That needs to be clipped.
That's the whole reason we keep on explaining to you, Marshall. If we have to exclude a good portion, because you know what they are. It's like me saying, let me give you an example, and I'm trying to use it. I was going to use this a different example, but it's like doesn't make sense. But we'll just keep a question. I had an example set in mind about Woomies.
You know what? I think Strasbourg Steve is cooking with something here. Let me pull this up.
Wait, what's happened?
He pulled up an Athletic little survey here, and we like the Athletic. So let's look into this real quick. Let me actually get rid of this banner real quick and let's pull this up. So I like I said, I think the majority of the fan base weren't expecting us to finish in top 4. So how do fans of each Premier League club think their season went? Let's go to Chelsea. Where is Chelsea?
Oh
Chelsea,
God,
where are you?
We're down at the
right
bottom.
under Leicester City.
Satisfied, dissatisfied.
What year is it? Is it the new one? I'm assuming.
The season that just wrapped up.
That's crazy.
So 40% of Chelsea fans are dissatisfied with the fact that
we're right miserable cunts. That's what we are. We're miserable cunts.
Yes.
This is why, again, I have to say this is why what my argument. I think Steve is proving my argument.
Yo, send this to me because this just proved this.
Steve is proving my argument here, bro. That a good section of them are just dickheads. You know what I mean? They're not there.
The fact that Manchester United have a better
It's basically, you know what's crazy? No, hold up. It's basically, if you add in very satisfied and satisfied, it's a 55 to 45% split on whether we had a good season where we won the Conference League and got top 4.
Which, by the way, any season under Roman,
did the 45% want us to win the league?
By the way, and I should mention this, any season under Roman, top 4 and a trophy meets the minimum of expectations.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're in that Roman standard that people like to praise a lot, but yet you're still dissatisfied. It's just, I think for me, there's a lot of agendas. I think for me, it's a lot of biases. We can add the other, factors as well about the American ownership and all this and that, right? And I think the way last season went, as well as getting rid of some of the players that we got rid of, Gallagher being a big one. Gallagher was a big one that I think a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people didn't like how we treated Ben Chilwell. A lot of people didn't like how we treated Chalobah. That one I understand completely. I think based on that and based on all the signings we made, and the best signing was, in terms of like hype, the best signing was Neto and Felix at the time. I think a lot of people weren't really expecting us to do much in the Chelsea fan base. I really do think, with that being said, Maresca exceeded expectations. Especially based on the preseason as well.
The only thing that you can criticize them for in terms of the competitions is that you didn't do better in FA Cup and Carabao.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, we've been them off quickly, man.
His man management was at the start a little bit shaky as well, but I felt like he did
the thing is,
well.
with the Newcastle game, I will fully blame him for thinking the B team could beat Newcastle's team. That was
Hall at right wing. Remember that?
That was a stinker. Yeah, that was a stinker. That was an absolute stinker from him.
This is why I've always maintained he's met his deal.
But I still thought we lose that game.
He did what I expected him to do this season, because next season, logically, a lot of people expect us to compete next season, right? That's the whole point. So therefore, he's going through the potential levels that we expected him to do. That's why for me.
Wait, do we expect
And also,
to compete
wait,
next
let's
season?
also not pretend like when we went through that rough patch, I was one of the few on this panel that still thought we were making UCL.
You got absolutely cooked. I remember Marshall was fighting
Yes,
for
you're
his
right.
life.
You're right. Yeah,
I remember.
And even when I said we were in the title race, I got cooked for that too. Like, and so again, even us on this panel, I'm just saying, even us on this panel, I was realistically the only one that thought there's a good shot. Well, actually, Chris did too, to be fair. So Chris and I were really the only ones. I think RSM also did too, to be honest. So Chris, I and RSM were the only ones that thought we can get UCL.
I said we could still get UCL because even when we were going through the bad run, we were still in top 4. So I said as long as we don't fall to like 7th or 8th, there was still a shot.
I can't lie, I got Nottingham Forest wrong. I thought they stayed top 4. I think because I remember, and they fell apart.
Listen, I was very pessimistic. I was like saying 40% of the time for us to get top 4 towards the end, if I'm not mistaken. But I never thought of us in a title race.
I thought we guaranteed top 5 though.
The reason why I always say we were never in a title
I
race.
agree with that one.
Yeah, that's the way I put it. Like again, and listen, they made a 40% to 100%. So.
And let's be honest. The thing with Forest, and I said this too, and I said this with Newcastle and Villa. I said this like if these teams were so great, they would clearly be like at levels above us. They would be clear in the top 4 over us, but they weren't because while we had our bad patch through the middle of the season, Newcastle had a lot more of a roller coaster. They had a lot of more ups and downs. We had a very big up, a very big down, and then up again. Newcastle was more up and down. Same with Villa. Like they were up and down consistently, like week to week. So.
Nah, we were streaky too.
That's what I'm saying. You guys were streaky. You guys were constantly up and down. We were really high in the beginning of the season, went all the way down, and then went all the way back up. But
that's what I'm saying.
No, Joey was confident. Joey was 100% confident.
This idea that the majority of us thought we're expecting top 4, like I don't agree with that. I think a lot of us by January. And by a lot of us, I mean people in the chat, people in JC is right, by the way. People in the chat, people in Twitter. Like I think a lot of Chelsea fans had either checked out and Maresca out and didn't think we were going to make Champions League. And a lot of people mocked me for even thinking we were going to make Champions League.
Some people were saying sack Maresca halfway through the season so we could rescue the season and get Champions League. Like
this idea that Chelsea fans were expecting top 4, the fact that they turned on Maresca so quick like that too. I think it's cap. I think it's cap. But that's that could be a discussion for another time. But all right, let's go on to the next segment. And like I said, ladies and gents, almost 150 of you are in the chat. If you haven't done so already, do smash up the like button. It helps us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. We are going to get into the more nitty gritty of Chelsea news, starting off with this segment right here, which is expectations for Blue Co. Ahmed, I read that for you because you're going to need to read a lot of stuff. Go to town, bro.
From Athletic FC. Chelsea are eager to move swiftly through the market this summer and finalize all incomings and outgoings by the end of June. They are keen to head into pre-season with a settled squad and to maximize the preparation time ahead of Maresca's second season. While Chelsea have qualified for Europe's elite competition, there remains a desire inside of Chelsea to stand by their approach in buying and then nurturing the best young talent in the world. Chelsea's priority is to make a signing before the Club World Cup begins via Kieran_DM. Chelsea are currently discussing internally whether or not they need to go for another number 9 following the agreement for Liam Delap.
All right, have fun with this next one.
Can you make this a little bit bigger for me, mate, if you don't mind?
Yo, right click it, open image in new tab. Marshall, right click it, open image.
Remove the expectations bit for me. Remove the expectation section just temporarily. Chelsea are ramping up their summer plans after winning the Conference League, and a striker is top of the shop. They are set to sign Liam Delap from Ipswich for 30 million. Delap is one of several striker targets they have had, including Hugo Ekitike, Benjamin Sesko, and Victor Gyökeres. Chelsea need to sign another forward as Christopher Nkunku is likely to leave this summer. They also want to sign a new left winger, with Mikhailo Mudryk likely to be missing for a while, and have Nico Williams, Jamie Gittins, and Alejandro Garnacho on the list. They also want to sign another young centre-back, and they like Mark Gurhey, Jared Banthwaite, and Joel Hato. They must also decide what to do with the on-loan Jadon Sancho. Talks are being held to negotiate a new deal for the winger to fit into Chelsea's wage structure. Now,
you got another one for me? Sorry, about Sancho.
Good luck.
Ben Jacobs tweet.
All right. Chelsea's next priority after Liam Delap is a right-footed left winger. Alejandro Garnacho, Nico Williams, and Jamie Gittins are 3 names under consideration. The desire to add another winger is more with Mikhailo Mudrik's absence in mind. Process likely to take time regardless of the outcome. Fucking hell, mate. How long is that going to take? Chelsea would prefer to keep Jadon Sancho, but only if he agrees terms within the club's wage structure. Otherwise, Sancho will go back to MUFC for a 5 million penalty fee. Another forward is also possible, as Mustafa Nkunku is expected to leave. This could be another number 9, despite faith in Nicholas Jackson, or it could be a versatile attacking midfielder. Chelsea will be opportunistic should Morgan Rogers become available, but Aston Villa have no intention to sell even with a tight PSR position. Jorel Hato also still remains a possibility in defense. No movement on goalkeeper. Chelsea will first pick a number 1 from Robert Santos, Georgi Petrovic, Philip Jorgensen, and Mike Penders. Club World Cup likely to be a key period to judge all 4.
Touche, I'm a touche.
Do you not want to add also this quickly? I know there's like a little quick Sancho news if you just want to bring up really quickly.
I have a Sancho section.
Oh, if you have a Sancho section, then no.
So what is this section exactly?
This is what to expect from Bluco in the transfer window.
Oh, okay.
Fuck knows, bro.
I'll be honest with you. Again, I said this before. I think we got to get two strikers, 1 winger, and 2 centre backs. I think that's what's going to happen.
Minimum.
What I agree, but my issue just comes with like we're still like RSM made this comment about United earlier, and I'd argue the same. We're still looking in like not necessarily the bargain bin, but it's still the same top, bro. We could have finished 12th and we'd still be looking at the same targets, bro. Like we're still looking at the same targets to win in Champions League. It's the same, and that's
they said it themselves, Scott.
Yeah, but Ahmed, that's annoying to me because you can't like. You have to have different targets for finishing inside and outside the Champions League, unless your plan is to go and sign someone and pay them more money, like what United did with Pogba, for example. United are probably doing not necessarily what they're doing with Cunha because he's obviously coming from Wolves, but like, you can't tell me that if we were getting like we're still the same wingers.
But my question is, because I thought about this though. My question is, what left wingers could we realistically take?
Nico Williams, that's a good one.
You could try for Barcola again. He ain't playing.
No, but that's my point, right? Like we could try for those things, right? But if they're happy at the club, like we can say Barcola might be unhappy, but is he unhappy if he just won the Champions League? He's still a kid.
No, it's fair, but like you could test the water. I don't like the fact that the ones
that's fine.
If he knows he could be a main player,
I agree we could test the water, but once again, right? Like when we speak about like I wish we had better options. I'm really thinking like what better options are on the market right now for left wingers? Bro. It's kind of dead. It's kind of dead.
RSM. I'm not hearing that.
Stop. In terms of big name targets, bro, we're not doing this like I'm finding the hidden gems.
Fuck the big names. Fuck the big names. We're linked with Garnacho and Gittins.
I mean, Garnacho, I think is bottom of the barrel. I would take Gittins or Williams before I take Garnacho, bro. That's worst case scenario.
The only one of those I'm taking in this team is Williams. Yeah, I'm not taking Gittins. I'd keep Sancho. I'd start Sancho over.
I'd rather George over Gittins as well.
Like, I want to keep Sancho too. It's the fraud Ahmed who wants to get rid of him. I would keep Sancho for Europe.
I would keep Sancho too.
No, but I'd start Sancho over Gittins, and I don't want Sancho starting for us next season. He showed he can't be a starter for us next season. Squad player, yes, he can't be a starter. I'm saying I'd start him over Gittins. That means Gittins ain't good enough for me. Like, I'm not even asking for the massive names, but it's like,
but then I don't even rate him like that. That's my whole point.
Yildiz,
who, bro?
I'd rather get Yildiz than get any of those 3. I'd rather go for keep pushing for the Rodgers thing. Try that.
The Rodgers thing, we said like it said that Villa doesn't want to put him on the market. That's the last report on Rodgers.
When they're about to like go bankrupt or when they're like going to get
but that would be at the end of the transfer window because they would be desperate to sell at the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, they're gonna try to sell others before.
Because they're gonna try to sell other.
I reckon Martinez will be out before him as well.
Exactly, they're gonna try to sell other pieces before they sell Martinez, bro.
I just know what this club's going to do, and I know what our fans are going to do. We're going to go into next season with Gittins on the left wing, and then we're going to be in the same position asking Delap to score 25 goals. And it's like
what did you take?
He's come from Ipswich, and it's like
steroids.
It's just the same, bro. We live in the same, bro. It's the same. Everything's the same. It's just different players.
Listen again.
When it's the same situation, the same scenario, with like time is a flat circle. Literally the same.
Can I be? But Scott, yeah, Scott. What did I tell you 2 months ago? I want Casually FC to Amanda. What did Bridge Nation say to you guys?
I don't know, bro. You say so much.
No. When it comes to transfers, what did I tell you was gonna happen? I promised you Jamie Gittins was probably gonna happen to this club. If you guys remember.
I don't recall you
ever.
Yes, I did. No, but Leao was Leao.
That's one.
No.
There you go. There you go. That's one. Actually, there you go. That's one. RSM. You wanted options? Leao. I'll take Leao at this club 100% before any of this.
Yeah, I think Leao.
Time. Let me get my point across. I was saying Leao because of
Marshall. I love this remontada when I was backing Leao. I love this remontada.
Listen, as I said multiple times, I told people Gittins was gonna come. I actually even predicted Delap was gonna come to this football club, right? And I told you guys that probably Gerhier would come to this football club.
I have a question. That Sporting kid, is he a left winger?
Yeah, he's left and right. He's playing left wing this season.
He plays both. He was playing right wing and left wing. But I think
how about this? Is he right-footed?
No, left-footed.
No, he's right-footed.
No, he's left. When does left?
So he's right.
I just think, I just think regardless, you know what it is, guys. I just think, man, irregardless of what we talk about, man.
If you give me Williams, Gittins, Yildiz, Leao, I mean, I think obviously Leao would probably be the most.
What did you guys think of Etzal Zuli on the?
He's alright. I don't think he's played that much this season, has he?
Yeah.
I thought Jesus Rodriguez was playing ahead of him.
Played a good amount.
Yeah, but we know the club already have told you guys who they're gonna get. I don't think it's gonna be Garnacho because of the stuff behind the scenes. So it's between Jamie Gittins and Nico Williams. So it's gonna be between Jamie Gittins and Nico Williams. And we know Nico Williams. Listen, I think the issue with him is gonna be with the wages. I'll be honest with you, and I don't know if he's gonna fit that. And so if he's not gonna fit that, I think for me,
bro, the issue with that is almost no one in world football is gonna give him the wages that Bilbao gave him.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think the club can. I think he's gonna stand by. He's gonna stand on business. So it doesn't matter. So either way, you see that with like how Osimhen is doing it right now. So he's gonna stand on business. And if that prices him out of a move, that's on him. He's already living a cushy life with the amount of money he's already earning at Athletic Club, and they're gonna be. I think are they
the thing with Leao is I think we only do Leao if we can't get Gittins and we can't get Williams. That's like a Jorge Mendes desperate move, bro. By the way,
that would be the funniest thing. Leao's the best player on that list of those three.
No. I don't think
but he's not on the list at all.
No, I know, RSM, I know, but that's the stupid thing, bro. Like of those three, he's the best, and you're like, I agree with you. I think he's the last option of those three, and that's stupid.
No, I don't think the club will go for Leao. By the way, I think he was actually mentioning this on his stream today. Alex Goldberg, he was talking. The club still have some level of interest on Antonio Nusa, bro, and he's in flipping RB Leipzig right now. Right, so the club have some old targets that we seem to have forgotten about that they still may have some level of interest in. So this is why I'm saying to you, listen, Yildiz, I know the club is very interested in, right? We don't know if that's going to happen, for example, and even I don't believe that might happen, right? But the club have long-standing interest in younger guys that we just know, we seem to have forgotten about because you've only heard about them being scouted by Chelsea.
These guys.
Yeah. Right? And a good example I can give you just quickly before I let you go. Quenda was a good example of that, bro. No one knew we were scouting Quenda. No one knew we were looking at Quenda. And it just happened out of nowhere. Right? So we know this club, either they like to act in silence or they hide in whichever one they're going for.
Yeah.
Now, so that's the one thing I do have to bring up too.
But then they are hiding it though. I know the fact that they're playing it a lot closer to the chest than did other seasons.
You know what?
They're not giving Fabrizio the scoop anymore. They're not giving his ass a scoop.
Can I give you a good scoop? Like today, for example, I found out the club is still negotiating for Sasco apparently. Like today, it came out today that the club is still negotiating.
No, we're not negotiating. We're not negotiating, bro. We're not negotiating.
Yes,
we're still interested. We're not negotiating.
Define negotiating.
Apparently we're still speaking to his people. Trying to get to negotiate. No. Wait, didn't let me finish. We're still talking to his people, finding out what we need to actually pay for him in terms of that's the money, that's for the club perspective, and then also what negotiating probably what we would have to give him in terms of personal terms, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. Whoever we're gonna get, there's stuff still happening behind the scenes. And you see, Marshall, that's a good one by Safa. Oscar Bob, we forgot.
Oscar Bob is a really good shout. Yeah,
everyone forgot about him, and he's back now.
Good player.
This is why for me it's very easy for us to forget. There's a lot of guys we scouted previously, or we've been initially linked with that I've spoken about before.
Were you guys ever linked with Dibbling?
No.
Okay.
Bro, I don't want no. Like I'm not big. No, like we've had this conversation before, and I'm gonna say it again. We're already doing the experimental thing up front, right? So if we're doing the experimental thing up front, we've seen what experimental in the front line does. I need you to try and get something that is some level of certainty. Now, nothing is a certainty in football when it comes to transfers. I need as close as you can try and get.
What I will say is, in terms
these
of
fucking Dibblings and these, like, they're not it, bro.
But hold on.
But they don't care.
Just to play devil's advocate.
No, fuck the devil's advocate, bro. There's no. You cannot give me an argument of where this makes sense.
Yes, I can. When they got you a known entity in Jadon Sancho, in Pedro Neto, and Felix, all of which cost them a lot more money than the unknown entity, how did they perform?
You could even go back to
Marshall, you just named me, by the way, sorry. You just named me
Sterling.
Hang on.
Sterling cucked us.
No, wait. Marshall.
No.
Marshall,
I'm not doing this, Scott, because in the summer,
you named me a known entity in Felix who we know is shit. So we knew he would be shit.
You thought that. I was kind of hyped about it based off of the first season.
I thought he was
a lot of people were hyped about it. A lot of people were saying, "Look, finally, Chelsea are making a proven player signing. A player with experience."
He's not a proven player. He's not a proven player.
It was not proven player.
I'm saying he is, but that's what Chelsea fans were saying. Finally, we're getting a proper player. A class player.
The 45% who think we had a bad season. The 45% who think we had a bad season.
Thought we had a bad season.
Why are we acting like
who are you speaking about? I actually missed who you're speaking about, Journey.
But even Sterling. But like even look at Steve. Like even Steve from the outside looking in is telling you that that's how Chelsea fans reacted.
The problem is
people were gassed up about Felix, even in this community as well. Same thing with Neto. We were all gassed about Neto.
Of that season where we were 12th and we were shit.
You know what it is, Marshall, though? Listen, I think the Felix point is a valid point. I actually will agree with you, right? But I think with Felix, it's more so to do with, like, he's a dribble merchant, that usual.
That's what it is, yep.
He's a conflict. That's what we have to separate.
He's nice on the ball, bro.
I think your Sterling point, is a bit more accurate because I remember when people were getting Sterling, they were like, he's proven, he's been about it, bro. But no, I remember, I didn't want him either at the time. I didn't want him either at the time, if you remember. But the way they were talking about it, he's running about on the block. Tuchel wants him. He knows his way about the game, etc. I remember that one. Koulibaly was another one when he brought him. I remember Koulibaly when we brought Koulibaly as well. So, he's on him. He knows what's on the ball. Oh my God, we've wanted him for years. Welcome, Cooley. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? But I think for me, if we were smarter in this period of time, and this was about we did Sterling and Koulibaly about directors. A genuine sport director, even with Stanley and Stewart. I hate to give them credit. Would have told you Koulibaly and Sterling are not good value for money right now. But the price you're getting them at, and then the stage that they created at,
and the age,
right?
It's the age that killed them.
And the age, right? Realistically, a good sporting director would have told you that. By the way, in my personal opinion. But the problem was we didn't have a sporting director at the time. That's why, for me, objectively, my sporting director has to be able to be objectively look at some of these players that are a bit more older and be like, which ones can I see? I've got a few more years in him, and which ones aren't. That's the issue that we've had for the longest time, Marshall.
Yes, but in terms of like options as well, for me, I would, and I want to ask Steve this. What is your situation with Anthony Gordon? Because there are rumors that you are willing to sell him, and I wouldn't mind going for Anthony Gordon.
I believe it as well. But I'm starting to think that not the season that just ended, the one before that was the outlier of his career and not what's more to come. Because like when we signed him, I was like not happy at all. It would be like
a lot of Chelsea fans didn't want him. I remember when that
bro, I was not enthralled. I'm like, this is a lot of money. Like I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed by him. But so he came in the January, did fuck all, and then the season, like when he 23-24 season when we didn't have he was very good season. And then this season in the past, it's like he started out kind of good, and then it was like bad, then it was good, and it's just like bro.
But he stepped up for you the last season when Isak wasn't as available as he was this season.
He did. But this year's been Barnes' year. That's the thing. This year's been Barnes' year at Newcastle. Even though he hasn't had nearly as many minutes as Gordon, Barnes has made a huge impact. So
what's the rest of the panel
I can't lie, bro. Like if someone gave me 80 million for him right now, I would probably take
See, I'm not playing 80 million. This is where the Anthony Gordon thing is
70.
a bit tough because I'm not paying 70. Like the most I'd probably pay is like 50, but that's kind of what you paid for him, I think, which is a bit tough. But they're not like he's better than anything we're looking at. Outside of maybe Williams, but Williams, the only issue I have with Williams, number one is
$48 million US.
Yeah, like I don't know what that equates to in pounds. I can't bother to look up.
How much did you say?
It's like 48 million US.
So that's probably like 55 million pounds.
40, yeah.
Give or take.
No, it's going to be less.
It's going to be 40, around about 40 million pounds roughly.
Yeah, that's
something like that. But yeah, like that's the best option. Sorry. I was like, my only issue with the Williams thing. Number one is the wages, and number two, I don't like. The output is an issue. I like him on the ball. I think he's a good player, but the output is an issue. Like, and ultimately, for me, output comes into this because I see a lot of talk, and I have come around to the idea of if we get rid of a winger, it probably is Noni. If we're keeping Sancho, you're getting rid of your winger with the most output. So you need to replace that and arguably get better than that. Yeah. And when I say better, I'm not talking 1 or 2 GNA here and there. I'm talking I've got to get a good 5, 6, 7, 8 better GNA just in the league. If we're talking all content, like 10 to 15 better GNA, if we're getting to where we want to get to.
So
but these Gittins,
22 GNA.
They don't move me at all.
So I'll give you the numbers on Gordon, right? 23-24 season in all comps, 48 games, 12 goals, 10 assists. Good. Like he overperformed for me and was generally like played well. This year, 42 games, 9 goals, 6 assists in all comps. And the thing that I'm seeing again, which I was annoyed about it with Everton, is that he just gets flustered so easily. And he tries to do the same, like, he doesn't. I need to see more variety in his
By
game.
the way,
like I want to see him play on the right a bit more.
Let's talk about output, by the way. Since we're talking, let's talk about output, by the way. Let's do comparison. Gordon in a shit season. This season, 9 goals, 7 assists in all comps. So 16 GNA across the season. For a shit season.
15. Yeah.
No, it's 9 and 7, sorry. 9 and 7, so 16. Noni Madueke, 16. Jamie Gittins, 17. Yeah. 17 in a league which is known for having high lines and being easier to score in. Keep away.
So Scott, I had a question for you. So would you do, if you had to pay 80 million, 70 million, whatever, Gordon or Leao?
Well, that's a fantastic question.
Probably Leao.
Let's go, Robertada. Let's fucking go.
That's a good question because
Marshall.
He has the same problem as Gordon. He gets flustered.
Fucking new and Marshall.
It does. My
203 of you, please smash the like button.
Leao is the way I look at it. Leao is coming from a lower point than Gordon, but his higher point is higher, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the floor and the ceiling currently is way bigger than for Leao than it is for Gordon.
Yeah.
So what I'm relying on with this is Leao to get back to what he did in that title-winning campaign, which I think he can get to.
That's years ago. That's the problem.
That's only a couple of years ago.
The thing is,
they won the Scudetto in 21-22. It's 20.
Bro, it's been 2 years, bro.
Wasn't it the season? Was he still good the season after?
3.
He was all right.
But like the thing for me with Leao is that Leao is like he's become like a moments man these days, bro. He's not good.
Like,
it's not.
It's the work rate that doesn't help.
If you can get him back to that, which I still think there is a way in which you can get him back to that with the with the right situation and scenario. I don't know if Maresca is the right guy to get him back to that though.
I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I'd probably say
he's still got 18 GNA in the league.
Yeah, I'd probably say Gordon.
I think for me, Gordon. I don't see Gordon.
How much GNA did you say, Chris?
He got 18 GNA like in the league this season.
And Nani got 17.
Who?
No, I'm on about like 4 bad seasons. It's not the worst.
What Leao was that? Leao or?
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the league. I don't think.
I'm not saying he's had a great season.
What are we getting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what Lukaku got in that league, GNA wise?
Bro, I don't care. Like,
That's the point I'm trying to make to Chris. I'm making the point.
Leo got 25 GA.
Oh, no, we're not doing this. This is what I'm talking about.
But that's what you're talking about, right? You're just talking about
doing
GA.
the same bullshit again. Oh, do you know what X player got in the league? Fucking hell! Then no, we should buy from no one. Anthony's falling in La Liga.
Like, if we're doing this,
the reason why I'm using this Lukaku, by the way.
Anthony scoring goals in La Liga. Let's not get Yamal.
But here's
guys.
the thing, CP. Based on that, right? Like, because I agree with you. It's not
by the
all
way,
GNA.
By the way, Leao, sorry to interrupt, Marshall. Leao got 25 in all comps this season.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay, so based on like, if we're looking at this, we're analyzing this properly. And by the way, in the comments, no one zip if you're watching, click this one too. All right. Listen, GNA isn't everything when it comes to the wingers, especially in Maresca's system.
No, bro. I'm sorry, Marshall. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Wait, let me land my point, please.
Yeah, go ahead, because then I have to make a point in this. Go ahead. I have my point.
Yes. GNA isn't everything when it comes to Maresca's system, because we've seen part of the reason he loved playing Nani Madueke as much as he did in the first half of the season was because he came back and defended. That is not something Leao is gonna do, and it does hurt the system. That's why I don't think Leao is gonna. I like Leao as a player, as an individual player. I think he's a fantastic player. Yeah. If you give him the moment to perform and score and get the assists, if you take advantage of those moments, but in a system like Maresca's, I think he's going to look like shit, and he's probably going to be another Nkunku, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know. He got a lot of chances in that wing position, but I don't know about Nkunku. But I hear you the work rate.
By the way, I had a look. Like, for me, and people want to say, oh, GNAs and everything, but like...
You get raided?
At the end of the day, that's what we're missing in this team.
I don't think we did.
Like, that's what we're missing in this team is goals and assists. Like, we spent the entire season, me and others, talking about how good Jackson was in terms of like hold up play and link up play, and all that was thrown in our face, and rightly so was, but he can't finish. So what we've done is we've gone and got a guy whose hold up play is as good, link up play isn't as good, who like isn't necessary, like is a bit awkward on the ball at times, but gets goals. Or looks like he's going to get hang on, Ahmed, before you go. And the thing is the same with the wingers. Like, you can't tell me that, we have to get more out of Noni, or we have to get better than Noni, and it's like, cool, so we need more goals and assists then. This is a guy, by the way, I had a look. Leao has not got less than 25 goals and assists in all comps in the last 4 years.
But
he's got
before you go, Ahmed, real quick. The thing is, I agree with you though, Scott. Like, I do think we need a goal-scoring winger, or if we're gonna get an actual striker, then we need a creative winger, which we have. The thing is, like, I get it, but Maresca specifically needs, this is in a perfect world scenario, right? Specifically in his system requires a winger that can be a threat on the wing, but can also have the work rate to come back and defend and press.
Might as well keep Nani.
So let me make this clear. Yeah, I think our problem. Listen, yeah, if you are gonna bring in like obviously bring in Delap plus Ekitike, right, and then you bring in the Gittins. I think the thing is that we should be able to live in a world where if Jackson's given you, I think he gave us this season 11, 12 GA in the league, 10. And also it was like 10 GA, right? He gave me 10 GA in the league.
I don't know what
stuff like that, right? He's got 10 GA for us, right? He can still probably improve on that. You know, you got Cole Palmer, who probably will improve upon last season, is the hope after the season that he's had, right? Logically speaking, Gittins, I think for me, realistically, can get you 10 GA. If Manuel can give you 10 GA, he can give you 10 GA. Yes, he can, right? And then you've got Neto. Right, yeah. And then, listen, Neto as well is going to be available for him. He can now at least have Delap that's get onto his crosses. I think if we get everyone to chip in a certain amount, I think you can make. I think it's okay to say the GNA will be sorted out a little bit more easier.
No, it's not.
Because the problem for me was
there's an issue with your thing. There's an issue with your thing. You said Jackson. Jackson is not going to get us 10 GA.
I didn't say Jackson.
I didn't hear Jackson.
No. Jackson. You mentioned
I didn't mention Jackson. I did not mention Jackson. I'm talking about the new season, our new players this season.
Yeah.
I mentioned if you get Delap. If you get Ekitike,
I know, but you're saying but your whole point was also everyone's going to contribute, and you said Jackson's part of that. But I'm saying
I didn't mention Jackson, bro. I did not mention Jackson.
You did in the beginning.
I had to rewind.
No, I did not mention. I spoke about Madueke, bro. I did not mention Jackson at all.
I didn't hear Jackson, but
I did not speak about Jackson. Never spoke about Jackson, bro. I'm talking about the two special new strikers you bring in. You literally bring in Gittins, Madueke, Neto, right, and Palmer. That's all I spoke about, bro. That's all I said.
Yeah, see, even Haasing, you said Jackson. That's what I'm saying. I'm not that delusional.
No, you didn't say Jackson, but I don't remember. Like, I wasn't listening.
I think you're just going through the list of people contributing. You also mentioned the new signings, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't include Jackson in that because I'm like,
I don't think he'd even play. To be honest, I don't even think he's going to be here next season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, my bad. If I didn't say it, then my bad.
Why I need more output from the wings is because I'm looking at it right with where I want this team to get to. Right, is obviously challenging and shit. I'm looking at how we challenge just from a goal scoring perspective or getting enough goals. We even need someone who is going to get you guaranteed 20 plus, 25 plus goals in the league.
You mentioned Jackson's GA.
Delap could, but like I don't think it happens. At least not for a couple years.
Yeah.
So then I'm looking at okay, how do you get that outside of that? What you also do is do what City did when they didn't have Aguero, which is you had like 3 different goal scorers, all who had 16 goals in the league, to make up for the fact that we haven't got one guy getting 25 to 30 league goals. So what I'm saying is you get maybe 50. Like what I'm expecting at least like 16, maybe 17 plus goals from Delap next season, to be honest. But then if we're getting that, I need that to be offset by a winger who can guarantee you 10 goals. Not goals and assists, 10 goals.
Yeah, but
you want a list?
But the thing is, before I let you go, Steve, Jackson already got us. Jackson got us 7 goals, by the way. Like we can cook Jackson all day.
He got 10 goals in the league.
10 goals, but
No, I thought you only got 7 goals in the league. No,
he got 10 goals in the
league. If Jackson is getting you 10 goals in the league, right? Realistically speaking, that I think we should be content with just having already got one guy that can do that for us, right? You've done whoever you bring in next. By the way, if it's a Gittins, Garnacho, everything like that, I think with the way we play in the right team, I think they can get 10 goals too.
I don't think they can. I think
they can.
Getting 10 goals in the Premier League?
There's no evidence that Neto's getting you 10 goals. Ever.
I'm not even mentioning Neto. I'm talking about the guy that comes in. The guy that comes in is going to be the goal scorer.
There's no guarantee that anyone that we get in, we've talked about, like, there's no guarantee in terms of who we're linked with. Gittins, Garnacho, Neto, particularly those 3, not Neto, Nico, those 3 are going to get you to like 10 goals. Forget assists, 10 goals. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I want us to get as close to the sure thing, because we're doing the same thing where we're going to go into a season where the burden of getting goals and finishing everything in this team is going to fall on Delap, which is stupid, because even though I think he's going to get you 17, 18 goals minimum, you shouldn't have to, that shouldn't be what we do as a club, where you're relying on him to be the number 1 goal scorer, and you're relying on him.
But if the club active,
with what he's having to do, again, Ahmed, it's stupidness.
No, but the thing is, bro, I have to disagree with you, because we're not just relying on Delap. If you're bringing in 2 strikers into the team,
we are, bro.
No, we're not. Because
he's saying with Ekitike, though. He's saying if
I'm saying if you bring in Ekitike and Delap, that's what it's looking like right now. That the club are trying to do, right? Then you're not just relying on Delap anymore, bro. You got 2 guys that you're clearly relying. You got an A and B relying upon, and I think for me, the reason why I don't like this argument about players can't get 10 goals, I don't even think our wingers necessarily need to get 10 goals. If they make good deliveries as they've been doing with their crosses, you've got Delap there, you've got Ekitike there, who are much better in the box than a Jackson in terms of their movement. Then they should be able to make up for those goals that they even just can't make at times. So
also, I brought up the
So for me, I feel like we're becoming so elated onto one position, having to be able to score 20 GA, that we're forgetting that we can still make the
that's how you compete. No, Ahmed, that's how you compete.
But we've already got one guy that can do that for us already. You've got Palmer that can do that for us. No, we've got Palmer that can do this for us already.
Not in this system.
And you've already got a man away that's doing 10. I can give you 10 already.
Bro, hold up. Let's be honest. Hold up. No.
Fuck this. He didn't give you 10. I don't want to fucking compete. I'm not doing this top 4 bullshit every year. No, I'm not fucking doing this top 4 bullshit every year. I'm talking about competing. Because that's where we deserve to be. You're not fucking competing with a guy getting 15 goals.
Scott, I need you to take a deep breath and stop crashing out. What Ahmed is saying is very true. You're asking for an elite winger. However, right, if we have more than enough goals in the striker position, it makes up for what our wingers aren't able to produce in terms of goals if they're given assists. And we have to be honest, Palmer not getting the GNA they had this season in my opinion, has zero to do with the system. We were watching week in, week out. This brother missed easy chances, take extra touches. When he was bad, he was awful. And Ahmed can attest to that. I think there was a time against Southampton. He literally just had to place the ball and it would have been a goal. And he failed to place the ball. That has nothing to do with the system. He could have gotten he could have gotten 20 goals this season. But he did it through his own fault, not the systems. It was his own inability to do that. And for me personally, by the way, I was like, I had to talk about it and I had to look it up because I was looking at, okay, when we're looking at Jackson, we're looking at Ekitike, like what are we missing? What are we doing? I looked up a bit of Ekitike's, not only the cons, but I looked at his underlying numbers, right? I'm mixing both. I'm doing the eye test and the stats. And he is just a straight upgrade on Jackson. He is just better Jackson. And not only that, the big thing that convinces me that this might be worth it in terms of the money, because it might not be a name that we're like, oh my God, why do we care about Ekitike right now? Why is Liverpool in for him?
Because he suits their system better.
Yeah,
no. Even if he suits their system, the fact that Michael Edwards is interested in him tells me that there's something there. There is something there.
He suits their system better.
He does.
The thing is,
yes, he suits the system, but the player is quality. Stop with the system shit. It has nothing to do with the system. He is a quality player.
It has nothing to do with the system. Because in that system, he's not being required to get you 20 goals from striker, which he's going to have to being here.
He's not. Bro, we don't need 20 goals for.
We don't need 20 goals. If
we don't need 20 goals. We don't need 20 goals.
Let me give you a scenario, a nice little scenario, okay? If Delap gives you 15 goals, Ekitike gives me 15 goals, right? I'm getting similar GNA to what I usually get from Cole Palmer.
Jackson stops shit in the my bad. Palmer stops shit in the bed when he's in front of goal.
25 GA
crazy
from
thing.
Palmer. Yeah, 25 GA from Palmer, stuff like that, right? And then listen, Maresca is chipping in 10. Network can chip in 4 or 5. Yeah, whoever the other winger can chip in 4 or 5.
Hold up, Enzo. We're forgetting Enzo. Enzo got great numbers this season too. Let's not forget that.
Yes. So and listen, and then you know what's also funny? Our centre backs didn't even score goals, bro. Barring like Cole won the final in the season. Bro,
it was a fullback. We got goals from Cucurella and Reese.
Again, listen, there's a lot of places in our team which have been lacking goals. We've been lacking good corners, which has our centre backs haven't been able to score enough for us. Yeah, our wingers haven't been that great. Let's be honest. And one of the criticisms we were given is that we don't have a striker to help our wingers. Wasn't that the whole point of why we were questioning now on Neto? Oh, now needs to bring a striker to customability. Now needs this guy. That's all we've been saying. So for me, it's just like we can't on one hand say, you know, the wingers aren't shit because they ain't got the guy in the middle to help them out. Yeah, and then at the same time, bro, yeah, we can't also say, you know, we can't also say then, no, they're different rubbish. Does that make sense? Like, we can't play here and there. Again, I understand Scott's point, about one of our wingers need to be a good, successful goal scorer. I get that. But I think for me, we need to also realize, as I always say, the reality of the situation, And we know what the type of club that we are. If we get Gittins, I'm just hoping Gittins can give me 10 goals. If he gives me 10 goals this season,
he would though.
I don't think he will. I get that. If he needs to give me 10 goals, if he gives me five goals, but he gives me a good amount of assists, I think he makes up for that.
But hold on. Just to kind of steel man Scott's point here. Do you think if Gittins comes in and gives you 10 goals, if Nani on the other side or Neto on the other side gives you 10 goals, with the lap, maybe he'll give you 15, 20, do you think that's going to be enough to challenge for the league? Because I think that's what Scott's big point is he wants a player that can come in and help challenge for the league.
That's what I'm saying. 10, 10, 15, 15 from our two strikers. Then I think that's more than enough. And that's including Cole Palmer, by the way.
No, but now we got to think of what others are going to do. We have freaking Liverpool adding in verts.
You understand, by the way, if one of these strikers is in form, they're playing basically the whole season. That's how it works if you have two strikers. Like, so if one of these guys has got like 15 goals, the other one's not going to have 15 goals because they're not going to, unless they're getting 15 goals in like 30 minutes every game, which fair play to them. Like, if they do, fair play, and I hold my hands up. Like,
unless you play both,
that's not happening, bro. That's not happening. It never happens unless you play a two-striker formation, which we don't, or unless you have an amazing one of those is immense super sub, which is unlikely.
Yeah, and then if you're talking about challenging for the league, then you got to think about the other teams. Liverpool's adding in fucking verts on top of a solid season that was
by the way, and I keep seeing people talk about.
The thing is, when people say,
in the chat. I just want to address some more.
And Verts is the upgrade on some boss line.
To the retards in the chat, they're like, "Oh, you think Salah's going to get the same amount of GNA? You mean the guy that's consistently got 30 goals and assists across every year he's been in the league?"
Yeah. But again, stop. I like listen. In terms of worrying, in terms of Liverpool adding in Wirtz, whatever. Again, Liverpool only face us twice a season. Like, they're not gonna, like, them winning a game this season by 2-0 and then adding in Wirtz and winning a game 5-0 next season, they're still winning that game, right? The goal, yeah, the goal difference, sure. But in terms of actually challenging, we need a winger who is more prolific in front of goal, and we need a striker just better than Jackson, period.
And you need a goalkeeper if you want.
And I think, well, no, we don't need to entertain that because we got Petrovic and that's already an upgrade. We already have the third best defense.
I'm saying you need a goalkeeper if you want to be a title challenge.
No, yeah, that's fine. But for me personally, I think, because I looked at it and I think for me, like, Sesko is worst case scenario. I looked at his numbers. I looked at the eye test. It's absolutely trash. Sesko is when you compare Sesko's numbers to Ekitike, it is absolutely disgusting, by the way. Sesko is nightmare doomsday scenario. This is legitimately what it is. So for me personally, I think Arsenal gets Sesko, but I think for me, when I look at Gyökeres, the fact that every club is winning like the plague, that's a red flag for me. I don't want to look at that. So when I look at it in terms of striker, right? Everybody's like glazing Gyökeres. Osman does not want to lower his wages. He wants Saudi, period. Fine, that's it. He wants Saudi. It is what it is, right? Gyökeres, there's something there. No club wants to touch him, and we're gonna be the ones that take the punt on him. Is that realistically what we want to do?
Arsenal did want him. Wait, hang on. Arsenal did want him until, like, you heard about Chelsea having talks. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe Chelsea actually in for him as well. I don't know, but like, something.
No, the news came out that they're talking. The news were like, oh, Gyökeres is linked to the thing, and then the bomb was dropped that Arsenal are actually all the way in for Sesko. That's the news that dropped, and then the Gyökeres links died because they are in for Sesko.
I don't know. I'm taking Gyökeres over.
No, the same reporters are saying we know why they're going for Sesko, because their new sporting director wants to go for Gyökeres, but
by the way,
guy who's in charge of the entire thing, the one who fired the previous sporting director,
by the way, and in terms of goals
for the past 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of goals, by the way, Rafael Leao has we're doing per 90 has 0.32 goals, so that's almost 1 every 3 games, right? Nico Williams has 0.31. Again, 1 every 3 games. Jamie Gittins has 0.41. So these numbers, by the way, aren't
wait. How can Nico Williams have what did you say? GA or
non-penalty goals? Non-penalty goals per 90 is 0.31. That's basically 1 every 3 games, right? Rafael Leao, non-penalty goals, 0.32. Again, that's almost perfectly 1 every 3 games. So divide that over the season.
I mean, he ain't taking penalties at Chelsea.
That's what I'm looking at, non-penalty goals. But that's why I went no, these are non-penalty goals.
Come on, what revelation!
I'm like I say non-penalty goals.
Chris, man.
Bro, Chris, please, bro, please.
I hear where you're coming from, bro. But I do understand where what RSM's kind of saying is he has a very good point on the quality of left wingers that are available. It's like we go from Rodrigo down to
it's a chasm. Hell. It's a chasm, bro. It's
you
the
go
bear
down
on the trench.
Rodrigo down to hell, bro. It's like you're like there's not really like a guarantee. Even like the names that we brought up between Nico Williams and Leao, these are like transitional risks. This is why when I spoke about like Brian and Bimo being should be an option for us, this is why, because of the chasm there is between wingers from the levels that we're being able to pick from and that are available. So like I get your hesitation with the names that are being on this list, especially like I've told you guys about Garnacho specifically. Like there is a big issue behind the scenes with the way that they actually feel about him. Yeah, he's on a list, but they feel a different way about Garnacho than being on the list, right? Like he's actually much lower on the list than from my understanding than what's being told or what's being spoken about, because Garnacho's going to be on everybody's list because his agent's going crazy right now, trying to find himself a club. Okay, like that's literally what it comes down to. So like for me, it's like, all right, if we end up with Gittins, I can see why everybody's so like hesitant behind the player itself, because he is very erratic. Like he's just an erratic player. Like Nani erratic, right? Decision making like Nani. We're just getting another Nani. That's
getting a younger.
Right.
We're getting a younger Nani.
I would say he's more fearless than Nani, in my opinion. That's kind of something that like I have a big issue with Nani is he takes too long to get into his actions. Where Gittins will just he's taking his man on. If he gets once, he's taking his man on because he's very fearless overall. So like which is for me, it's like meh signing, right? Like I'm not necessarily sitting here trying to tell you that it's gonna.
It feels like a lateral signing.
But not necessarily. Here's the thing: it's not even necessarily lateral. I just have some different expectations from some of these wingers and others. Like for instance, like with Delap, I do think not Neto's assist tally probably goes up by 4 or 5 this upcoming year. Like, and same with like Palmer's goals. I think having Ekitike around will be really good for Palmer. Like these are things that like, and I get the wanting to challenge. I just, regardless, this is still one of the youngest teams in football. You have to. For me, we're probably more likely to win in tournament play rather than in like league form, just like overall. So like that's where my mind is kind of at with it. Is top 4 in another tournament, in my opinion, is like where next year is potentially, regardless, just based off of who we're linked with and in essence, and the age of our squad still like. We're still one of the youngest teams in football.
23.7.
It's as much as I want to be where you guys are. Like I want to be challenging. But us challenging is paying us. That's what us challenging is paying.
Anyways, what were you saying? You said something about me.
You said sorry. You were saying not. How is it that possible? Because both Rafael Leao and Nico Williams have not scored a goal in their leagues their entire
last 365 days. You could here, Marshall. You could bring me up.
No. I'm literally on transfer market. I'm looking at penalties that Leao has scored in his life.
Right here. So this right here is Rafael Leao last 365 days, right? Non-penalty goals per 90.32, right? Now we have this is Gittins. Non-penalty goals per 90.41, right? And this is Nico Williams, non-penalty goals per 90.31. I'm not lying. This is FB ref. This is numbers. In the last year. This is in the last year, not career, last year. So we're looking at the performance currently in the last year. That's where they're at.
Man, listen.
Yes, but one has 5 goals and 5 assists, and one has 8 goals and 10.
Nico Williams has
Marshall, can you check Sancho's score statistics for me quickly?
No, I'm not. I'm necessarily like.
I got Jackson's. I have it on my screen.
Sancho.
There's not necessarily like a good
Sancho,
name. Like truly, there's not necessarily like a good name that actually plays wing.
Here we go. Here's Sancho's, by the way. Here's Sancho's. Here's Sancho's. Here's Sancho's, by the way.
Hey man, we want you to stay. We want you to stay.
He has all this. He has all like this is all green, but in terms of actually getting G&A, it's poor. But all this stuff is green, more so than like Gittins.
0.1.
This is Gittins, by the way. This is Gittins, by the way. This is Gittins.
Oh, okay, what's Sancho then?
Here's Sancho.
Sorry,
there's a few like scoring attributes that.
And then here's Nico Williams. And here's Nico Williams, by the way. Like these like.
What about Garnacho's?
Like one thing you could say, and this is maybe why like they look at him, is you can see like right here, bro, in terms of pass completion, like Jaden doesn't lose the ball that much from shitty passes, but these brothers do. I ain't gonna lie. Nico Williams bottom 16% out of all wingers is bad, bro. That's bad.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like these guys, these names, any of these names are.
They're all that's what I'm telling you. Like outside of Rodrigo, everything is not it, bro.
Even Nico Williams is like, there's not necessarily someone that's gonna.
Let me propose. Let me propose an option because Ahmed did bring up things that could be going on underneath the radar. I know that we tend to want players that are under 26 and under. This player has played on the left wing in previous seasons. He can do it. And maybe this is something that Scott might like. But before I reveal it, smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Over 200 of you watching.
What a tease. What a tease.
I swear to God if you say Garnacho.
But
he knows what he's doing, man.
What? No, I'm not going to say Garnacho.
Oh, thank God.
Emre Chieze.
No. He's not a
No.
winger.
He's not a winger.
He has played
Not
wing.
not in the sense of like
Of what we need.
this is a system thing of like he's not a natural winger in terms of touchline winger. He's a guy who wants to get the ball in the half space and come inside. Like the system he's in at the moment, that left 10, like if he, outside of the fact that the manager's shit and like if he just upgraded in terms of the team he was at to play the same system in terms of Palace, that would be good for him. I was gonna say United, but it's not an upgrade. Or in like that City system, if he was going to be when they obviously on the ball and he goes into like one of those 10s behind the striker, like that would work for him.
Yeah.
As a pure winger, no, like that doesn't work in this system. If we played wingers that were closer to the box, 100%, I could see that happen.
This is why, but Scott, here's the thing, right? We can say that about Yildiz, we can say that about Morgan Rogers. Like these are all like it's all the same in the end. It's like they all are 10s or inside forwards in that type of system, regardless. Like
what I will say is this:
they have to be running inside the half space.
Listen, hold up. In terms of Rafael Leao, bro, his numbers don't look that bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like his numbers ain't that bad, bro. That's a lot of greens.
For me,
It's I would say. Oh, it's just the defensive stuff, which I'll be honest, you've got the best left back in the fucking world behind him.
Even with defensive, bro, he low-key has aerials one, bro. Look at this. He's top 80%.
That left back behind him is trash. No, I'm not giving you that. Fuck that.
No, Joey. I'm saying if he comes here, what I'm saying is if he comes here, the whole defensive thing, I don't even worry about that because if he comes here, he's going to be in front of the best left back in the world
and the best DM in the Prem, bro.
Yeah, but listen, but if you want the system to work, bro, the guy has to buy into your system.
Ahmed, he does. But what I'm saying is, like, you can sometimes allow in your system a little bit of leeway for guys you know are going to deliver on the other end. Look at what Slot has done for Salah this season. Their system has still worked, despite having. Hang on. They had Trent at right back. Hold on a second. They had Trent, who's notoriously a dreadful defender, at right back, and Salah doing less defensive work than he's ever done since he's been at Liverpool, and he just went and got 40 GNA and they won the league.
The problem is, can I be honest though?
The thing is, bro, we had it with
Scott.
I'm not saying.
No, Scott. What you're saying can be true. What you're saying, Scott, can be true, and I can completely agree with you. But the thing is, Maresca had that opportunity, with, for example, a guy that I don't think was good enough anyway. But for example, what Felix, right? They had an opportunity with Felix, a guy that we know was a bit lazy on the ball, but even he decided to kind of bind a little bit, right? And he still did not play him.
Yeah,
so for me,
because he also doesn't have the goal output.
Yeah,
but Sancho didn't have that either for us, and he was playing.
No, but Ahmed, I'm not even saying that what's it called? That Leao was going to get to this level, but I'm saying of what we're looking at, he's the closest.
Also, hold up, Scott. So you were saying, for example, Yildiz, right, bro? These Yildiz numbers do not look good, brother.
You've not had a great season. Let's be respectful.
We've spoken about before. I'm not Yildiz's massive biggest fan because I think he's better as a 10 than a winger. But I'm saying I'd rather him than
in terms of you saying that what we need is GNA. This is bad, bro. Like this is bad, bro. Like this is not good.
Bayern is not a winger either.
Yeah, but my thing is,
before you go, like the thing I was gonna say is like the closest thing I can equate this to is like, and again, I'm not saying he's gonna be this level or he is this level, but like Hazard under Sarri, he did no defensive work. Brother, I was there at games, he did no defensive work. He did nothing. There were games where he had to go false 9 and was bad because he did no defensive work in that system. But guess what? You allowed it because he was unreal when he got the ball and he would win us games. Yep. And again, I'm not saying that Leao is going to be that level, but there are times if you are going to get a guy who, and Leao can be this player, you just have to get him back to where he was 2-3 years ago. If you've got a guy that can single-handedly win you games and can single-handedly change games and can put the team on his back, which I think Leao could be that type of player, you can allow for changes in the system of maybe he doesn't do quite as much defensive work. Yeah. You allow it by maybe you move Caicedo over to the left, or you have to play a Lavia and Caicedo, and then Enzo has the whole bench. Sorry about that, mate. Like maybe you have to like make changes like that.
Listen. We have to see what. Like we'll see. I think we'll see what happens with the wingers because I think again, like we have not heard that we're definitively in for any of them. It's just like names on a short list. That's pretty much all we know.
I would say
let's see what the first serious link is, and then we'll see, bro.
this is a good point. This is also a point. You know, like Neto was not a winger we were actually linked with before we got him. So like there really could be.
I made that point earlier.
That's
yeah,
why
I made
it.
Yeah, that's why I made the point. Yeah. I made the point. Yeah, because like I think for me, like the thing I'm just gonna put, if you are gonna bring in like a Yildiz, if you bring in a Morgan Rogers, right, then the system has to kind of be tweaked a little bit, because
it has to change.
Because those guys are not gonna be able to function.
They're not wingers.
That's the one thing I would say. If those guys are the ones that eventually come into the team for said position, then that position has to be tweaked a bit. That's what I'm gonna say.
What I would argue is it probably benefits us more to speak about the strikers, that because those are the ones that it's looking like within very soon we're going to get more.
Scott, have you looked for a second at the transfer market top list of wingers in
I haven't.
Determination, man. Let's go.
Bro. I'm gonna say it, you're gonna have a good laugh, okay? This is a good laugh.
The other thing I was gonna say, the other thing I was gonna
get him out of it, bro.
The other thing I was gonna say about the layout thing,
before we move on.
The other thing that people I think of, and I think this might be hard but not impossible. People are just forgetting that he has this ability to learn. Like people say, oh, he's terrible defensively, bro. In the last 2 years, he's playing in a mess of a Milan team.
Oh, I got you, Joey.
Is like where the manager, bro, like he just had 6 months of the manager being a dickhead to him, who's just been sacked. Like that's a mess of a team.
That's not true. The manager was glazing him up, bro. The manager was glazing him up, bro.
I'm dead, bro.
My point is, 6
months,
Quenda's above Yildiz. I'm dying.
Just wait.
Quenda is above Yildiz, bro. I'm dying, bro. Quenda is above Yildiz. Look, go down, bro. Quenda is literally above Yildiz. That's killing
all the names that we are linked with, by the way, in the top 12 or top 15.
We tell them to the bridge. We tell them to the bridge, man. Let's go.
No. This is based on value as well. So like obviously younger players, like how Martinelli is 10th. It's just value. The thing I was going to say though is with the outing, just quickly as a final point, is we've already seen this coach has managed to get defensive work out of 3 guys that prior to them being here showed no defensive work. Like Noni and Sancho in particular, like terrible defensively, but they improved massively, especially Noni over the season. To say that can't happen with Liao, I think is stupid.
I feel like Poch doing it still. I think we need to give Poch a little bit credit, by the way. Okay?
Poch did make that boy. Poch did make that boy run. I can't lie.
I can't lie. Poch did a job down.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised he didn't tear his hamstring off the bone.
Yeah, I'm also surprised by that, but he did his job
there. There's a bad boy winger right there, Alper Yilmaz Gala. Oh, that guy's tough, yo.
He's linked to Nottingham Forest.
Ooh.
Noah Lang is a good name now.
I like Noah Lang as
Fofana's
well.
only 31. Crazy.
This is the one I really want, Malik Fofana.
Yes.
No.
What?
He just can't. He can't shoot, bro. Have you seen him shoot? He literally can't shoot.
No, Joey, it's either his shot is really good or really bad. That's what it is.
Yeah,
he does have some
bro, 90 most of the time I've seen him shoot, he barely can shoot, bro. Most of the time. He latches one every once in a blue moon, but most of them, bro.
Now some of his finishes are outrageous.
And there's the name Antonio that Ahmed was talking about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the names on this list, like this is top 25, like bro, you're a Dingra, like.
Yeah, this is obviously like Scott said. It's based off of it's ordered by salary.
Yeah, but
but these are the options.
Those are the types of names that are.
But listen, like unfortunate as unfortunate as it is, Gittins and Williams are definitely.
There's my boy Andre Schweiner.
Show the rope.
I love this kid, bro.
Yeah, he's mine, man.
So like,
he needs a fucking running, bro.
There's not many options here.
Zolis.
Listen, it's better if we just move on to the striker talk because I feel like that's what's gonna be done probably like within 2 weeks. Sure. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you.
I hope so. Listen. If the other outcome is Sesko, if the other outcome is Sesko or Yarkrez, respectfully, get me Ekitike, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you right now.
Why would you want Ekitike over Jokic?
Ekitike is further than people
because I'm not gonna lie. I've listened to Joey a lot and I've listened to Ahmed a lot, and this is the thing I want to say at the beginning of the stream that 2 hours into we finally got into, bro. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like they definitely changed my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Ahmed and Joey changed my mind on Yarkrez because I think I was very, very high on Yarkrez being over Ekitike.
You got blood on your hands, man.
My thing with Gyökeres is right. Clearly, his goal scoring numbers are out of this world, and with the way that the striker market is, he probably should be considering this also going to be his last move. He's not on crazy wages at Sporting. Teams should be all over Gyökeres. So the question is, why is that not the case? Why is he, in many instances, the backup plan for a lot of teams, right? Like, it looks like Arsenal in for Sesko, us in Liverpool fighting over Ekitike, and Gyökeres is everybody's second choice. He's looking at potentially Juve or United or some like links like
Napoli.
that. Or Napoli. So you have to start asking questions, Chris. At that point, what information? So you have to start asking what information are the top clubs seeing that they don't see the same thing that we're seeing? There's something Bandulu about the numbers, or there's something Bandulu about his playstyle that is not going to translate in a higher league. So for me, when I looked into it, bro, and I really looked at the way that he plays, right? I looked at his goals. I think he's a decent goal scorer.
We're gonna go back to back.
Yeah, but I do think that for the way that he plays and the amount of space that he gets in the Portuguese league, the goal numbers are very inflated. It's heavily inflated, bro.
What about Bundesliga then? The high lines and all that. Like
before we get into that conversation, guys, I want to get into the Delap news that we have so far, and I also want to then go right into the Ekitike so we can just talk about the strikers. So let's get people up to date on what's going on. So, yeah, Ahmed, here we go, Ahmed.
Here we cook. Let's go.
Go for it.
Chelsea held positive talks with Delap last week and can now offer him Champions League. Delap is expected to decide his future this week before heading off to the under-21s Euros. Alex Cook, my understanding is Delap was leaning towards Manchester United because he wanted to live in the Northwest, but he does want to play in the Champions League, and the noise I am hearing this morning is that he may end up at Chelsea. Chelsea are pushing and insisting for Liam Delap as priority. Chelsea have others like Ekitike on the list if Delap deal collapses. CFC waiting for his decision, but remember, Chelsea can offer UCL football. Manchester United cannot. Chelsea are now optimistic of signing Liam Delap now that Manchester United have no European football. They have Liam Delap, Benjamin Sesko, Hugo Ekitike, and Victor Gyökeres on their shortlist for a new number 9. Liam Delap suitors being informed he is not joining them amid preference to sign for Chelsea. Sources at likes of Manchester United, Newcastle United, Everton Football Club, Nottingham Forest Football Club, now aware 22-year-old on course for CFC, subject to personal terms plus release clause requirements being met at Athletic FC. Breaking Liam Delap to Chelsea. Here we land. Agreement in place as 13 million release clause will be triggered. Manchester City will not use buyback clause, and Delap has already accepted Chelsea project. Long-term deal, Maresca impact, plus UCL football key. Delap will join Chelsea Football Club. Liam Delap will sign his Chelsea contract in the next 24 hours as Ipswich Town have now authorized medical tests. Man City will get 30% of the deal as they had sell-on clauses included in agreement with Ipswich Town. Buyback clause won't be activated. Delap will join Chelsea Football Club. Justin, Chelsea's priority now, Liam Delap is done, is to sign a right-footed left winger, which they will work on between now and when the Club World Cup starts. Liam Delap has been a key target all season, and it's understood Behrad Eghbali met his key agent David Manasseh in Dubai. Enzo Maresca pitched directly to Delap, who was impressed with the style of play and feels Chelsea is a good fit for him. Delap was also urged by several former City Academy teammates to join. Chelsea will ask Liam Delap to put the Club World Cup ahead of England in another club against Country Row this summer. While Delap is desperate to play for England, Chelsea sources are expecting the club to. I said that correctly the first time, and I still said it correctly the second time.
Go on. Not so easy.
It's easy, bro. What? I only made one mistake out of how much? Respect
Listen,
me,
I've been generous. Go ahead.
You know what I mean? Expecting the club to request for him to be released should he complete his move to Stamford Bridge for FIFA's expanded club competition starting on June 14th. Agreement reached between Chelsea and Liam Delap over personal terms. 22-year-old Ipswich striker to sign contract running until 2031, subject to completing medical Monday. Club to club already in place. CFC to pay ITFC 30 million release clause at Athletic FC.
All right, and that's the Delap segment. Let's get into Ekitike real
Chelsea
quick.
have discussed the move for Hugo Ekitike. They are now actively targeting a striker, and he's high on their list, though they also have significant interest in Victor Gyökeres and Liam Delap. Chelsea are interested in Eintracht Frankfurt forward Hugo Ekitike. He's valued at 83.9 million with a negotiable payment structure. Chelsea's priority this summer is to sign a striker and a right-footed winger, with Ipswich Town's Liam Delap and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko among the forwards they are also considering. Exclusive. That's fake.
Okay, we continue.
Chelsea are currently
somewhat reliable.
No, that's not even him. That's a fake account. Chelsea are currently in concrete talks over Hugo Ekitike and would like to complete the deal as quickly as possible. Frankfurt is still demanding 84 million from 20 goal. Chelsea are aware of Liverpool's interest and Arsenal are monitoring the situation. Chelsea are monitoring Hugo Ekitike, but feel Eintracht Frankfurt's 84 million valuation is too steep. Chelsea still rate and appreciate Nicholas Jackson, so let's hold fire for now until Chelsea decide and discuss on that position more. I also understand there's a lot of games going on in Germany around Ekitike, who is a target but not moving as fast yet as some say. It may be true that Chelsea and Liverpool end up in the race for Ekitike, but I think what's happening at the moment is Liverpool are there, and it's very easy for Frankfurt to pit Chelsea against Liverpool to try and get maximum value. They want 100 million euros. Chelsea are ahead of Liverpool for Hugo Ekitike, said CF Bayern.
A lot of stuff there. I mean, we got the Liam Delap stuff done. 30 million. He's already done. What was it? 6-year deal I read that you read there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 22-year-old signed until 2031. So obviously amortizing it. And then Ekitike. I don't know, guys. That one's a steep one for me. Joey, you were talking about the striker. I think you were talking about Ekitike in Bundesliga. I mean, what were you going to say, brother? Go ahead. Your opinion on all this.
So since January, Frankfurt's been trying to buy Dylan Bakwa from us for like 30-something million. We've been asking for like somewhere in the 40-ish range, 45-ish range. So they want one of our players. They want one of our players. They'll have to drop that price. And in the end, Dylan Bakwa is the player that they've been trying to get for over 6 months. They've had personal terms agreed with him for about 6 months. This whole situation, I think, ends up falling into our hands exactly the way that we want it to, with a lower fee, with pretty much everything that we're really looking for. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing Bakwa, and then they can find a different winger. But that's been their main target for like I said, since January. But Strasbourg was never going to sell him. He was too important to them, and that at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, RSM, you were talking about what you like about Ekitike based on what Joey was telling you, based on what our
listen.
Go ahead.
I look.
Can you say my name correctly, please?
Ahmed.
Yeah, listen, I definitely got my mind changed. Like, I was watching like Joey's streams. I watched the stream that Ahmed did with Joey where they were talking about it, and I think they definitely changed my mind on it, because then I did a little bit more of my own research, and I think it's 100% true. And the way that I look at it is like this. Like, look, for example, let me compare the numbers, right? This right here is Ekitike's numbers, bro, in the Bundesliga, which you're like, oh, it's the Bundesliga, it's all green, whatever, right? But then you look at the other alleged target, Benjamin Sesko. Look at this, bro.
Yeah.
This is morbid.
Keep him away.
Yeah. This is morbid, bro. This is trash. This looks promising though. And the one thing, by the way, you can zoom out now. The one thing that gives me hope is the fact that Michael Edwards is in for this. Which means if Michael Edwards is in and Liverpool are very interested, then, and by the way, the word on the street is as well that they might break the transfer record trying to get words. In which case, that's a lot of money, bro. And yeah, they do got money to spend, but are they gonna be able to drop another, 80 million pounds or something on
when Diaz gets sold to Saudi, they will be.
Yeah.
Exactly, but that's why we want to move quickly. And that's why like all the reports are saying like within the week, you know, we'll get more information on this. We want to get this wrapped up quickly because we don't want to give Liverpool the chance to sell Diaz yet, to get that money in, to have that in the bank. So for me, I look at Ekitike, and I think this is a promising signing. I think it's gonna be. It's one of those things where it's like people are pissed, like, oh, why didn't we buy Isak kind of thing. I think it might end up being one of those, and because I think Sesko is dead. I think Ekitike is good. I'm not pissed at it. And I think low key, this also, like, I think people need to realize this spells the end of Jackson at Chelsea. Like, you guys need to get it through your heads. It's done out here.
Yeah, he'll be done.
He's done out here. He's done out here, bro. Because Ekitike is just better. He's just better. There's no way. There's no other if, ands, or buts other that I can put about it.
You know what Chelsea's doing right now, which is very smart. People aren't realizing this. You take Delap, you take Ekitike, you're reducing the striker pool market right now, bro. Yeah, and then you bring Jackson onto the table. I'm just saying.
That's actually a really good point.
I'm just saying.
Ahmed, keep doing it, Ahmed.
That's it, man. That's what I said. It's
That's
very
actually
logical.
A really good point. Because then you force people to look at Jackson, and now
That's
you.
why, that's why I think these two
Yeah.
deals will happen. Really, that's why I think.
Because I'll be honest with you, of those options, right? You can take the risk with Gyökeres if you want to, sure.
Whoa! What do you mean the risk?
I just
Everyone's a risk.
No risk with Hugo.
I don't. Hold on.
I think there's more of a risk with Ekitike than there is.
No. Wait, Steve, you want to hear this? The Chelsea community, a lot of people in this panel are doing this whole Roman Tata fucking agenda thing about Gyökeres. This has been the new thing I've been seeing in the Chelsea community for the past 4 days. All of this happening. So please, Steve, go ahead, please.
Don't do this. Don't. 4 days. I've been killing this guy every single day for fucking 20 weeks.
Joey, it's not about you. I said the Chelsea community. It's not all about you, brother. Bro. I didn't mention you by name. I'm saying the larger Chelsea community.
Because they're starting to see what I've been seeing for the last 20 weeks.
You also saw a lot of Oshman. It didn't happen. Okay, there you go. So cool. Anyways,
bro,
go ahead, Steve.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, how do you determine risk? That's my whole thing. Because every transfer is a risk. Can we all agree?
No, it's true. It's true.
I'll put you this
more levels, but I feel like
I'll put you this way. Delap is a nearly zero risk signing. How about that?
Yeah,
30 million.
I mean, 30 million. Yeah, back
did
up.
It in the Premier League already.
Signing Sesko is a project high risk ruining signing.
That's 70% risk. I'll be honest, 78% risk is signing like a guy like Wyndham Sesko.
I mean, really damn lucky if he works out.
For Chelsea perspective, Ekitike, I'll be honest, he's around about a 40 to 50%, in my personal opinion, risk in the sense. But the reason why his risk is reduced, if you bring in another guy with you, like in the lab, which we've got right now, you kind of reduce the risk that you're taking, because it's like, even if he fails, I've still got another guy that's a backup that can still potentially back for me, right? It's still like a 50-50 that you've got right now in terms of like it working out or not working out.
You're stacking the odds in your favor.
Yes,
you're stacking the odds in your favor.
Yes, you're reducing like your potential.
Here's the difference, right, Steve? Here's the difference, right? Here's a big difference. All right, you're gonna get Hugo probably on $1.50, right? At $1.50, it's probably something that you'd be able to probably get him out get him off the books at least relatively easily. If you get Gyökeres and the same falters happen, he's looking for around 200K from being reported, right?
And this is he's 27, last move of his career.
That makes it, and especially at his age, right? He's already at like 26, 27. There is no room for potential in the eyes of football at that age.
That's true.
You pretty much take the L. You're doing Lukaku settings, loans, and trying to get the money back in that manner. That's the type of difference that's the difference in risk that you're really taking in this, right? Like, because the one thing that really comes down to is how do you gauge who's going to be successful in this league? Like that transition period, because you're going to get the transition from everybody. Like I've told everybody in the past, it's not about the transition goals. It's how and who they're playing against.
Mm.
When you have 12 to 15 teams in that league, that literally it means a goddamn thing if you play them, because they're not even championship level football teams. Like you should get 50 goals.
No, but
if you're
that's
playing
okay,
Rio
like,
Ave.
Like that's nonsense.
Like,
No one has scored goals. No one has scored goals like he scored goals
I
over
love
the
this
last.
agenda we're doing.
Yeah,
Also,
no
it's
one
not
has
like he's never played in this country, by the way. He played in this country. It's not like
one at a time. Steve had a point to make, and I just want to give him a chance to make his point.
Score your pen, Steve.
No, what I'm saying is that
Chelsea fans
okay.
here.
In the past 10 years of Portuguese football, how many of them have?
None.
There you go. So that's a risk worth taking for me. And also, I Joe, you know, I watch Sporting. I don't fucking like them. I'd rather someone get him out of there, bro. Like there is something there to work with. I think it massively depends where he goes. It massively depends on that. You tell me
to be honest, bro, I don't think it's this giant drop off from 50 to fucking 10. By the way, I still think he's gonna get 15 to around 20 goals with at any of these top teams. But at the end of the day, you're still buying a 20. Like I think Delap can get you 15 to around 20 for 30 million. You know what I'm saying? And now we're talking about a different profile to all these guys, right? Hugo is a totally different profile to Delap, to Gyökeres. Like you're getting an actual like link man, and then you have more of your physical presence with Delap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily saying Gyökeres would absolutely flop in this league. I just think that if you are going to go for someone like that, you better be ready to win right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it comes down to. You have to be ready to win right now. And like getting Gyökeres, I don't think makes us ready to win right now.
Who does then?
I think he would take Juventus to a title.
No, I'm saying who.
No, but who would for you? And we know Arsenal might not be available. So who in world football?
Yeah. Who in world football would take Gyökeres?
That's available. That's available. That would elevate us. That's available. That we know we can buy.
Personally, the only guy that I think could do it is Victor Osimhen. That's personally.
And that's
like
that. As right now, it looks like it's not going to happen.
Personally, just because the mentality that he has to lead the line, the ability in the air against low blocks, that would be.
He's a disruptor as well.
Yeah, he's the wild card that you can't stop in certain scenarios. Like he doesn't need. He could have 5 touches and be the most influential player in the game. Like that's the kind of like physical force that you're dealing with personally. So like that's kind of where that's kind of the only player in my mind that could take us there. Because I think it's not necessarily about the volume of goals that we're looking for here. It's the timeliness of the goals against the style of teams that we're playing against.
But I'm glad Joey mentioned the timing of like a striker that can take you to that level now, and Gyökeres is that like that's the money and the risk you're probably trying to take. Not that Ekitike is any cheaper, but that's the type of risk you would be trying to take when you're trying to get that kind of signing. I think one thing that I've noticed that I think obviously I'm glad Marlon brought up Omega is we're trying to get deals done ahead of time. So when we're talking about things that we can get for the now, I think to an extent you can make the argument that Blue Co are expecting to challenge this season, especially considering we got Santos, we got Esteval, we got Paez. There's recruitment that we did beforehand to prepare for this scenario. You can look at Quenda as a potential signing that they did beforehand to prepare for the scenario of, okay, we're going to need a striker next season if we're going to progress the way we're thinking about progressing, which is go for the title the next season. Challenge this season, the next season, go for the title. Is Omega the solution? I don't know. But we could potentially see down the line another young signing that is that potential signing for when we are ready. Just some food for thought.
But again, as I said before, man, I'm not surprised we're going for these two guys. I think, logically speaking, this is the way we run right now. So it makes sense to why they're going for these guys. So it's not surprising to me. And listen, I like Delap. I think Ekitike is a solid player, and that's all I can say. And hopefully they improve the season with time. That's all I can really say right now. I know that's not. I know that might not be what people like to hear, but that's the way we are run. So
all I'm saying is this project is literally run like it's fucking the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're gonna keep on stockpiling young players until we win a title, and that's what they're gonna do this year, win a title.
Yep.
So, like, as long as they allowed that team to grow together, where now they're all around the ages between 24 and 25, and we're coming to that time frame with a lot of these players where within the next year or two, we can't say that we don't have experience. Like we're not allowed to say that. Like, these are footballers that have been in this league for 3+ years at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're really not allowed to sit here and say that anymore. So, like, I'm really I get, like, we could fast track this like right away. Like, in my opinion, this could be fast tracked to a title within this year if they were serious about it. The frustration is that they're not being serious. Like, they're just not.
Literally couldn't have put it better. That's my frustrations during this whole thing. Is like my expectations where I want this football club to be is not in line with the same way the sport is with the guys and the sporting directors and the owners that are currently running the show. Like,
I think the biggest fumble was that first season where we didn't have a sporting director set up. We had, Bowley doing a bunch of the signings.
Can you blame them though, bro?
No,
I can't. They got the club like halfway through the window, pretty much. It was not necessarily the best of scenarios. Like,
they weren't necessarily ready
Marshall,
Chelsea to be on sale.
That first window wasn't the fumble. This, in terms of transfers, this season has been the fumble.
Yep.
Because if you
this last January window,
not even January.
No, I'm sorry.
January. Summer as well.
Last summer window was the fumble. Like, Maresca brought us, in spite of that window, to where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, I get that. But
Marshall, we could be going into a season where we have to make 1 or 2 additions to a squad that is mostly set, and you just needed to add 1 or 2 quality additions to be able to challenge. We're in a position where we might need 2 strikers, 2 centre backs, and a winger. That's five potentially 5 starters.
Marshall, I ask you this. Do you think Victor Osimhen could have taken 3 of those losses to win?
Oh yeah, of course.
Then we would have been challenging.
I was going to say, Marshall.
Here's the thing, though. I never landed my point because you guys think I'm saying one thing. I'm not saying what.
No, I know. I'm just giving you like the thought process.
My thought process though is that I think the fumble was that first January window when we got rid of a bunch of experienced players and just said, "Hey, inexperienced players, go for it." And then we saw how the mentality didn't help Pochettino. Not to say Pochettino was the answer, but had we had maybe a Jorginho for another season there.
But we're just speaking about it, bro. Don't get so butthurt. Every time we bring up this guy's name, he gets so butthurt about it.
Calma, X. This is the show.
And this channel,
but my point in saying is that, like, had we maybe retained some of those experienced players, maybe last season with Pochettino, we actually get to that top 4. Right? Mm-hmm. And then we're having a different discussion about this season challenging, whether it be with Poch or with Enzo Maresca. I think not having that experience to kind of help with that mentality kind of set us back a bit. That's the only thing I was saying. That's why I think the one thing
that I agree with Scott is I think it's frustrating because we are in the same position Arsenal is, where like 1 or 2 additions and we win this league.
Yeah.
But the difference is our players are, I think, on average 4 to 3 years younger than their players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. I think the average age of the Arsenal project is around 27. Ours is 23.7. Bro, we're literally 4 years ahead of them in terms of age, and with 1 to 2 signings, we could walk the league. Because let's be honest, this Liverpool team that won the league this season would not win the league with the Liverpool of the past or the City of the past.
And I think where my annoyance comes as well is like, I just want us to act while these other teams are shit. Like,
yes,
we all know we are all expecting City to get better this summer. Like, if they get Reinders, they get Cherky, they're linked with Aït-Nour if they get him. Like, I'm expecting them to get better. That's another team challenging. That's already 1 more than there was last season because there was no challenge. I am expecting Arsenal to get better now. How much they get better depends on what bullshit Arteta's going to do. But Liverpool is getting better if they add Verts. So my thing is like, you're already starting further back than you needed to. Try and close that gap. And signings like Gittins, and I don't think we get him, but Garnacho and these man, that doesn't close the gap for me. Doesn't close the gap. The gap doesn't increase, but the gap just kind of stays where it is. Unless one of these guys has an insane step up, like a Cole Palmer level step up, which is I think what these guys.
But there's
that's what they're waiting on.
Here's the thing, Scott. Here's the problem with it. If that we keep on saying about, if they are continuously getting the level of quality of talent at the quality of talent that they are getting, because it could happen every year. Just think about it. We're talking about some young, extremely young players. At any point, Esteval finds his footing in this league. All of a sudden, people got a problem in this league. All of a sudden, when Quenda comes into this league next year, and he's just rampaging past people, which I honestly is one of the things I'm very excited about with him. Is he is one of the most fearless players that I've seen in world football. He is gonna run at you, and if that's if he turns into what they expect him to be, it could be that. So it's just the problem, Scott, right? Is our frustration is we think we could do this right now with the right people, right around these kids. We think we could do this right now, and it's bro, just get me the one guy.
Joey, the more.
And the one
Joey, forget the center back. Forget the center back, because even without the center back, by the way, we're still top 3 defense in the league. What is going to haunt me is the Olise Osman window.
Bro,
if we had gotten both across the line, I'm telling you, bro, that it haunts me now. Seeing what the team is now, I told people, by the way, we have the best right back, left back pairing in the league, right? We have top 3 defense in the league. Our midfield is top 3 in the league. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. If we had gotten Osman and Olise,
top 2, and if not number 1.
If not number, yeah, but I just don't want to argue with people. I don't want to argue with people right now. So I'm saying top 3. Exactly. I don't want to argue with people, so I'm saying top 3. And then you add in Olise and Osman to that front line, bro. I'm telling you, that window is gonna haunt me. It legitimately is going to haunt me.
This could have been one of those outlier seasons where these kids just rampaged through the entire season and actually competed with this Liverpool.
But the thing is, no, but Joey, it wouldn't have been.
We were right there. We were right there. We were in second point off, and we had all we needed was a backup striker, which we didn't try to go get all. I'm not even saying.
I told you. It haunts me. That window haunts me because Marshall, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the moment.
Duran too, yeah.
If it was Duran, we ended up with Duran.
That whole thing of
we would be 4 points off the title rather than 15. 4.
Because Joey, everyone else could have performed the same. If you put Elise and Osimhen in that team, we're guaranteed to. We're guaranteed to. Bro, we're beating both Ipswich. We're beating Ipswich both times. We're beating Fulham.
We're beating the brakes off Palace. We're beating the brakes off Palace.
Especially that first game when they were crap.
When we didn't have
the Brighton game.
Bro,
getting ran through.
That's what
literally the entire January through March we fought where we struggled.
We would have continued the same form. Exactly. We would have continued the same form we had first half of the season.
Entire time frame, 4 points. You don't tell me we had those 2 players.
But that's why. Look, now we made Marshall drink, bro. I'm telling you, that window will haunt me for a long time, bro. That window is gonna haunt me for a long time, bro.
Yeah, bro. I've already been the one that got away, the window that got away, bro. I was sitting here. I made my channel over.
Unironically, that window would have propelled us to the top. I'm not saying we would have won against Liverpool, but at that point, bro, we would have picked up a cup. We would have been around 4 to 5.
Guess what?
About 4 to 5 points.
You know, but hold up, we're not even expecting the ownership to be perfect. The fact that it's not like we were linked with. We were this close to Olise and Osimhen.
Yeah,
it's not even that we were linked with. It's not that we were interested in. We almost had pen to paper with both of them.
Let's move on. Honestly,
no,
we don't have to talk about
I don't want to move on. Fuck Axe and all these people telling us to move on. Fuck him, because I want to focus on this point. Like, it wasn't because on the scenario of the ownership thing, I'm not, bro. They fucked up. It wasn't like the Kvaratskhelia thing, right? As much as I'm annoyed we didn't try, he's probably going PSG. We couldn't do anything. Olise and Osimhen were there, and you went. We're gonna offer you. We're gonna offer you £100,000 a week, whatever the fuck it was. We're gonna offer you nothing, and they looked at it and went, no. They fucked it. They fucked it.
But here's the thing, to an extent, and I'll pull it up because earlier today I saw the transfers that we had coming in for this previous window, the one that we're referring to, and we did a lot of transfer work. The problem
all you have to do is go to your videos, bro. You just go to your videos. You go to your videos from a year ago, and you'll see.
There was so many transfer news, so much rumors, all types of things that I missed out.
Yeah, hold on, that's so true. We bottled Olise twice. I want to cry, bro.
Wait, twice?
Yeah.
Yes, because in 2023 we got called out for tapping him up, bro.
Yeah. But the thing is too that annoys me, and this is again where I don't.
Fuck Bayern, bro. I hope
Leverkusen
win the league again, bro.
A left wing problem, regardless if we got Olise or not. So it doesn't really like that.
But,
still doesn't necessarily solve one of our.
I hope Olise enjoys some shitty rundown facilities, bro.
I don't know if we would have, Joey, because like you could have had Neto on the left, and he would.
I don't know
if
we had Neto at that point, though, Scott.
Yes, I agree. We don't have Neto. I'm telling you, we fumbled a historic amount with Olise and Osimhen.
Yo, Scott, I can go as far to say we probably wouldn't even have Felix.
True,
bro. I'm looking at that window. Bro, do you know what, bro? I'm bro. Have you looked at this window, by the way? The more I got, bro, this fucking.
You guys reminded me, and I'm getting fucking like heat sweats.
I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do this to you guys.
No. But like at the same time, though, like you reminded me why.
This is the whole premise of my channel. Like that window's fucking like destruction.
Let me
was
show
the whole
you
premise
guys.
of my channel, bro. Like.
By the way, losing Olise is that big because of the quality of left wingers that are in the market. That is why we screwed up.
Look at all the signings.
I still don't think like once again, I don't think this would have solved our left wing problem. By the way, like this doesn't.
By the way,
solve
the person that said Olise isn't that big, are you retarded?
It would
but here's the thing.
Been a problem
but this goes back to what I'm saying. Like this is why I want these sporting directors out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, you got some hits. That's fine. I'm willing to acknowledge that there's good with the bad. But you fumbled big signings. You took way too long with Caicedo. You took the whole transfer window with Caicedo. Fine, you got him.
Bro, there is not, by the way, the best signing that you could put is Tosin, and it was free. Like, I'm losing my mind, bro.
Carlito's the only person I know that's a Chelsea fan. There is Nacho, so he's a weirdo.
Of that list, by the way, there is one starter, like written in pen starter in that list. One.
Neto, that's it.
Neto.
One starter.
And Neto's divisive anyways, bro. Some people hate him.
Yeah. I think all of us eventually are gonna end up. He's gonna give us that.
This is a shit window.
He's gonna give us that first season.
In terms of incomings, it was.
He gave us some trouble. The second and third seasons, he's gonna end up being one of our most important players. I truly believe that about him.
But I've said this over and over again, right? You took way too long with Caicedo, and then on top of that, you paid overs, right? Because initially, remember the January window when they first came in? They were in for Caicedo. He was 80 mil at the time. And then you went in the summer with that same proposal, knowing that he just signed a new contract, thinking you can get him for the same price. You wasted time. Enzo Fernandez.
No, they didn't. No, Marshall, you
failed with. But real quick, let me just go through this real quick.
Marshall, no, I'm just correcting you on something. You're wrong. They knew it was 80 million and went in with 65. They lowballed.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
They didn't even offer 80. If
they remember, we got
offered
initially. You remember that January window? Initially, we got rejected for Enzo Fernandez. Then Igbali went in the second time around, had a whole face-off, freaking Joker, Batman, Dark Knight scene with freaking Rui Costa, and got it done. Then you look at this last window. You waited until the very last minute for Osimhen, and then you fumbled on that one.
Mm-hmm.
You fumbled on that one. Osimhen also dug his heels, but at the same time, you fumbled on that one. You fumbled on Samu. You left the guy in a freaking hotel in where? In London. He was already signed, and then you said, you know what? Let's go. If we're gonna get Neto, we gotta do him a favor and let's get Felix. And then you get Gallagher. Like, in terms of sales, you've been doing great, but in terms of buys, you also fumbled on Duran. You said, "Oh, attitude issue and all this and that." You couldn't get an agreement with Aston Villa. It's
but once again, it's
Olise's another one too. Yeah.
This is why Maresca deserves a fuck ton of credit. Okay, because this, in spite of this, that fucking window that he had, like he still did what he was supposed to do. Like in spite of it, in spite of what not having a striker for 4 months, but for three and a half months, in spite of all of that.
Yeah. And big up TM127 for the super chat, and it's cooking. There was a world where our front four would have been Osimhen, Doué, Palmer, and Olise.
This is a very dude. That's
do you know what's annoying about this as well? This really reminds me. You remember how Arsenal fans used to talk about everyone that Arsene Wenger used to be linked with? Oh, we were linked with Suarez before he went to. Like, it doesn't matter. I keep seeing people talk about the Chelsea scouts. Oh, we've been linked with this player. Did we get them?
Yeah.
If no, who cares?
But that's in the directors.
Yeah, that's why I said we could just move on, bro. Like I'd rather talk about what's gonna happen rather than what happened.
Listen, man. Listen.
Just moving on. I did want to say on the striker point as well. Whoever our starting striker is next season, and I do think I go back to my point earlier. I think whoever our starting striker is next season is going to be our starting striker. Like, I don't expect this thing of, oh, both players are going to play like a good amount and equal amount.
It's going to be Ekitike, bro. It's going to be Ekitike. I'm telling you right now.
I disagree. I totally disagree, Scott.
You think Delap's going to be the starter?
Bro, that never happens at any team. The only reason that happens if one player's out of form.
Why is that even? How is that even? That's never
football, though, Scott.
Yes, it is, bro. Like, go and look at most top teams.
Most top teams don't have two strikers.
I'd only say like maybe Liverpool because they haven't got a striker. That's like they
Liverpool. I'm glad you named Liverpool. Liverpool strikers. One was injured. They both played about 1,100 minutes in the league because one was shit and one was injured.
Yeah.
But regardless, they had to put Luis Diaz in striker because they didn't have one.
No, they put Luis Diaz as striker while they had.
While they had Nunes, that's a good point.
Because he was terrible. That's my point.
Okay,
so if Ekitike or Delap is good, they're going to play basically every game. They're going to play most games.
I think if we got both a TK and Delap, like it'd be a TK.
But my point was, that wasn't even my point. My point was, I think regardless, whoever our starting striker is, whether it's Ekitike or Delap, I back them fully to get, and they need to, but I do back them, especially Delap, to get 18 goals in the league next season.
Yeah, honestly, bro. Like, this is the reason why I believe so much that in my opinion, both of these strikers are going to play a lot of football. Is to be honest, like, I think Delap is going to be like the Prem killer. Like, I think he's going to be deployed in most Prem games, and Ekitike is going to have like most of the runs and run-ins against Europe because he's going to have a lot more spacing behind. Like, that's just like my personal opinion in the way. And then that way you're not necessarily putting all this pressure on Hugo to hit the ground running in the league. He can just come in off the bench and come in at spot starts that actually where he actually fits. The link up play is more needed in those types of games. But where like it necessarily you could technically play them together if you wanted. You know what I'm saying?
I also think there's a scenario.
They are different profiles.
I feel like there is going to be a scenario very much like this season where there will be a striker that is out of form. Like, that's inevitable. Like, strikers go through dips. Even Isak went through a dip in the beginning of the season, and then he finally scored his first goal against us. You know, like, I think that's accurate. And again, he went through 3 games, no goal. Like, there's going to be dips for these strikers. I think there's going to be a bit of rotation as well, even in the league, even though I think it's mostly going to be what if Maresca is going to do what he did similarly with the Conference League, he's probably going to have a UCL team, and in the beginning at least, a UCL team and a Premier League team. Like, he'll try to make a good team with both and see how it goes. But I mean,
can I make a point quickly if you don't mind?
Sure.
you know, Maresca at Leicester, he had 2 strikers at Leicester. He had Patson Daka that he was playing with, and he also had Vardy, right? So he was able to make, obviously I don't think they played, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't play like a 2-striker formation, but he was able to get both of them to work whenever he needed to. Like he switched them around, if that makes sense. So listen, I think if there's any manager that I trust to make a 2 strikers of that level work, I think actually Maresca might be the one, to be honest. He's got history.
Sky, I just think that, especially for like such young players, like you're not gonna want them to play like so many games in a row. So you're gonna want to rotate, like just because like now with champs, it's like a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing you have that runway in between where you're gonna want players to be able to either continue their form or come off the bench because their form is low. You know what I'm saying? You that variety allows you to be like, okay, Delap, you missed a few opportunities this week. We're gonna go with Hugo to start the Champions League game. Like it's that simple in the end. Like it can work. You can have 2 strikers. No, them have 15 to 1800 minutes. Like I easily like that. Like
again, the only reason that happens is if both of them like. If one of them gets in form, like say for example, Ekitike starts the season and he's in form, gets similar to what Jackson does this season, you don't change that. And I'm looking at the thing from last season. You're right. Vardy was still the starter though. He still played 800 minutes more than Daka did. The only times Daka mainly played is when Vardy was out injured. Outside that, Vardy was the starter, and that's what I'm saying. I agree. One of them they'll both get minutes. But it's going to be like one of them has
whoever's the best. Yeah, whoever's the best.
One of them.
Bro, it's survival of the fittest. It's survival of the fittest.
Bro, and that's fine, bro. That's how it should be. It should.
I agree.
That's how we die, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I don't think that one of them, like you're going to have one of them is not going to get as many goals as we think in terms of what Ahmed said earlier about the 15 and 15. Yeah, one of them will become the starter, and I don't really care who. But
Scott, even if it's 18 and 12, like.
I didn't think
still very realistic. Like it doesn't have to be even 15 and 15. Like if the Delap gets 18, like you think, and Ekitike gets 12, that's not like unrealistic. Like 12 goals for Ekitike is not unrealistic, and 18 for Delap is not unrealistic, or the other way around is not unrealistic. You see where I'm going with it? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be 15 to 15. Like they're even split. Like. Obviously, one guy's gonna get.
But that's also a great thing with Robinson. That Robinson's comment, bring it up, bro. It's true, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And if one of the 2 hits, then we're chilling anyway.
I don't really care. Like at the end of the day, that's my point. I don't really care. I just think like one of them will become the starter.
Also, for people who are saying like, "Oh, is Delap gonna be happy?" If you guys think that we didn't tell Delap this was the plan from the beginning, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yo, Delap gonna be happy.
People, I spoke with a United fan. Like I think it was on Will's stream. Who was like, oh, so you're lying to Delap? You're lying. I'm like, no, we told Delap. Delap knows this. We signed him, and the same day the information came out that we're still in for another striker. So he knows this. He knew this going in. He still decided to sign.
Look, here's the thing. Arson, does that United fan understand that we're gonna have twice as many games as United this year?
Yep.
Literally twice as many games.
Yeah.
Can I? When Julian Alvarez signed, did he not know that Arda was gonna be there too? Like, what are we trying to say?
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, that I don't get, like that I really don't care about, because even if he's expecting to start and he doesn't across the season, he gets annoyed. If Ekitike is playing well, I don't care. Like I literally don't give a shit.
Let me go find the Esteval Golasso now, because he just scored.
Like I don't care. Like, and that's the thing. As long as one of them is in form and is playing week on week, that's what I care about. My issue will be if they are being rotated week in week out, because to me that says that neither of you guys can get in form. Like if you're being rotated on a bi-weekly or weekly basis, that tells me either one of you guys isn't fit enough to play twice a week. That's what's going to work.
And by the way, we're going to be in 2 cup competitions too. By the way, and whoever is in the UCL and banging isn't going to be playing the cup. Respectfully.
Oh yeah, no.
Respectfully, we don't have a preseason, so
exactly. So like, I'm so sorry. We're good.
True.
No, Exel, yes. The Cunha account is Nacholini, but he gave up on Garnacho because Garnacho's a scrub. I finally deeped it because the dude was talking. The dude was talking exactly like the Nacholini account, and I was wondering, I'm like, bro, where's Nacholini been? And I just clocked. Bro, I'm different. I clocked it.
What's it called? On what's it called? Stream recently.
Listen, Nacholini, listen, shout out, bro.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows. You know, I called him out. He said I am. He said I am. I wonder if I'm the first. Yo, Nacholini, am I the first person to recognize this or no? Because I've seen you in so many different streams. I don't know if people deep that you're Nacholini yet.
Bro spends way too much time reading. He should worry about his own fucking football.
To be fair, man, no one cares about Nacholini anyway, man. You know what I mean?
No, I respect the grind. No, Nacholini is an elite troll. I respect the grind.
No, I don't respect the grind, man.
I respect the grind, bro.
Troll yourself. What do you mean you don't respect the grind, bro?
I don't respect the grind, man.
I don't.
Anyways, honestly, Joey, I will say thank you for opening my mind on Ekitike because I thought Ekitike was a guaranteed scrub because he was coming from the Bundesliga, but I've seen enough.
I can't believe people are like this.
Well, I'm just gonna
you know what it is? You know what it is, Steve, is that... But you know what it is, Steve, is that
no, it's because it's specifically Chelsea and the Bundesliga. We have gotten almost pure garbage from the Bundesliga. I don't know what to tell you.
Shout out Michael Ballack, Andre Schaller, man. Michael Ballack, Andre Schaller, real ones. That's it, man.
In recent years, bro.
In recent years. Come on, bro. What are we talking about?
In recent years. Like, you look at Kai Havertz, you look at Timo Werner, you know.
Well, can I not shout out one of my Chelsea, one of my favorite Chelsea Germans from the Bundesliga?
Wasn't he from...
No, we got him on a free. We got Ballack on a free, remember?
From Leverkusen?
His last club, Leverkusen or Bayern?
It was Leverkusen. His last club was Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Before he
worked
left.
out pretty well.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Listen, he worked out for us, man. He won the Premier League title for us, man. Big up to him, man. Shout out to him, man. I'm happy for him.
Bro.
But listen, you can keep hating. See, this is what I'm talking. RSM hating on former legends. You know what I mean? What's Caicedo with Conference League and glazing out like this? Have some respect, man. Have some shame. Respect to your legends, please.
Respect. This guy wrong.
But in terms of like what you guys in terms of what you guys were saying earlier, right? Like, I think
it's such a fraud,
I forgot
bro.
who said it. I think it was Ahmed that said it. Kind of monopolizing the striker market in order to sell a certain Jackson, which I'm believing more and more. But there is some news
Jackson's
to
United.
discuss.
Jackson's United.
Go ahead, Ahmed. It's your time to shine.
Maresca favors Jackson, allegedly.
It's not allegedly. He likes him.
I mean, he probably does.
Maresca likes Nicholas Jackson. Pinch of huge
All
amount
I'm
of soul.
saying is, can I say something real quick? Ben Jacobs really needs to like just take a step back, bro. Like, we just started trusting you again, and you just start going.
My dude said, "Give it up." He said, "Listen."
I mean, he's not wrong though, Joey, because Maresca did say he came out and defended him.
I know, but bro, he went on like a media tour on Friday. So
oh yeah,
can we chill?
That's true. Go ahead.
That's all I'm saying. Bro.
You know, Chelsea still rate and appreciate Nicholas Jackson, so let's hold fire for now until Chelsea decide and discuss on that position more. I also understand there is a lot of games going on in Germany around Ekitike, who is a target, but not moving as fast yet as some say. Wow. Manchester United have expressed their interest in completing a surprise summer move for Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson.
But I'll be so honest with you guys, with this, I think this actually strengthens United. Genuinely, I do.
They have Hoyland up top.
Well, even if they get rid of Hoyland, right? Like I don't think they're gonna be able to. But if they get rid of Hoyland, between Xerxes and Jackson, I do think Jackson's the better one.
Some fucking Italian club will take a chance.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. He's La Liga bound. I think a La Liga team will take him. You know.
No.
I promise you.
No chance.
I promise
bro.
you.
No chance.
You know what?
La Liga.
I'll put money on that. $5.
I have a gut feeling.
Villarreal have a striker. Fucking
$5 he goes to Italy.
Barcelona have like nobody in La Liga. Who the fucking?
You never know, man. You never know. I'm just saying.
$5
have Mariki, who does good for them, and Laren. So like, who needs a striker in La Liga?
Hey, listen.
Also, he's not a La Liga player. Like he's a. I don't know.
He was a La Liga. He's a former La Liga player.
Let me give you. He goes to Roma.
Oh please make that happen, please.
I'm even giving you a name. I'm giving you a team.
Please. I
Maybe
need to see
Juve.
that. I need to see that guy flop there.
Or Juve, to be honest. Juve might be
think they
another
get
one.
Gyökeres.
Yeah,
I think
or
Juve get
that.
Gyökeres.
Please.
It might be Juve, you know. I could see Juve.
I honestly think you. I think Juve get Gyökeres. That's my honest opinion.
Where's Vagina going? That's the only
I don't know.
problem.
It's not my problem.
I saw Napoli. I saw a lot of Napoli fans are trying to get him. I was like,
they're getting David, bro.
And I was like, why? That's what I was saying. It's like, what's going on here? Like, why do you want him? I'm surprised. Lukaku did a pretty decent time for them. I'll be honest. And then you're getting David there too. So I'm not really sure.
I wonder how they'll handle having two strikers.
I think Napoli are just playing games with Manchester United.
Everyone plays games with them.
So you don't think Napoli actually want Garnacho?
No, I think they want Garnacho, but they're playing games with their with Manchester United's target.
Jackson to AC Milan. They got Jimenez. They just got Jimenez.
What also wouldn't surprise me if Manchester United overpaid for Gyökeres late in the window. Like that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean the Amarin link is there, right?
Apparently they need to sell before they buy or something. But
yeah, but like that. I think tomorrow we probably get some news on Bruno, and that will.
I saw those Bruno news today that it was like 48 hours to complete the deal. Did you not see that?
Yeah, I think we'll get some news tomorrow about it.
Jackson to Monaco. That'd be an interesting one.
Oh. Yeah,
they don't need a striker. They have 3 already.
I think for me, guys, we need to
can't afford them anyways.
We need to realize how much money is Jackson going to be worth.
And that kid that they got, that kid that they've gotten, the
Nika Biereth.
Yeah, Biereth. He's been cooking. Biereth has been cooking.
Good
I feel like people need to realize, Jackson probably in this market is worth around about 50 to 55 million pounds right now.
Yes.
I'm very interested to see how this whole window plays out, especially if we do land Ekitike. Like it'll be it makes the window very interesting because
you know how much Mateo is going to be worth, by the way, for United. I'm sorry to tell you,
it eliminates 2 of the big major targets, striker targets on the market that are like available. So I do wonder what.
Now sporting directors got to do their actual jobs to scout the fucking globe.
I'll be honest, Mateta is not leaving.
But bro, there's here's the thing is there's just more the level of risks that you're gonna have to take for players after the 2 that we take. Yeah, we've taken is so huge. Like we're talking about Tierno Berry and fucking
Cali Muendo.
Cali. Oh, you guys should be going for him.
I know he's going to Newcastle anyway. Yeah, I know.
Cali Muendo is amazing. I don't think Mateta leaves. By the way, I think anybody who thinks Mateta is leaving is delusional in my opinion.
If anything, it might be.
He's got European League football, bro. He's got Europe, bro. Why is he going to?
And Glasner's not leaving either. So I just do not see it.
Yeah.
What's
Palace aren't under pressure to sell, bro. They got Europa.
I'm blanking. Why am I blanking? The Stuttgart striker.
Voltemade.
That's another kid that 17 goals in 6'6".
Yeah, I think he's a little better than Delap. I look at him. I'm like, I think you offer a bit more than Delap, and I like Delap.
The issue with Delap was the price. It was a market opportunity they didn't want to miss, bro. 30.
I also I think the thing with Delap, and I spoke about this before, is if you look at statistically, he is technically speaking overperforming his XG, only very marginally, but you hope.
Do you take a lot of credence in that? I don't.
Across a season, XG is quite useful to use. It's when people use it game on game, which is stupid.
Yeah, game on game is dumb. Game on game is dumb.
If you take it across a season, you can try and extrapolate it. So that's what I say with the lap, you can theoretically say that with more if he gets more chances, it's likely with his goal scoring record and how clinical he is, he's going to get more goals because you can see that the chances he does get in terms of key chances, he's scoring.
You look at the ratio, and if you scale up the chances, you expect the goals to scale up as well.
Yeah, I think that's why I say I think with the Delap, there's such
I want to see if Yuped over or underperformed his XG. Let's see if he over.
The one thing for me, and I'll say I will say this. I think we need to start using a new metric called PXG, which is just player XG itself. Over a player's history, how they shoot, where they score from is going to be a much more effective use of XG.
Record versus specific goalkeepers and teams.
Exactly, because
I
XG in
don't
itself.
think XG is specific enough.
Ahmed,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
actually glad you brought up Ahmed. That exact thing, by the way, part of that is the reason why I prefer Delap over Ekitike.
Fair enough, because for me, that's why for me, I people have heard me say a lot on my own channel on Marshalls here that the XG is too relative right now. It's too relative, bro. In my personal opinion.
I do too.
I think that there's certain things that you have to look at specifically when we're talking about players who are meant to try to like switch from a team that's playing in transition to a team that's playing against a low block, because that's like the hardest part of this, in my opinion, is to see the translation. Because majority of like I've spoken about so many times, the majority of these strikers are all going to be playing on transition unless you're buying a striker from a top team. So like no matter what, you're going to always have that. You're going to always have that like worry that it's going to translate. So like
unless you're buying a Victor who's a Galatasaray, who obviously they play on the front.
They play a lot of low blocks. They play against a lot of low blocks. Yeah. That's true, very true. But like the one thing that you gotta really, for me to look at, is shot creating actions is one of the biggest stats that you're gonna really look at personally when we're talking about like players.
What is a shot creating action?
So basically, you're the capability of being able to create your own shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine Ekitike's is probably high on that one.
It's very high.
He can pick up the ball and run through.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can dribble.
Yeah, like and especially within tight spaces too, where like that's kind of where my mind is at, because you need in shot creating actions. It doesn't necessarily come from
what site?
FBrev, FootMob, Data MB. Those are like the three I normally rotate through. But yeah, that's the one. In dribbles per 90 and shots per 90, like that. Those are the ones that I look at specifically, because we don't get in my opinion, we don't get enough shots on goal. Period. Like just period. We don't get enough shots on goal. And then like when you're talking about shots, like a lot of the times, like the one thing that I don't necessarily like looking into is shot conversion, because if you're the talisman of your team, you're going to be taking your duty is to take more shots. So you're not necessarily going to take better shots in that sense, if that's the case. That's why in my opinion, to me, how many shots are you getting off in a game? That's more important to me, because that means you're getting in the right areas and the right spaces a lot of the times to be able to take shots as well. Like these are like things that, because like these are things that you kind of have to look at, because like the outside the eye test, which you're gonna have to see like how the touch is, how close control is, and things of that nature, how you play back to goal. You can't put that on a graph. So like outside of, if you're looking at a specific stat and like stats for the translation of a player from a deep, like a guy that's playing against a lot of high lines with a lot of space to a guy that's going to come in and play against a lot of low block. Like these are the things that I'm looking at, especially if we're talking about styles of strikers, right? Because like he's not necessarily one of the best headers in the world, like aerially with Hugo, but he's also 6'4". So I really don't like using the Isak comparison. But like if you look at Isak's not that great at aerial.
No, he's not at all.
But he still scores heading goals. Yeah. Like there's still moments where he's going to score heading goals because he's there, like up with those big center backs in the right spaces. Like that's it. Just being in the right place is half the battle of being a striker. And that's my biggest problem with Nico. Like personally, outside of ball striking, that's my biggest problem with him.
But that's also. Go ahead, Steve.
So are these all right? So Joey, I won't tell you the player yet, but like, are these?
It's up there. I see it at the top.
Oh yeah, is my man. This is who I think y'all should go for. If you want if you want a Greek version of Harry Kane, he's not that good. But I'm saying like there's
I don't know about it. Can you bring up Samuel Meridian? Just out of curiosity.
Even Tammy scored goals from the aerially. As much as he wasn't that good in this air, even Tammy scored goals aerially. Nico just doesn't. He literally just doesn't.
Nico cannot read, bro. He
Unless
can't read
back
across.
Jump for it. He wouldn't even jump for it. That's the bad part.
It's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. But
here's the thing, right?
Like...
Here's the thing, though. Like, I guess my rating of Bundesliga is just so much higher than what the Portuguese league is.
Liga Nos.
Sure.
Like that's just kind of my.
He also did very well in the champs.
Yeah, bro. We've talked about this guy. He's fantastic in my opinion.
And look, regular play.
To me though, I would have rather seen him in Italy, like just because like that type of football would have translated a little bit better.
Bro, bring up Samuel Meridian. Do me a favor and bring up Samuel Meridian.
Oh, the guy can barely touch the ball, bro. If he touches the ball,
no, you gotta put Samuel. That's how it is. It's Samuel.
No, it's Samu.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not his. There it is. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Samuel's his nickname. All right, scroll down. Let's show me the stats, brother. He was struggling to score in La Liga. This is my point about there has to be some sort of tax on these Portuguese strikers. Respectfully, bro.
RSM there is, but
I'm very
hesitant. No, there is, but I think mine and I think CP's point with this is even with that tax, no one has put up these numbers that Gyökeres has put up in the Portuguese league. No one is putting these numbers.
Then Scott successfully answer the question. Why are no teams who need a striker and fighting to get to sign him?
No, RSM. I think it's age. I think it's a mixture of age and like what we talked about earlier in terms of taking risks. In terms of if something, I think there's a bit of a difference for teams. I think for Arsenal, for example, I think that comes down to Arteta just not want to deal with players with egos. I'll be honest, and I think he's got a better chance of that with Sesko than with Gyökeres, just because the age thing. And then I think for other teams, it's a case of age, and I think for Cello, things go wrong. Like it's about resale value if things go wrong. And then the other teams that don't care about that, like Bayern already have a striker. There's no reason for them to go and spend that money on another striker, which they don't need. They're better off spending that money elsewhere. Barca the same. Real Madrid the same, unless they're going to sell one of that front three first.
And even then, it doesn't fit Real Madrid because they need more of an Ekitike type anyways, because they need somebody to keep this fucking team together.
I don't know about that, but even so, that's the bridge they need to cross once they sell a player first, anyway.
Yeah.
And outside of that, so you get to a point where the only teams you can sign for are Juve and United because everyone else is either going younger than you. Because at least then, if you get someone that's younger and it doesn't work out, you can sell and get some of your money back. So they're looking at it from a business point of view. Or you got morons like Arteta just don't want to deal with players with egos because they'll get butthurt and get in a fight with them like he did with Aubameyang. So I think that's why it's not a case of. I don't think it's a case of Isn't
he only 26?
There's things that are spooky about him. I think it's just a case of age and stuff like that.
No, I don't know, Scott. I think you're downplaying the fact that he's coming from this league, bro.
We've seen but
there's too many burns, bro. There's too many burns. Liverpool got burned by Liverpool need a striker and they got burned by Benfica already. They're not going to spend that money on another striker in that league. They're just not. They're not going to do that again. Okay, they're just not.
Everyone else is probably the reason why which has actually done well.
If you're talking about us, right? If you're talking about us, it's obviously things like resale value, like I said, but it's also I just don't think stylistically it's that great of a fit personally. I just don't think it's that great of a fit stylistically for us. And not for nothing, we kind of fucked that up by just having Win Stanley anyways. Win Stanley has fucked with this guy's career. That's the reason why he ended up at Coventry. Basically false promises early in his career to get him and ended up getting him out of that club. So that's where that's kind of where my mindset is with this whole thing. Is like I just think that he's just not stylistically a good fit for a lot of these football teams. Like if you were telling me Villa was in form, I wouldn't be surprised. Like it would be a good fit stylistically for him, like a team that likes to play. If Steve sold Isak, I would expect them to just get Gyökeres right away. Like it would just be like stylistically a perfect fit. Like there's just like a lot of these, like not just it's mitigating factors for some of these teams, but like a lot of the teams that have money that are going to spend money on a striker this summer, like the only one is Man U, bro. That in this league that it makes sense for, because everything else is just like you said with Arsenal. Arteta doesn't want to deal with that ego, even though I don't see an ego with the kid, to be honest. But like that level of striker, he would have to start. And I think there's that way that understand. I think Kai Havertz probably has something in his contract that's forcing him to start.
No.
I don't think so. I think it's just Arteta a bit more.
No, I'm being so serious, bro, because they're coming into they're coming out with like reports saying that Kai Havertz is no matter what going to be the starter next year.
Yeah, that's what the rumor.
I hope it's
no.
true.
What? Sorry.
Like I don't think
I just want to say what I don't get when people bring the whole Samu point is, it's not like he's supposed. The whole point is, first of all, he's young, so he can develop. But everyone's like, oh, because he was shit. It was the Samu point. I hate it. Second of all, he was the best. The reason we went for him is because he was the best prospect for a striker coming out of Spain.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, guys, a guy who's supposed to be the best prospect in a thing that we are good at scouting, not getting them, but scouting, and he's doing his job, but we're going to bring it down because he's doing well, so that means the league is shit.
I mean, bro, you're not even really
I'm just looking here. The other thing I will say, I'm looking here. Big teams, for whatever reason, big teams generally don't buy attackers from the Portuguese league, just in general. I'm noticing, like outside of Nunez and Felix and then Ramos, there's like few and far between. It's mostly midfielders.
There just hasn't been any successes.
And defenders.
Mm-hmm.
No,
like,
but even
risk-wise,
the guys
you're talking about the historic nature of buying from that league specifically.
No, but the thing is even guys who come from that league and will bang or have played in the Portuguese league, have ended up somewhere else and then
You're
moved to the
talking
big
about
club.
guys like Seferovic for Benfica when he was good. You're talking about Jonas. You're talking about Taremi, who was older at Porto. You're talking about
Taremi hasn't been that good at Italy though.
Who? Oh, Taremi.
Because he's not the starter. He went there and immediately became third choice
he was
behind
a starter
him.
last year. He wasn't that good. He was a starter at certain points last year. He just wasn't that good.
Yeah, Taremi's not been good for them.
People wanted this guy though.
At the same notion, though,
like Liverpool. He's probably the only success that I've signed.
Yeah, but that's still hit or miss. Liverpool fans kind of are very hit or miss with him.
He's had a dip since that injury he got a few. Was it last season or the season before that? He had a knee injury or something. He's got a dip since then. He was electric when he first came into the league.
He's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. He's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I remember once we faced him, I wanted him at Chelsea after that Champions League run.
But if we're talking about strikers.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of strikers or just attackers in general, I mean, the other thing too that goes against Gyökeres, which we go back to this conversation, is the fact that Gyökeres is 26. It's that low risk, high reward factor that we keep talking about. When you look at Ekitike, although the transfer value is worth more, you could probably get him to agree to a lower salary. And that from there, based on how these guys have signed players before, you can, if he doesn't work out, then you don't have an issue selling him on. Part of the reason we were stuck with Romelu Lukaku for so long is because no one wanted to pay that salary.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not scoring goals, no one's ever going to pay that salary other than us.
Exactly. So, I mean, you could get a Gyökeres and he could bang out, but if he doesn't bang, then you're stuck with paying a player a decent amount of salary. He's on his way. He's in the wrong side of 20.
27 coming up in the next fucking month or so, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
he's
at
not
the same
necessarily
time,
on the right side of 20.
You know something else we're not considering though? A change in manager. Like, okay, guys, look. When did Mateta join Palace? I think it was 2021. Let's not forget that Mateta at Palace was super underwhelming and he was struggling to start over Dembele.
Benteke.
They bought from. Oh yeah, Edward.
No, it was Benteke. Was who he was struggling to play over.
And
Was it
Edward.
Ayew? And I think Ayew was involved in that. Maybe not.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead.
Either way, right? He couldn't get in the team consistently. Mateta couldn't get in Palace's team consistently over either Hudson Edward or Benteke. But Glasner came in. He's great now. So it's one of those where maybe Gyökeres, let's say you guys buy Gyökeres, and then you have Delap also, and you sell Jackson, whatever. So let's say that your season doesn't go great because Gyökeres doesn't look great in the way Maresca wants to play. You fire him because you underachieved in the season, let's say. You bring in someone new, and he looks amazing again.
But that's the thing, Steve. Like, right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that goes to a point I wanted to mention earlier. It makes sense now. Like I said, this window is going to reveal so much. You look at the main targets, Ekitike and Delap. What is something that they have that Gyökeres doesn't in terms of the way they play the game? They're similar to how Jackson plays in the system. Right now, Maresca's tied down to 4 more years in this contract. The expectation is for him to stay here the long run. So if he got you this with this style of striker,
3-year deal.
Well, he's in a 5-year, so we down to 4 years now. I swear it was 5 years.
Maybe I'm confusing it with Poch.
Or maybe 4 plus 1. It could be 4 plus 1.
Maresca's on a 5-year.
So that being said, if you're planning to build with this guy, you want to give him strikers that are going to fit his system. If he says he likes a Jackson, then that already takes Sesko, that takes Gyökeres, maybe Osimhen out of the equation. Then that's where you get the links to Ekitike. That's where you get the links to Delap. Because the one thing I noticed when we played against Ipswich is that Delap very much plays very similar to how Jackson does with the hold-up play and with his ability to, get the link-up play and the rest of the attack involved with the attack.
I think Ekitike is way better at linking up than Delap.
And I agree with you. Based on what I've seen, I like what I see of Ekitike. Will he give me the goals? Maybe not, but that's where we go back to the discussion about okay, maybe the rest of the team gets goals, and that's where we go back to then get me goal-scoring wingers if you're relying on the rest of the team to get goals based off link-up play. But that's probably why that's another thing that goes against Gyökeres in terms of why we're not linked to him, why we're not going for him, because we were linked to him last summer with Pochettino, but at the time we actually didn't really know how we were going to build the team. So, you start to put the puzzle pieces together.
I'm just going to be real, right? I'm just going to end up being real. Gyökeres, Manchester United need to do everything in their fucking power to make sure that they land Gyökeres. If they're going to keep Amorim, right? If the plan is to keep Amorim, you have to make sure you do everything in your power to try to get Gyökeres. That way, there is no excuses behind what they've already signed. There's already enough backing behind it. You have to try to, get something from this manager, and that's the striker that he got the most out of. That's what you should be trying to do. That's just the realistic nature of it. And everybody else is that risk is probably too high, but for him it's you're playing one game a week. It would be the risk would be perfect. You got a guy who could get you probably 20 goals with the type of service that you're still getting. I still think that the system that they create with Cunha, I think would be really good. But Gyökeres, that has to be priority one if they're gonna get.
But they gotta throw everything at him because this is his last signing of his career, and there's literally zero guarantee they get.
This is why This is why in the end I do believe he ends up at Juventus.
I agree.
This is why in my opinion it's just the honest truth that.
Yeah, but who's gonna be Juve's manager?
I don't think that matters.
That's the big problem with Gyökeres to Juve. If you're Gyökeres, it's who the hell am I playing for? Is it
but for Juve,
By the way, this is the thing with the similar wages to Victor Osimhen. It's even worse for United because they have to offer him more because they have no UCL, zero UCL.
This freaking guy's gonna end up staying another year at goddamn Sporting, and I'm gonna have to fuck. Oh my god, that's what's gonna happen.
Moani was alone, Jonah. So he's going back to PSG.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
Yeah, he didn't.
Good start, poor finish.
Yeah. Speaking of Man City, and we'll end it on this one. This is the final topic. Ahmed, your shift will be over after this. Big up to you. You did a good job.
That implies he was paid.
What can I say, man? You know what I mean? English is my first language, so it makes sense.
Fair enough. English isn't my first language. All right, here we go. Jadon Sancho news.
The scammer's leaving my club. The indications Chelsea will opt against taking up the 25 million option to turn Jadon Sancho's loan from Manchester United into a permanent deal. Chelsea's game on Wednesday could be the last game for Jadon Sancho. Keep an eye on the situation because for sure, at the moment, the player does not have any guarantee on the situation, and the club has not communicated anything to him about staying or leaving. Maresca confirmed today no decision has been made. Chelsea will inform him all of the decision after the final. It's a concrete possibility. He goes back to United. I did not have to cut our team. Breaking. Chelsea are in contact with Jadon Sancho's representatives and would like him to stay if they can agree on contract terms. Chelsea are in talks with Jadon Sancho over a new deal that would see them trigger an obligation to buy from Manchester United of up to 25 million. Club's preference is for Sancho to stay and adjust his wage to fit within Chelsea's incentive-driven structure. Discussion don't yet guarantee Sancho will remain, but reveal a willingness to find a solution. Should terms not be agreed, Chelsea will pay a 5 million penalty fee, returning him. Chelsea remain in contact with Jadon Sancho's camp over contract terms. Still no agreement on salary so far. Final decision will be in a few days. Outcome expected next week. If contract terms are not agreed, Sancho will go back to United, but just Manchester United with 5 million compensation. So that's this week's the big week.
Manchester United should beg us. They should beg us, bro.
He's gone. I'm telling you right now, man. Scamcho ain't signing the new deal. He ain't signing, man. He ain't signing. Scamcho is not signing.
Be begging us for him to sign.
Marshall, I'm willing on RSM soul. He's not signing, bro. Any contract.
Why not on your soul? Why not on your soul? Why not on your soul? Nah. Say it on your soul. How about that, bro? Say it on your soul.
Okay. He ain't about that life.
On Zuva itself. On Zuva
itself. No, your soul.
Leave your brother alone.
Say it on your soul.
Scott, what's the average? What's the average wage for the club right now?
For us,
it's still very high because we got Sterling and Chilwell still on the books.
I actually don't know.
Champion Chilwell.
Let me look it up then.
I know there's like varied. There isn't there's like a bunch of people on a different number. Like I think Neto's on like 160, Kukureya's on 150.
I have no soul.
Or 190.
Excuse.
That makes you sound a lot more interesting than you really are.
70K.
Sorry, man. Praise Satan.
So
look at this guy, bro. Look at this guy.
Let me ask you this: would you let Sancho stay for 70K a week?
70K a week?
Yes. Yes, 70K, bro. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, 70K is
now.
Legit
I promise you, he's never agreeing to that, bro. I promise he's never agreeing.
No, I know he's not.
I disagree. What do you think he's gonna get in other places?
They'll give him 100.
No, Joey.
They'll give him 100.
Yeah, he can get 110. Wait a second. Let me give him that. Let me finish. We gave him a 70K plus a compensation fee. Can you go back one screen? An incentive-driven structure for him to allow himself to get to 110, 120?
I'd even be willing to go up to 150, to be honest with him. I think there's a good player there. We just misprofiled in terms of the system.
No, there's not a starter in this team there.
Thank you.
Not in the league. Not in the league, at least. In Europe, it's a different conversation. In the league, he's not a starter.
I'm just gonna be honest with you, man.
Coming in the
because, bro, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's probably what we're gonna offer him, bro.
I'm gonna be so real. He's not coming to this club, bro. It's over for him, man. Thank you for that.
Him, by the way, if he does take that 70K a week, he is cutting his wages by a third. He's taking a third of his current wages.
I'm telling you, man, he ain't signing.
Stay in London, bro.
Bro, he can
He's
stay
not
in London
signing.
and get more than that elsewhere and stay in
Let me
London.
ask you something. To stay in London, to be at a club that's in the Champions League and the club that he actually wants to play at, I don't know.
promise you he's not saying. I promise you.
I mean, I see where Joey's coming from.
I get Joey's points, but at the end of the day, bro, he's not accepting that contract. For me, yeah, if this was serious and he truly wanted to say, and the club was making sure that was gonna happen, the contract agreement would have been done a lot sooner, bro. It would have been done a lot sooner, bro. I promise you, bro. It would have been done a lot sooner, bro. They would have already
Bro, what do you
activated.
mean it would have been done a lot sooner? It's only been a week, bro. What do you
No, they wouldn't even have waited for the transfer window to have started. They would have said, you know what? We want you, Sancho. I know you want us.
It's been a week. It's been 4 days.
No, that's
No,
not
but
gonna
no,
do.
he's saying he's been at the club this entire year. There should have been at least some talks like, hey, if we make the Champions League and you want to stay at the club, how much money would you want from us, Sancho? They should have had these
I
talks.
say we got the Delap deal done within days. Like I agree with this. I think like we got the Delap deal done instantly, like within days.
Yeah,
like
the next
they
day.
wanted
We've
to
been
get
working on
Sancho
the
deal
lab
done
since
quick.
like January at least.
That's my point about Sancho.
For a year.
Yeah, we've had
Sancho's been at
Sancho
for a year.
since the start of the year.
That's the whole point, Marshall. Like again, he's been with us for a whole year now, bro. We've been getting towards this point for the last 4 or 5 months. You know what I mean? There should have been an indication about what he wants, what you want. You can do this negotiation in the background, such that by the time we get to the spot, all we need to do activate that little thing for us, and we already got our contact terms agreed.
Bro, all I did was ask a fucking question. You guys wanted to take it to the fucking moon, but I
No. Not even T. This is not T. This is not T, Joey. This is not even T, Joey.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, all I did was ask the question. I didn't say 70K was actually gonna be what it is. All I said was, I looked up the average wage per week that this football club is paying these people. I said, okay,
Marshall
this
approved
is
of it,
the
by the way.
average wage. If they're giving him the average wage, would you keep it?
No, we don't. No.
I would.
He's got a shit hairline. That's why. So that's
Also, we're getting Quenda the next season.
See, Ahmed's just doing his hater thing, bro. If Ahmed would have Kukurea sold right now, if he could.
By the way, Joey,
wait, is this true?
Joey, out of interest, how did you get 70K being the average wage?
All right, Scott, I could just throw you the link I have here, my friend.
Because I'm looking at our wages right now. If he's on 70K, and less than KDH is on.
Yeah.
Like, that's not average wage, bro. The average wage is like...
I'm sure it's averaging all the wages, Scott. All of
Is
them.
it factoring in bonuses?
Probably not. It's just probably based
All
on...
I did was Google it, Scott.
But regardless to me, we need to ask the question: if Sancho does leave, which I think is gonna happen, and you bring in only one left winger, does that mean I'm just gonna assume Tariq Jordan is gonna be the backup, right?
Yes.
If they don't sell him,
I'm fine with
And you know what? He will give me a bit more than Sancho. I'll be honest.
Yep.
But at the same time,
wait. I can't believe I just heard what I just heard. All right, Ahmed, you believe Tyreek George is going to stay?
Yes. If Sancho
it's
obviously for me that is on the context though that if Sancho obviously leaves the club, right, then you bring in one new left winger, I'm assuming. So then you would have to assume that Tariq George stays, right? Unless maybe you're saying that maybe Neto is going to be the backup there if whoever your starting left winger is not working. If that makes sense. That's what I was going to ask you.
70K? What the fuck? Sorry.
You're right from 200K a week, bro.
Bro, he's on 250 or 270 like Danish said, bro.
Yeah, Sancho's on 250 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, he could just freaking kill Manchester United's fucking dreams for the next year or so if he wanted to.
Average weekly salary at Chelsea, by the way, $68,079.
That's what it says. Bro, I'm looking here
the other reason why I don't want him
is getting 100K. He's getting 100K.
Sorry, Marshall. The other reason is if we
this is why it pisses me off we didn't pay fucking Osimhen.
If we're doing Tariq George this season, we have Quenda coming in the season after. So why do I want to have Sancho's thing settled? I don't want.
They're wrong, JC. You can look it up.
I don't believe Tyreek George stays here this year. I think he gets a championship loan, or at least a loan in the lower end of the Premier League. One of the two, in my opinion. Sancho. To me, regardless if it's Sancho that's leaving, that's fine. I've always been very indifferent about the whole thing. I'm not necessarily saying that. I just think for the price, the level of squad player you're getting for the price is like, I think is not a bad deal, personally.
I just feel like he's just not worth it. My issue with him is that, yes, will he bank for me in Europe, which I think is a fair point, but it's just like, he's not worth it in the league, bro. He doesn't provide that much for me in the league anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm indifferent. I don't.
I just feel like, bro. I just feel like.
I just think as a squad player, you're not necessarily getting.
I get that point. I actually hate the point of Sancho being a squad player. I don't mind.
That's why I said that I gave you guys the average salary here, because I'm not necessarily.
Well, there's with the whole I will say with the Sancho thing, there's two things. Like I said, if he's going to be a squad player, particularly in the league, cool, is what it is. I'd like to see George get some game time, but at the end of the day, I know what this club's going to do, and they can do the usual bullshit. That's fine.
I think George could be used at Strasbourg. He can play more Conference League games.
Fair enough. The other thing I will say on this Sancho thing, if we're signing someone like Gittins, like I said earlier, I'd rather just keep Sancho and have him. I'd rather use Sancho.
No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest.
Then Gittins, right?
Yeah, then Gittins. If this is the level of guy we're linked with, outside of Williams,
these are the level of guys we're linked with.
Yeah, like I like Williams.
You get a $25 million guy that's around the same level as all these guys.
I can't lie to you, man.
The only difference is you're not getting PNP. That's the only difference.
I promise you.
Ahmed wants PNP. He likes Theo Hernandez. He wants PNP.
I promise you, bro. Sancho in the league, man, is not good. I don't care what anyone tells me. I'm not taking him.
Ahmed, no one cares.
I would take Gittins over him. Club, you know what, club? I would take Gittins with open hand, arms. I will hug him. Welcome to the club, Aki. You know what I mean? But I will not take Sancho Lini, bro, in this class.
I do think, by the way.
And I need you to remember, guys, yeah? Do not forget Nottingham Forest. The first half, the stinker that brother produced.
So you guys are taking. Let me ask you. Now this is a fun experience. Now, are we taking Gittins over Sancho?
I always said yes. I said that even before this.
I'm gonna do a video on just wingers tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a winger.
Ahmed really hates Madueke, by the way. If you want Madueke, if I can get someone better than Madueke, ship him off too. People think I have obsessions with
players. See what your guy Barcola did in the final.
Bring him to the club. I need him, man. Bring him to the club, man. That's it.
The thing I will say as well with the I do agree with something Danish said earlier, but maybe this isn't necessarily. This is just because we have no starting wingers. Like we just talked about earlier, the window we had last summer and how we bought one starting player. Like if we're buying play, I need us to buy starters, man, because then, like, if we're getting Sancho, cool. It needs to be with another winger, and then you need to move maybe Noni on. Sancho cannot be the only winger that comes in this window. He cannot be the only winger that comes in if he stays.
This is why I don't like us just not letting. We should have just let fucking Quenda come this year. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
No, I think that makes sense. But what you needed to do, Joey, is this is where
it's not that but it's just the part of like the fact that we still need left winger regardless, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know, like, Joey. What I was going to say is
this guy to come in anyways, and I appreciate that he's gonna get like a ton of experience. Like that part of it is like very nice to me, and he's gonna come a more polished player in my opinion by the time he comes by next year. Is the hope, but like at this point, bro, you know.
My thing with the Quenda thing is like I think this is the right thing. It's more of a case of instead of then going and buying a Gittins or going and buying someone of the same age, it's like you buy someone like you kind of do what we did with Sancho this year. If you go and get someone on loan maybe for a year who's of an older age, who you can just have in the squad for a year while Quenda gets that experience, when he comes in, he can start.
Yo, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you this right now, though. I just thought of this, and you know you guys spoke about it earlier. Leao is going to hate his life under Allegri. Like, I just thought about this right now. He's actually going to hate his life under Allegri. Like, he's going to, his life just got worse, bro. Like, bro, like Ahmed, that just like hit me in the face for a second.
He didn't see. I told you before, man. People don't realize that. Conte's listen. We got a greater soldier than Conte. in defensive football coming to Serie A.
Bro,
I love
like,
it. I love it, man.
Steve
I
just,
promise you,
Steve
it's
just, like,
was
he
a
just hit
different.
Steve as soon as I said it too.
The AC Milan watchers are gonna be sensational.
Bro, he is gonna hate his life under Allegri, bro.
Oh yeah.
Hate his life, bro.
We are gonna be seeing levels of terrorism.
How quickly do you think Mendes is gonna be hitting our phones for that? Bro, like I swear to God, bro.
He's already going to feed that. I thought
July 1st
is when he's gonna hit
does
his job.
training camp start for them, bro? Just wait a week into training camp when that shit starts. I swear to you.
He doesn't even need training camp, bro. He doesn't even need training camp,
bro.
He doesn't even need training camp, bro. There's been a bunch of former Portuguese players that have played under Allegri. He just needs one phone call to tell him, "Yo, good luck, big man. You're gonna be enjoying a lot. You're gonna be enjoying yourself." That's what he needs, bro. And I promise you right now, yeah, there's calls already happening. I saw Bayern is already linked to Leao. I'm already seeing Arsenal linked to. Listen, the links. He's already getting shots run, bro.
How do you feel about Leao to Bayern?
Yo,
ain't happening.
Now, Ahmed, I'm being
That's
so
a fantastic
serious.
move.
I'm being so serious. Your 10 hat theory has something to it.
By the way, I'm just having a look here, and just as an example, right?
Yo, it has something to it, bro. I can't even sit here and not even. It has something to it, bro. and think about it just for a second, just to add to it, right? Think about at Neto and what happened with Neto. Silence. And
that's what I've already said.
Who's also the
I'm hoping he's
wrong. For Leao.
That's why, by the way, Joey, you've heard me say. You've heard me
to Bali, bro. That's what's gonna happen, bro.
Joey, you had my thoughts already about this, yeah.
I can already see it.
Joey's had my thoughts about this, yeah.
I can see it. We'll probably end up with. We'll probably have to send him a player of some sorts, like to fucking compensate some of it.
Sorry, man.
In like
Jackson.
I can see it, bro. I can see it. I can see all.
I just wanted to let you know. I told people there's gonna be after the.
Listen, hold on. Listen.
Let me just stick my rules, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say, I told people before even Jake came on the team, before we even started doing the talk, there's probably someone that we're gonna sign that's not named. I don't believe any of the three guys that we're linked to right now. Yeah,
I agree. I agree, bro.
That's what I'm gonna put you out there, man.
Because I'll put it to you this way though. If we get all right, let's say we get like a Branthwaite, Hato, a Hugo, a Delap, Ekitike, and a Leao. What are we saying?
Scott, I want Scott's answer. I want Scott's answer.
You gotta get Scott to answer that one.
Listen again, RSM. Listen again.
Okay. We're gonna go from the back line starting. We're gonna go Branthwaite, Hato, and then we're gonna go Delap, Ekitike, and then Leao.
Out of 10, what is that?
7.
That's gotta be a solid 9.
8 out of 10, or 7 or 8.
I would say an 8. I'd say an 8.
7.
Yeah, I think that's
only thing that's stopping it for me getting higher is just I'm not sold on the idea. It's not even the strikers. I'm not sold on the idea of Branthwaite from a not talent, but in terms of fit. From a because the way I look at when we're setting up, for me, the right back is the one inverting. So we need someone who's going to play that right centre back role in the 3, which I don't think is what Branthwaite is or would suit Branthwaite, if that makes sense.
Scott, I'm gonna do some more
goalkeeper. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, goalkeeper, for you guys. Oh my god.
No, we've got number 1. I assume RSM means we get Petrovic come back in as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just.
Bro, Petrovic was one of the best keepers in the league. He learned learned exactly what we sent him to do. Strasbourg. He learned how to play with his feet. That's exactly what we sent him to Strasbourg for, and he learned it.
He did.
So it's that's my point. The reason why he didn't stay. Even though Poch realized he was better than Sanchez, not as much of a liability, was because he couldn't play out the back, and that's what Maresca needed. So we sent him to learn, and he learned.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more scouting on Branthwaite because I want to look at more of his PSV games, like when he was out on loan.
He was good.
But this is what I've heard a lot of, Steve. I've heard a lot of he played right-sided center back at PSV for a bit, and this was under a very progressive system under Van Nistelrooy, from my understanding.
Yeah.
So Like I would love to. I'm gonna definitely take a look at some of those games where he played. Yeah, I'd really like to see like that. That's the interesting for me, more interesting to me than his sample size than at Everton, because like you're not gonna get the opportunity to be able to be progressively passing as much. Like, and that's really what we're gonna be needing, because physically I don't have any doubts. Like that's the part that that's the part I don't have any doubts about, is the physically and the defensive actions. Like I don't have any doubts about. What my worry is how does he look on the ball? Because like, is he more of a no nonsense guy than being able to be able to progress the ball at all? Because we are going to have the ball a lot still. Like it's not, let's not get it twisted in that manner. Like we still are going to have the ball a lot, but like physically, bro, he's a monster. So like I'm not necessarily. For me, I want to see how he is on the ball. He's a lot quicker than a lot of the center backs that we have. Is the other thing. He's a lot quicker. A lot quicker.
Yeah.
So
you know what it is, man. You know what it is. I think of centre backs. I'm kind of very neutral on them. You know, I think the market for young top guys, there's quite a few of them. But you know, I feel like, you know, if I'm Chelsea, can we get that Gurry deal done, please? You know what I mean? He's still available.
I like Gurry.
Ahmed, do you like Ekitike at Lille?
I think he's decent. I think he's decent, to be honest. Like, again, I think with a lot of these centre backs here that I look at in League, and I'm always like, I need you to be there for 2 seasons before I give you a judgment. Does that make sense?
Unless
you're like, in that first season when I'm watching,
you know who surprised me was Donzo.
You good, man. That's it. You know what I mean?
Donzo actually surprised me. I watched him a few games for Tottenham. He surprised me. He was actually pretty good. Like, the lack of a midfield in front of him, he was very good in the moment.
Donzo was a decent centre back. I always said that he was. In the summer, he was actually meant to go to another club, and I think they signed someone else before he went there while he was on the plane. So I think it was it Roma? It was Juve. It was Juve. Sorry, it was Juve.
They signed Lloyd Kelly instead of him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was nasty work, bro. I felt sorry for him, bro. I actually felt really sorry for but at least on the Europa League, man, innit? That's a good consolation. But you know what I always say? I just think with the centre back situation, I need a little bit. I don't think experience is the right word, but I need some leadership in there, right? Because I feel like if you got so again, guys available in the market. If I'm Chelsea, you got to do some convincing, but I think we can get there with him.
That's why I didn't want Huijsen, man. I just like, as good as he was at Bournemouth, and Real Madrid are picking him up. I just think that mentality, that leadership, that experience, it goes a long way in terms of the defending. Like we saw Thiago Silva, like he wasn't young, but he knew he could lead a line. That's why Benoit. It's no coincidence that I'm just saying. It's no coincidence that Benoit was at his best when he was with Thiago Silva. I'm just saying.
I mean, I need to start talking about Drogba like this, man, on Shea every time. But why not, every time when he says this to me, but
respect Drogba.
Listen, excuse me, respect. Don't you dare name my goat like that. Put some respect in his name, But listen, anyway. I actually think Nketiah, he wouldn't be a bad option. He's got the experience. I think leadership-wise, I
told people to invest in Pacho coin. Where are we at, brothers?
I need to ask about the leadership experience from him, from his point of view. So I wouldn't mind having him either, but I just think you need some level of guys.
Nketiah is just a better Hato in every sense of what we could ask from Hato. Nketiah is just better at, respectfully.
Fair enough. I'm
just low key. Yeah, Ecuador should be challenging for Copa America for the next few years.
Yes.
We're the only team that's... Hold up. We are the only team that scored on Argentina in the entire tournament. Yeah. We took them to pens. Colombia got pieced up.
Sorry, man. And Valencia,
Valencia killed us because he's old, but he's the only striker we have. He's so old, and he's the only striker we have.
Bro. Like, and fucking, and like, a couple of those players are not serious. What's that guy? That one of them wingers is not serious, bro.
No, he's not serious, bro.
The Circle Bruges one.
Nah.
For Ecuador.
He went to fucking Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he wasn't serious. That's Plata. Yeah, he's not serious.
Yeah, Plata Gonzalo Plata. Yeah, he's not serious, bro.
Yeah, listen. At the end of the
real quick, just to finalize this and returning back to that whole Sancho situation, I will say this, like, considering how many sales we have to do and how many salaries we got to get off the book, I don't see it being unrealistic that we can manage to get a Sancho at a relatively respectable, well, I'm not saying 70K a week isn't respectable, but it's something that is more inclined towards what he wants and not as drastic drop off of what he's currently getting. I think it's very possible to get it done and still give him a decent wage. As long as we get Sterling off, Chilwell, like there's a lot of players we got to get off.
I feel like,
generally
overpaying. Speaking though, Marshall, like the rest of the guys, like the Sarsi, Buddy Shield, you will find spots for everyone, in my personal opinion, right? Yeah. That, so I don't really think the outgoing stuff, I think it's not as big as a deal, in my personal opinion, as people are making out to be like it was last season, where we were really struggling. I feel like last season to get people off the books. I feel
we got a lot of people off the books, though.
Even we still got people off the books, but I feel like last season was a lot more. I had to put in a lot more grit. You had to put in the work, right?
There was a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but this season, I don't think it's going to be that hard because the guys that are going to probably leave the club are a lot easier to move on, and they want to move on.
We probably already got a head start in January. We saw how many outgoings we did in January. We were kind of already got the head start.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I think their agents know they want to leave. The club wants them to leave. They want to leave. And so it's going to be a lot more easier to move on. The only two people I said before that are going to be really hard to move on, everyone agrees, it's going to be Chilwell and Sterling. That's it. Everyone else, 100%. Everyone else probably wants to move. Their valuations are kind of like logical, and you can probably move them on, right? Because the agents will also help you out and trying to move them on too. So I feel like with Sancho, the problem with him is that I think, when you're a player that's been getting 150K a week, certain amount of money per week, I don't know how you can go to 70K a week, bro. That's the problem, man. You know what I mean? It's not about the average wage of our club.
It goes back to what Joey says, though. If he's a fan of the club, like, there is flexibility there. I think to an extent he's not gonna like bend over backwards and just do whatever Chelsea say, but to an extent he'll be like, you know what? I'm still earning money. You know? Are we gonna
offer him though? Like, let's say, if he says I want 100K a week to stay at the club. Is that going to realistically happen? I don't think
you
it would
can
happen.
get some of the wages off the book. I think it's very possible.
The Sancho thing, though, is what you have to the club have to be careful to do. If they are going to keep him, they have to do two things. Well, number one is not offer him a stupidly long contract, and number two, offer not high wages, because more than likely, 2025-26 season, that summer, he's gone, because at that point, especially if we don't get another winger this summer, then that'll be different. But if we get another winger this summer, we'll have 3 left wingers next season with Quenda coming in. And he probably will have to be sold. Yeah. So you can't be giving him a 5-year contract on 150 like you've done with Neto. That's stupid. You have to go 100K, 3-year contract, or 2-year plus 1.
Yep.
So then you can get rid of him in a year's time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because they will want to try to make some type of profit. I don't think they will be okay.
It's not even just about profit, bro. Like, you can't have 3 wingers all who want to start in a 1-winger system in the, especially when Quenda's a guy you've spent a lot of money on, you're banking on him. And let's say they get Gittins, that's going to be a decent outlay on him again for another young winger who knows the manager and everything. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Wow.
No, I agree.
I hope I get a 20% cut of this stream, man. You know, it's almost 4 hours, man. Marshall, what's going on?
I mean, listen.
You know what I mean?
I had to cut out. I had like 7, 8 other topics I cut out. You don't even know what happens in the background, but when we talk, we chat, man. This is Chelsea, and this is what we love to do, and that's why we do it. Because hey, I could talk about Chelsea all night. I don't want to. Actually, I could. I don't want to do it every time, but hey, we do it because I like to. So it is what it is. Hamid needs his beauty sleep. All right, fair enough. But yeah, that being said, ladies and gents, we're going to call it right here. But big up to every single one of you in the chat. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. Let's see if we can get to 150 before you guys exit out. We're going to raid out to Sarcasm City, who is still streaming right now. So go ahead, copy and paste the raid message over to his chat so he knows where you're coming from. Big up to everyone who smashed up the like. Big up to everyone who subscribed. A bunch of new subscribers that came in today. Keep subscribing if you are new here, if you just joined in as well. If you liked the discussion, let us know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Check out the links in the description. I'm going to put Joey's link down there as well. Also, guys, ladies and gents, be sure to check out the memberships. There's 4 different tiers starting at 99p, and at the proper casual tier and higher, we give shout outs at the end of every show. It's going to be Daniel, TM127, EE, Dark, Adrian, A. Suleiman. Thank you so much for your support, guys, and everyone else who is also a member. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back again Wednesday for the call-in show. Maybe a Thursday stream for more news, because again, it's gonna be pumping out a lot because we got Club World Cup literally not this upcoming Saturday, but the Saturday after that, and I know the club are gonna want to try to get a lot of business done before that tournament begins, or even during it, but a lot has to get done. So big up to every single one of you. Like I said, copy and paste the raid message. Let Flawless know where you're coming from. And until next time, have a wonderful night. Stay casual.
Peace. I'm it out.